with the latest installment of Higurashi When They Cry. The plan is to finish episode 2 today. Just finished my tea. Things are going pretty good. I do apologize for breaking the schedule. It was spring break, so I was back home, which means that I was not able to access my setup and get heads hurting and get access to my streaming setup. So I just couldn't do the classic Higurashi Thursday, and I do apologize for that. Higu time. Alright, let me open up my chat on my phone, get my mobile dashboard out, set that a little bit farther away from my tea. I'm in a bit of a precarious position right here. Do it like this. Take another sip. Man, that's some good tea. Make sure that I count as one of my viewers. Oh, you know we Higurashin. So, it's been a bit, so let me refresh myself while I try to refresh everybody else. So, episode 2, the core thing that we've been dealing with so far has been the introduction of and the conflict between Mion and her twin sister Shion, who is... One, she doesn't live in the town. She does not live in Hinamizawa. She lives outside in the city, which is a really big deal. Because it means that while she does share Mion's appearance and blood, they have a completely contradicting opinions regarding the legend of the Onigafuchi and the fucking... all the shit, you know? Mion, as we know, is very pro-town. Her family is very pro-conspiracy, from what we know, but Shion is very anti. She thinks that the curse is evil. She thinks that what the town is doing is morally bankrupt, and she is, with Tomitake and the girl, who I keep forgetting her name, quote-unquote, on our side. Ooh, that's some good tea. It's very hot. As compared to Mion and Reina, who are very, very solidly on the town side. We don't know what's going on with Sadako and Rika yet. They're just hanging out. They're here for the ride. They're having a fun time. The core thing of the first 6 episodes of this, the slice of life shit, was Mion pretending to... No, fucking Shion pretending to be Mion the whole time, and, like... manipulating our main character, fucking Keiichi, into thinking it's Mion and being like, oh, I really hurt her. Oh, man, man, if only I did this, then, well, I have the chance now. I should do this here. And then they fucking meet in the toy store and, dude, Ryukishi is my goat. I will sit through hours of fucking slice of life nonsense for more of this shit. He just does it so well. And we got through all of that, so we have our official turn from Slice of Life to the murders, as I believe the festival is the first thing that's gonna happen when we turn this on, which means someone's gonna die. If it's Tomitake again, then we know that's probably gonna stay the same the whole time, right? We know that's gonna be a consistent element. But if it's not, then... the world is our oyster, pretty much. Things could be very, very, very interesting. But, nothing to it but to do it. Let's get this started. From the end of Chapter 6. We read all the tips, let's continue. With the start of Chapter 7. I really meant to say things differently. Didn't want to feel this way. Miscommunication drove in the wedge, though stuck in apprehension driven to fear. Another burn castle? Nobody can stop it now, as cold hard emotion claws deeply and cruelly at my bared heart. Your bare heart. At that time, why did I whisper remorse? But now those words simply rang home. Remorse seems to be a very common theme here. We have the quotes of the sorry. Wah! Reina jump scare after the fucking cold hard serious poem directly into slice of life music. Oh, this is such good tea. I haven't had tea all week because I've been at home. All right. Let's get back to it. Back in the groove. What? It's Kate! Good morning, good morning! Rena was ecstatically waving her arms at me, already brimming with energy. They're off school, I guess it's day of the Onigiri. What do you mean good morning? It's already evening. She does what I do. I do this shit all the time. Just say hello or something. But this is the first time I've seen you today, so I think good morning is right. It's right. This is a good take. This is a take I can get behind. I got it. Okay, then good morning it is. Good morning, Reina. I grabbed Reina's head and rubbed it with my hand. Ah! She squirmed, reveling in the motion, like a cat. You can squirm all you want. Fucking back off. 2 steps, lady. Hey, Kei-chan. Sorry about yesterday. I left without telling you. We don't know why this is. She might have overheard our conversation with Shion. No, it's my fault. Sorry for making you wait so long. Are you talking about setting up for the festival yesterday? How was it, Keiji-kun? Did you do your job properly? The slight muscle pain through my body and my sluggish movements were already obvious. I did great. I'm pretty worn out now, though. I grinned dryly, and the 3 of us break out into laughter. Where are Sadako and Rika-chan? Are we meeting up with them at the festival? Rika-chan's actually been there since yesterday because she has such an important job. I think Sadako-chan stayed with her, so they're already at the shrine. Very cute. Right, I just remembered. Today was Rika-chan's big performance. She'd been practicing especially hard for this day. As her friend, I needed to make sure I went and cheered her on. Alright, let's go right away. Yep. Ah, good too. As we got closer to the shrine, we started passing by more people and seeing a lot of parked cars. It began to get noisier too. I could hear something like a Bond dance song. Without being able to restrain my impatience, I dashed up the entire flight of stone stairs. Kate, you're going too fast! Wait for me! And Kate, you're such a little kid. Whoa, shrine grounds are packed with people. It was a festival if I ever saw one. Wow, they went all out this year too. Amazing, amazing. They come from Minamizawa. Ooh, the bedridden old man from the Kinyoshi branch man was here too. Old guy went home and stayed in bed ever since. Yeah, a lot of villagers too that I didn't really know. Must have all been pouring in just for today. Oh, it's Sadako-chan! Hey! It's the best character in the whole series. Oh, if it isn't everyone. Yes, hello to you all. Yo, Sadako. A lot of people here today. Don't get lost in the crowd, okay? Who do you even think you're talking to? Sadako, too, seems somehow energetic. Of course, I'm the same way. Huh? Where's Rika-chan? She still has free time, isn't she? Rika was giving her respects to the mayor and some other important people. She shall come before long. I see, Rika-chan is the shrine maiden for today's festival, after all. It's probably a pain for her to say hello to all the elders. It really is a pain. Hey everyone. Hi Rika. Rika-chan. I'm gonna let her take it away. Rika-chan wore an immaculate shrine maiden outfit that looked fresh off the shelves. It was a perfect fit for her somehow mystical appearance. That's fair, she has a bit of a demure vibe. How does it fit? It's not too long, is it? My grandma gave me some safety pins just in case the sleeves are too long. It's alright. It really is comfortable. It does look kind of nice, very flowy. As she spoke, she began to do some twists and stretches. It's great. It's so cute. There was approximately 1 person here getting a nosebleed from watching Rika-chan move. Pardon. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ah, it's so nice. Tea is so good. Kage, don't you think she's cute, don't you? If you don't, then she'll be all mine, and I'll take her over. I think she's really cool. Totally cool. Not that I want to pretend to be your big brother or dad and take pictures with me. If we take a picture from 2 different places to make it serious stopping, we can rather stare at a real-life Rika at our house whenever we want. That sounds great. That sounds fantastic. I hope you guys forgive me for not being verbatim. Rena's eyes and mine glittered with stars, and our noses bled and we... You too? I thought you were better than this, Gage. Rika, you'd best stay away from them. Yes, or I might get locked away in the basement somewhere. At least you're self-aware. You look like you're enjoying it though, Rika-chan. Yeah, she loves the attention. Nee, you're being harsh. We all laugh together again. Alright, so hang around here. Let's get to the festival. Man, I'm kind of sad. Just finished my tea. It's delicious, but it's slightly bitter because I forgot my milk went bad. There's not much time left until Rika-chan's big debut. You're right. Great. Let's go, everyone. All right. Get a rocket. We got the gamer music. Yo, it isn't the daughter of Sonozaki. Eat up. Yakisoba is packed full of pork. Yakisoba fun. This year it filled up as much as we could. Even put in fried calamari. Dude. Gotcha all the time, but the yakisoba this year looks like quite an achievement. You have squid too. You put a ton of time into this, didn't you? Wow, it's tasty, it's tasty. Yeah, squid's delicious, but the aroma is just fantastic. Wonderfully compensates for how soft it tends to be. There's a delightful amount of squid and pork in it too. Yep, not bad at all, I say. Kei-chan, you sound like you could walk into a cooking program and become the host. I'm just passionate about food, man. Yeah, when I see Keiichi acting like it's so good, it somehow tastes even better. I don't discriminate amongst delicious food. So, anything I say is tasty, it's gotta be worth trying out, right? Then, Keiichi, please, give us your opinion of this yakisoba again. I'll do it in 2 words. Absolutely scrumptious. If I had a second stomach, I'd buy another one right now. Having heard my 3-star rating, a whole line of people suddenly formed in front of the yakisoba stand. Wow, it's amazing. Keiichi said it was so good that a little crowd started to form. Not bad. There's nothing to brag about, but I'm still decided to stick out my chest and put on airs. Oh, is that so? Then perhaps I shall try it out. Mister, could I perchance bother you for one takoyaki? So we bought a stick of takoyaki, balls of fried octopus. From the adjacent stand, after blowing on it, put one into her mouth. How is it, Sadako? If you give it a good rating, then Reina will buy it too. Jump, choo-choo. Now, it's time for Hinamizawa's very own food critic, Judge Sadako Hojo, to give her impressions. Though she was all for it a moment ago, Sadako hesitated to give her thoughts. Hey, no, what's the matter? Everyone else takes one of their own and puts it in their mouths. Huh? Rena got gipped. Mine's bad, too. There's no octopus. It's a fried fucking octopus ball. This takoyaki vendor, could this be some sort of summer festival only octopus-free takoyaki? An evil takoyaki that skimped on the octopus because they figured it would make him good money? Mine had some. Yeah, it's pretty good considering there's octopus in it. How am I supposed to explain that this octopus-free takoyaki is any good? Everyone wondered about that. It is a bit. Our quizzical looks seem to be drawing equally dubious stares from people online. How about this? Takoyaki without any octopus is really healthy. And even people who don't like octopus can eat this delicious takoyaki. After hearing that, several surprised guests left the line. It had the exact opposite effect. I love the cold cut of the music. It's simply wonderful. Alright, I'll give it a try next. A self-inspired take on takoyaki, which simply tastes the simple flavors of the flour, green onions, and pickled ginger. The unaffected taste is bolstered by the absence of octopus. It wasn't half bad, but after hearing the "there's no octopus in it" clause, even more people left the line. Rika, any comments? You can be honest. 400 yen is too much for this. That was too honest. Even more customers leave the line, dealing a lethal blow. There were other takoyaki stands around, after all. Well, I mean, we might not want to be doing this. Hey, Sadako! You started all this, so give us a great big turnaround. I can't do it. How do you expect me to lavish praise upon takoyaki without any octopus in it? Oh, you idiot. Her angry outburst was the finishing blow. The customers are all gone. Huh? This guy is staring at us. Why is that? There's no saving this crowd. Perhaps I, Keiichi Maibara, will lend a generous hand. Keiichi, you could do it. We want you to save the takoyaki vendor who didn't put any octopus in. Don't smile as you say something so bitter. Alright, fine. This may be the only chance you'll get to see a pro at work, so watch carefully. Keiichi's fucking great, dude. I shoved the stick into an octopus takoyaki and slammed it in my mouth. As before, there wasn't any fucking octopus. But Mion's had some in it. That was the important point. Oh! The man who runs the takoyaki stand, he truly loves takoyaki in every meaning of the word. No, can even be said that he adores it. Everyone gasped in surprise, including the takoyaki vendor, who was already glaring at us. This man does love takoyaki, because he loves it. He doesn't want to create half-hearted random ones. Isn't that right? Takoyaki vendor looked down, completely unsure. Those watching were listening intently, wanted to know why Octopus takoyaki deserves such a high rating. Kitch, if you really truly love takoyaki that much, why did he make fucking takoyaki without octopus? That's the whole point. It's like if you're making a pierogi and you just make it a fucking ball of dough with no potato in it. Is he not betraying that very takoyaki? You may be right. In one sense, it's a betrayal. However, it's the best possible compromise this man could find. This man is making real takoyaki today, as he always does. However, only one of two of them on each stick are the real ones. Wow, you're right. The one I ate at Octopus said it. And considering it did actually have it, it didn't taste bad at all, you know. Right. That was a bona fide takoyaki. And as for the other ones, it was the biggest compromise you can make against the biases of the general populace, who all think there needs to be 8 pieces on the stick, or else it's not real takoyaki. Huh? Kitch, I have no idea what you're talking about. Why is one of them the real thing and all the other ones fakes? The secret lies in the octopus. Mister, this octopus. It's true Akashi octopus, isn't it? In recent years, the number of octopus Akashi has decreased and the prices have risen drastically. The prices are now so high, she wouldn't think of using them in takoyaki. Then, the man who'd been looking down this whole time mumbled. Yeah, that's right. He was right! He's not just fucking riffing! Akashi octopus. It's very expensive. But this man absolutely had to have the Akashi octopus. He could have bought much worse quality octopus for cheaper, as much as he wanted, and he would have still been able to fool everyone. There are plenty of other scamming takoyaki vendors who claim theirs are from Akashi, even though they're not. But this man wouldn't accept it. He wouldn't tell lies. Akashi octopus are supreme. He would never relinquish this one stubborn conviction. This man loved takoyaki. That's why he never lied. Yet, there was one point he absolutely had to compromise on. What might that be? The number. The popular opinion is that a stick of takoyaki should have 8 pieces on it. Even if it's real Akashi octopus, he couldn't charge 400 yen for just one piece, could he? If he didn't have 8 pieces, no one would buy them. This man wept over it. In order to make just one true piece of takoyaki, he wouldn't ever let himself lie through the other 7. The octopus-free takoyaki vendor burst into tears. This is the writing I'm here for, man. I gently clap one of his shoulders. No matter what anyone else says, I will never forget how genuine you are. You, sir, are a true vendor of takoyaki. You are the only one in the world with the right to call himself that. Clap. Thunderous fucking applause. As I embraced the shoulders of this man, shedding his manly tears, those watching delivered a round of applause, moved by my speech. Everyone, I beg of you, please eat some of this true takoyaki vendor's takoyaki. If you don't treasure genuine men like this, how can we protect the true fat of the takoyaki? If no one else will eat them, I will eat them all! Whoa. Everyone watching's lined up. Kitch, you did it! You fucking did it! This dude is a hero. He is the master of the fucking con. He's amazing. I think it's more they thought Kei-chan's propaganda speech was interesting, rather than takoyaki actually looking good. Kei-chan, you could probably sell plain old rocks if you tried. You would do well at product demonstrations in a supermarket. I suspect he would be good at selling off suspicious wonder knives. Absolutely stunned at my successful pitch, the guy manning the stall next to this one called out to me. Hey, you guys, do that for my sweets! Great, you got the gist of it, right? It's your turn this time, Reina. He's cooked. Okay, I'll do my best. The apricot sweets are cold, they're very, very good. The apricot is sitting so quietly and nicely. It's so cute. Looks like she lost herself midway, yeah. But a girl giving it such natural praise was to so bring customers. Yeah, being kind-hearted and truthful. Sometimes all I need. A line was quickly forming, sighed Reina. Next up is the Okonomiyaki stand. Sadako, you're up. I don't know what the fuck the crunch of the fried tempura batter makes Osaki soba is simply to die for. Huge piece of bacon laid on top, and you bite into it, all comes flooding out. Yeah! It's freaking great! Now I want to try some too. Huge line forward to my words. What the hell is going on? So all of these onlookers are just following us around to all of the stands. When people hear about food from others and then try it for themselves, it tastes a lot better than normally would. Yeah, that's it. Even Rika-chan was gorging herself on the food, getting sauce on the bib she'd brought to prevent her shrine maiden up from getting dirty. That's some good foresight. Nice! The older guy's getting into it too. Okay, Kei-chan, which one should I do? Right, Mion, you go to the stand next to that. Show them the depths of your power. But Kei-chan, the stall next to that is... Whoops. It is a goldfish scooping stand. A bit out of our element. Nope, as club president, I won't flee no matter who or what my opponent is. Let's get started. I look forward to a splendid performance, Mion-san. The onlookers are also watching Mion with hopeful eyes. Welcome, welcome. Here's your net bowl. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Can you back off? Goldfish are interjected. What? What? Mion? What the fuck are you talking about? Mi-chan, you eat them? Did you eat the one Reina caught last year? That's fucked up! No, I didn't say anything like that. Her face went red, she shook it vehemently into none. Well, I mean, you did just say so yourself, they look delicious. Yes, you did indeed say so. There she is. The snake! My sister's omnivorous, she eats anything that can go in her mouth. If they taste good, then maybe I'll try one next time. No, Rika, don't! You'll get sick! Wait a sec, what the hell? Shion, how long have you been here? Damn good question. Hey! Kei-chan, Mion, everyone, good evening. I'm just gonna let her take it. Where'd you come from, Shion? I've been here since the day with the yakisoba. So the whole time, you were all so loud, I found you right away. Jeez. You got nothing to do with this, do you? Go somewhere else already. Jeez, man, don't treat me so cruelly. Right? Kei-chan, you're okay with me being here, right? Jesus. She asked grabbing my arm and pushing her chest into it. I'm not doing that. Keiichi, you're a pervert. Your nose... Oh my god. I hate being this guy. When you squish a jelly donut, the jelly comes out, right? It's the same. This isn't something I have any control over. Is that right? You're gonna have to forgive me for just clicking through this. I'm gonna go slow so you can read it if you want. Good sound effect though? Shion, what are you trying to do? She's stealing your man, Mion. Get out of here. How vulgar. Indeed, I'm on Sadako-san side. I seem to have misjudged you. I'm not doing all this, chat. You don't get to do the fucking Reina sound effect when this is happening. Boom bang. Shion, Rika, and I, our faces now bruised, fell to the ground, limbs sprawled. Nice job, Reina. That's my hero. That's my girl. Everyone's so dirty. Reina punched me. It really hurts. Rika, you get what you deserve. Sheesh. Now Shion was here, the energy around us had increased by about 120. Oh, your friends are so much fun, Mion. I never get bored of them. So one day, right. If you weren't here, it'd be way more fun, you know? I want to stay with you all, but if I continue seducing Kei-chan, my sister looks like she's literally going to bite my head off. So I'll retreat for now. I'll be back. See you, Mion. Don't be back! Get the salt! Get the fucking salt! You do have to banish her like a curse, huh? After teasing her older sister so much, Shion ran away into the crowd of people and disappeared. Good scene! I feel that I have borne witness to a rare side of Mion-san. But Mi-chan is Sushi-chan. She looks kinda cute. Reina smiled happily, earning her a whack on the head from Mion. This is the first time Mion has been cute to Reina. Keep this in mind, chat. Write that down. Write that down. This is important. Don't say dumb stuff. Let's get to the next stand already. We went about it just like that, really noisy and lively, the other stands. We were paying money towards the beginning, but midway through, the guys running the shops thought we were just too funny. We ended up just being able to fool around without paying much. That's a good day, man. Thump. The vigorous sound of a big taiko drum echoed through the air. Those are fun. Rika, looks like it's time. Yep, looks like it. Right, just about time for Rika to appear in the offertory dance. Okay, this is Sadako's base expression. We've seen it like twice. She's either like doing her smug ass, oh ho ho, fucking expression, or she's like, what the fuck are you doing? She's got two modes. I'm a little nervous. Believe in yourself. All your sweat will definitely amount to something, Rika-chan. You got slapped hard on Rika-chan's back. That hurts, man. That's right, you'll do fantastic, Rika. I'll do my best. Yeah, that's the spirit. Come, buddy. Pull my hand into a fist and raise it to the air. We're rooting for you, Rika. Go for it. Yay! Remember? Let's say, Fighto. Oh! Remember? Yeah? Okay, finish my words, huh? Rika gave the best smile I've ever seen, then pivoted on her heel and ran off. Okay, we should get going soon. Right, let's go cheer on. You mustn't. You must keep silent during the performance. Got it, jeez. Her rubber hand through her hair. She was worried about a good friend till the end. See, this is her base fucking expression at this point. Then we better hurry. All the good spots will be taken. Come on. Mion ran off, and everyone else followed a moment later. Much more people had already clustered in the tight space to watch the edifying dance. Wow, this is a lot of people. Starting around to look at everybody else, but nobody was there. Where did everyone go? Probably got lost among all the people. Finally, I spotted the back of Mion's head on the other side of the crowd. It's Shion. Definitely doesn't look like I can get over there. Well, we got separated. No big deal. We can just meet back up when Rika-chan's dance is over. This is where he gets separated off and gets... No, he already heard about the curse, so I don't know what's going on here. Hey, welcome back. Nothing much. Pretty good, pretty good. Just what's this for? Alright, I'm gonna keep it going for just a bit, but my roommate is back. So if he needs help moving anything back in after his spring break, I'm gonna have to take a pause for a moment and help him out. But we'll see. It didn't take long for me to realize I'd have to settle for watching between the heads of the people in front of me, though. Thumb? Once again, even louder taiko drum responded. This one was to announce the beginning of the dance. I couldn't see very well, but it seemed like Rika had come on stage with the elders, who were in priestly garb. Her low exhalations of admiration, the seniors rubbing their prayer beads in gratitude. Everyone's heads were in the way, and I couldn't see. It was really frustrating. We should have cut playtime short and come here to get good spots earlier. After Rika intoned the prayer, she took the festival hoe and walked to the pile of quilts stacked on the altar. Oh yeah, that's right. The point of the ceremony was to purify bedding and to hold a memorial service. Then the solemn offertory dance began. She had practiced using a mochi-pounding mallet. The awkwardly shaped festival hoe Rika-chan held seemed pretty heavy. Back and forth and up and down. Stylistically difficult to even lift in the air, but she sweated and waved, raised and dropped it, again and again and again. She couldn't just deal with it and do it grudgingly. As a shrine maiden, she needed to retain the dignity and solemnity present at this festival. There must be a ton of pressure on Rika-chan's shoulders right now. Damn, why am I cheering her on from a place I can barely see her? I'm her friends. I should be right on the best spot. He didn't complain like this last time. Jeez Louise. Gaijin over here? Someone tugged lightly on the back of my shirt collar. It was Shion. She beckoned me outside the crowded ring of people. She had a mischievous grin on her face, and I took it as her saying she knew a good spot. Nobody else knew.
Shion?
Shion, what's up? Shh, just be quiet and come with me. That's curious. After she told me so, she ran a big detour around the throng. Man, it's great to have someone who knows the lay of the land here at times like this. Impressed though I was, nearly lost sight of her right away. No more getting separated from me. Right after her, so I wouldn't be left behind. So I wondered in anticipation what kind of secret spot Shion had in mind. We left the crowd of people and went around to the back of the shrine grounds. Hey, wait, where are we going? We're getting further and further away. Shh. Just stay quiet and follow me. You'll understand soon. Shion gave me a wink that reminded me of Mion as she said that. No sign of people and not much moonlight. It was dark. We'd gotten pretty far away from the crowd of people in the shrine ground. Okay, someone's supposed to die today. Is it going to change to us? How are we supposed to see Rika-chan's dance from here? I see, there's some high spot around here, like a rooftop or something we can look down, right? What? Why do I have to
なん
climb
で屋
onto
根
the roof?
だってそうじ
Well,
ゃ
how
な
are
か
we
ったら
supposed to say Rika
どうやっ
Chan
てリカちゃん
stands?
の演舞を見るんだよ。
リカちゃまの
Did
演
you
舞
really
なん
want
か
to
見
see
たかった
Rika
んですか
Chan
ケイ
stance?
ちゃん。ひ
Okay,
ょっ
could it
と
be
し
that
て
you're
スト
stri-
ライクゾーンものすごく低くありません？
I'm hating her more and more every
な
day,
んだ
Chan.
か話
I
が
don't
微
think
妙
we're
に
understanding each
お前
other here.
は
Weren't
俺
you
を
going to show
リ
me
カちゃ
some
んの
around
演
and
舞
see
が
Rika
よ
Chan
く見え
stance
る
around
場所
easily?
に案内してくれる。
はい。
What? Who made that
誰も
promise?
そんな約束してません。
What's going on? Why me? Why do I always misunderstand Shia? Is it my fault? Am I just reading the wrong
じゃ
things anyway?
じゃあ
Then
お
why'd
前
you
は
call me all the way
俺
out here?
をなんでこんなところに呼び出
An
したん
expression
だ
that
よ。
indicated she wasn't fooling around. She pressed her index finger to my lips and said slowly and quietly, "This place is a dark, dead, empty spot. You can't see it from the festival grounds. Now, male and female of the same age are all alone together." Hatred. Eh? Could this be? Shion is not planning something crazy again. Is she? Shh. Look
あれを
over
見てください。
there, see? Shion whispered, pointing at the dark underbrush. And there we saw two figures, one male, one female. Is this Tomitake
なん
and
だ
the
あれ。
girl? What's that? Is that?
敵の生
We're
毛
right at the scene of a rendezvous, of course. See? Look closely. The whispering voice acting is really good. Can you tell who they are? I'd assume Tomitake and the girl, that I can never remember the name. Takano! That's the one. Tomitake and Takano. There they are. Two of them were clearly breathing quietly and glancing around to make sure nobody knew they were there as they crouched before the entrance to a wooden storehouse-like building. We had that tip
ま
about
さかシオン
the,
これを見せた
Wait,
くて
Chuck,
俺
this
を
is
呼
what
ん
you
だ
want
の
to show
か
me. We had that tip at the end of episode 6, I think, which was about the use of ritualistic tools for ritual murders, right? They said that the tools will still be somewhere because they're sacred to the town, and that somebody, we didn't know who, knew where they were in a storehouse, and they were going to break them out on the day of the Wasanagashi, which it seems that now that correspondence was between these two, and now they're going to break into the place and find evidence of the murders with the ritualistic tools that are used for them. Fascinating.
ケイちゃん、
Keichan, you can see
リカちゃま
Rika
の演
Chan
舞は
stands
毎
out here,
年
but you
見
won't
られ
ever
る
get
け
another
ど、
chance like this, okay?
こういうのは二
I
度と
thought
お
the
目にかか
Sonozaki
れません
teachers
よ。
had their own personalities, but at times like these, they seemed all too similar. Got
俺
him there.
帰るぞ。
I'm going back.
二度と
Don't
こんなの
call
に
me
呼ぶな
something
よ
like this
な。
again. If you
今
look
動
now,
い
the
たらバレ
seats.
ちゃいますって。
I don't know his argument. Takano-san suddenly turned around.
あらあら、
Oh
どな
my!
た
Who
か
might
しら？
that be? We held our breaths and tried to wait it out, but it seemed like Takano-san was now acutely aware of our presence. She and I exchanged glances, then gave up, climbed out from behind the bush.
どうも、こん
Well,
ばんは。
hello
お月
there.
様の綺麗ないい
The moon sure is
夜で
beautiful
すね。
tonight,
あら
isn't it?
あら、シオンちゃんに前原くん、
Isn't
こんばんは。
Good evening.
月
Yes,
の
the
綺
moon
麗な
certainly is
夜
pretty.
ね。
おやおや、
What's this?
ケイ
Keiichi,
君
you
も
sure
す
are
ぐに
smart,
こん
you
な
know
ところ
that?
で会い
Having
に
a
したい
secret date in a place like
だと
this?
したら
Then I guess we
僕た
accidentally
ちとん
interrupted
でもな
something
いお邪魔
important.
をしちゃったかな。
Ah, you're the ones who are meeting them secretly. Samtake and Takano laughed to themselves, and it got on my nerves for some reason.
ってことは、
Wait, so you two
富
weren't
田
having a
さん
little
たち
rendezvous
は
then?
相引きしてたって。
それはもちろん
of course
違うよ。そういうロマンス
Though
は
I
嫌
don't
いじゃない
dislike
け
that
ど
kind
ね
of。romance. Damn, okay.
残念だ
Unfortunately,
けど、
this wasn't the
あなた
location
た
of
ちが
rendezvous
覗き
either
見
of
し
you
たく
would
なるよう
want
な
to
期
see.
待に添え
Sorry
な
for not living up
く
to your
て申し
expectations.
訳ないわね。
This is because they're trying to break into the shed.
相引き現場
If
じゃ
this
なかっ
wasn't
た
a
ら
rendezvous,
何
then
してるん
what
で
were
すか？
you doing?
富武さん、
Samtake, were you
今
messing around with
扉
the
の南京
padlock
錠
on
を
the
いじっ
door
てま
just
せん
now?
でした？
After you said that, I looked at the two of them again. And I definitely saw it. They were hunched in front of a warehouse door, fiddling with a pretty heavy-looking padlock.
バレちゃしょうがないな。僕たちが
We were
倉庫
trying to
破り
break
を
into
し
the
てたなん
warehouse,
て
but don't
内
tell
緒だよ。
anyone, right?
内緒っ
Tell
て
anyone. Are you
それ
thieves or something?
泥棒ってことです
I
か？
demanded unthinkingly, just because of how absently Tomitake-san was grinning.
いや
Nah,
ね、
never.
泥棒っ
Thieves are
て
people
の
who
は
steal things,
別
right?
に
It's
私た
not like
ち
we were
は
trying to take
物
anything
を
out
持
of
ち
you.
出そうとしているわけ。へ
I
え。
see.
じゃあ何の
Then
た
why
め
are you
に
trying
鍵
to
開けなん
unlock
か
the
してこ
door?
こ
This is the
開
forbidden
かずの最
storehouse
後
for
殿ですよ
ritual
ね。
tools.
フルデ家と
They say only the
ほんの
Furude
一握
family
り
and
の
a
人間し
handful
か
of
入ること
others
が
are
許さ
allowed
れない
in.
っていう。
Forbidden storehouse. Took a few steps back at that and looked on the entire warehouse. Certainly looked like one, built removed from any signs of people, almost as if in secret. It was filthy, revealing how little it was ever opened. And it was built to be durable, giving it a strange, overpowering impression. Now that I looked at it more closely, it was certainly different than normal warehouses.
ここはね、
This place,
細具殿とい
they're
ってね、
called ritual implements.
細具をしまっ
Basically,
てい
this
る
is a
倉
warehouse
庫
where
なの
they。store such tools used in
いえ、
rituals. Well,
細
more
具を
accurately,
祀っている
maybe it's
神
a
殿と言って
temple
もいいか
where
も
the
しれないわ
implements are
ね。
enshrined.
リカちゃんが奉
The
納演
ritual
舞で
how
使
Rika
って
Chan
いる
used for
祭
the
事用の
offertory
クラ
dance
も
was inside here
今
until
日まで
today.
もちろ
Of
ん
course, if
フル
anybody
デ家の
but the
人間以
Ferretti
外は
family
汚れを
enters,
持ち込
they
むから
bring
立ち入り
impurity
禁止
into
の
it.
不可
So
侵領
absolutely no one is allowed a single step inside it.
聖域な
It's a
の。
sanctuary. Shouldn't we absolutely not be coming to a place like this then? However, Takano-san was wearing a childlike expression. An innocent smile at best, and a terribly cruel grin at worst.
私、
I told you I
南沢
was
の昔語
researching
や伝
Hinamizawa's
承を
folktales and
趣
legends
味
out
で
of a
研究して
personal
るっ
interest
て
in
言ったわ
them,
よ。
right?
私の知的
A
興
lot
味
of the
の
answers
様
to
々な
questions I'm
答え
curious
が
about are hidden
こ
away
この
inside
中
here.
に入
I've
れる
waited
チ
all
ャン
this
スを
time until
今日
today
ま
for
で
this
ずっと待っ
chance.
てたんだから。
A chance. Everybody's eyes were fixed on the dance at the shrine grounds today. This is the ultimate blind spot.
へえ
Ah, I see.
富武さんに
I
鍵
didn't
開
know
け
you
の
had
技術が
lockpicking
あるなん
skills,
て知りませんで
Tomitake-san.
した。
あ、
Oh,
僕だっ
stop
て
it. I
いや
don't
い
want
や
to
や
be
ってる
doing
んだ
this,
よ。
okay?
付き合わせて
Sorry
しま
for
って
taking
ご
you
めん。
along with
で
me,
も、
but this was
二
all
郎さ
thanks
ん
to
のお
you,
かげよ。
Jiro-san.
感謝してるわ
I。really am grateful. Okay, so this would be a very, very, very clear motive for the people of Hinamizawa to kill these two, because they found out their secret.
いや
Done
ね
deal.
でも
Sheesh.
高野さん、
This is the only time,
こういうのは
understand,
こういうと
Takano-san?
ころに
I
黙
don't
って
want to be
入り
sneaking
込む
into
のは
places like this.
やっぱり気が
You really are a good person, Jiro-san.
やっぱり二郎さんはいい人ね。
Tomitake undid the padlock and placed it to the side.
開いたよ。
It's open.
ありがと
Thank
う。い
you.
よいよね。
At long last. Takano-san gulped. With an unusually excited air about her, she gave the heavy door a shove. A sharp smell of mold and dust flowed out from the gap in the door. I had claimed curses didn't exist, but in this situation, I could believe in them. If we went in such a holy place with our shoes on, feels like we could be punished
No.
somehow. So
あ
how
なた
about
たちも
it?
共
Your
犯だ。
accomplices
せっかく
too.
だから
You
一緒
came all
に
the way
見
here,
学
so
し
why
な。
not come in? Take a tour.
南沢の皮脂を
There'll be a
見
little
る
field trip to a museum of
貴重な
precious
文
cultural
化遺産の
artifacts that
見
conceal
物
the
会よ。
secret history of
今日
Hinamizawa.
だけの
And
限
it's
定
only open
開
today.
館。
別に
Well,
俺たち
we're not
共犯っ
accomplices
てわ
or
けじゃん。
anything.
面白いと思いませ
Are
ん
you interested though? Every time they do this, I jump, and that is a little embarrassing, I will say, because it's literally every time.
ね
Come
え
on,
覗い
let's
て
take
み
a
ま
peek.
しょうよ
Shion said, predictably, linking her arm with mine.
でも
But we definitely
これ
shouldn't
は
be doing
神
this.
聖な
This
倉
is
庫な
a
んだろ
holy warehouse.
細工殿って言
We
った
have
っけ
ritual implements, right?
ますます
I
勝手に入っちゃ
really
まずい
feel
よ
like we shouldn't go in.
私は一
I'm
応
part
そ
of
の
the
先の
Sonozaki
人間で
family,
す
so
か
I
ら
have a good guess
こ
as
の
to what
中
we'll
にあ
find
る
in there.
でも
But I want you to
そ
see
れ
it
は
too.
ケイちゃんにも見てもら
俺に見て
You
もらい
want
たいも
to
の
show something to me? I thought it was just a ploy, but Shion's eyes looked entirely serious. Of course, she was the sort who could lie with a straight face. Yeah, of course, I was an average boy, too. My curiosity was at least twice that of a normal person. Sleeping, forbidden treasures, never to leave this warehouse, huh? Chances like this don't come around too often. Oh, peace. If I had to choose, then I want to see. Until the locked door is open, though. I don't know about this.
面白くない
If
と
you're not
思った
interested,
ら
Kei-chan, you can
ケ
just
イちゃんは
leave.
きっと興味を
I
惹
think
か
you'll
れる
wonder
と思い
about it
ます
later,
けど
though.
ね
Tomitake spoke after listening to our conversation, himself having sat down the stairs to take a short rest.
僕がこ
I'll
こで
keep watch
一緒
here.
に見て
Go
きてご
in,
らん。
check it out with him.
僕はあま
I'm
り
not
好き
too
じゃん。
interested.
圭一君みたいな
It might
若
be
い
pretty
男
interesting
の
for
子
a
に
young
は
guy like you, Cage.
結構面白いかもしれないよ。
How do they do this laugh? Dude, like a... Okay, he said, laughing mischievously. There was no ill will in his
富
laughter.
武さんは
Tomitake,
こ
what do
の
you
中
know?
に
Do
何
you
があるの
know
か知っ
what's
て
in
るん
there?
ですか？
まあね、
Kinda.
高野さんにたっ
Takano
ぷ
told
り
me all
聞
about
かされてるからね。
相方の
Must
特
be a
殊な
pain
趣
to
味
go
に
along
付き合
with
わ
your
される
companion's
殿方
unique
も大変で
hobbies,
すね
huh? Tomitake didn't answer that, only responding with a pained smile. He's in deep. Takano had this kind of scary air about her, like she dropped absolutely everything else for something she had an interest in and go straight for it. But Tomitake seemed like the gold standard of what a normal person should be. Having him tell me so frankly to check it out suddenly made the guilt feel a little lighter.
じゃあ
Okay, but
ちょっとだけ
just
な
a little.
面白くなかっ
If
たら
it's not
すぐ出
interesting,
る
I'm
ぞ。
leaving. You got it. Shion gave me another Mion-like
決
wink.
まったみたいね。
Looks like we're
じゃあ
decided.
行
Shall
き
we
ま
go
しょう。二郎
inside?
さん、
Jiro,
留
we'll
守番
leave
をお
this to
願
you.
いね。
Tomitake waved his hand to see us off. Ooh, we got a little crossbeam here. The inside was pitch black, but Takano turned on the battery-powered lantern she brought, revealing a pretty cramped front room.
真っ暗だ
It's so
ね。
dark in
み
here.
んな転ばな
Everyone
いよ
take
うに
care not
気を
to
つけ
trip
るんだ
over
よ。
anything.
ご心配
I
ありが
appreciate
と
the
う。じゃあ
concern. Okay,
門番を
Dorman,
よ
keep
ろ
a
し
good
く
watch.
こ
We're
閉
shutting
め
the
る
door
わ
now.
よ。
Takano smiled spitefully, as if leaving Tomitake out is something fun, and began to close the
やれ
door.
やれ。
Oh,
じゃあみん
man.
な、
All right, everyone.
ゆっくり
Have
楽しんで
fun.
おいで。
It's like sitting out in the roller coaster. Guess somebody's got to hold the stuff. There was a low, heavy, and loud noise. We were completely cut off from the outside world and covered in silent darkness. Takano-san's lantern was the only light we had.
大丈夫
It'll
よ
be。
予備電池
fine. It's
も
an
入
outdoor
っ
lantern
て
with
る。
backup
あ、
batteries
消えたり
inside.
な
It
ん
won't
か
go
し
out
な
or
いわ
anything.
よ。
Looks like Takano noticed my uneasy expression. Couldn't help but blush a little and avert my gaze. It is a little embarrassing. Deep inside, there's a heavy and old but sturdy door with solemn decorations on it. My goat, abysmal dog shit, playing Destiny 2. It was the last door sealing away what was
ただ
within.
の倉庫なのに
Strange how it has an
全室があ
antechamber
る
even
な
though
ん
it's
て
just
変
a
わったで
warehouse,
しょ
isn't it?
一度に1
I
枚
believe
ず
it's
つ
set up this way
扉
so
を
you
出
open
入り
one
させ
door
る
at a
ことに
time,
よって
never letting the room with
細
all
具
the
殿の
tools
中
be
が
seen
外
from the
に見え
outside.
ないようにする工夫
Takano
だと考
explained
え
this,
られるわ
awfully
ね
impressed by the construction. It's very elaborate for a plain old warehouse, yeah. But still, it's really dark in here. Huh? That over there, I spotted a circuit breaker hanging from a clip of wiring, clumsily attached to the wall.
これ
Oh, here,
明
isn't
かり
this
のブ
the
レーカ
light
ーか
switch or
何かじゃ
something?
ないですか？
I flipped the biggest switch I can find, and with a click, the pitch black room was illuminated by an old bare light bulb. Jesus Christ. Everyone scrunched up their faces at the sudden strobe-like brightness, including me! God damn it.
ダメです。
Don't! Before she even finished, she unslapped my hand and flipped the switch back. There was another loud click, and the room returned to darkness, with the lantern for
い
illumination.
てててて。
Ow!
ダメです、ケイち
You
ゃん。
can't, Kei-chan. This is a new expression.
私たち
We snuck
ここ
in
に
here,
明かりなん
remember?
か
If
つ
we
けた
turn
ら
on the light, it
バ
might
レ
give
ち
us
ゃうか
away.
もしれないじゃないですか。
Scolded by Shion fairly harshly. It looked like she was worried about whether someone had seen from the momentary light.
大丈夫よ
Need help moving anything in? Or are you all good? Need help moving anything back in? Or are you all good?
Oh no, I'm good. Thank you.
I got you.
本当に一
So
瞬
for
だ
a
し
moment, Sakura remained a relaxed adult. Seemed like she was confident she could talk her way out of it. Someone did see them.
さあ入りま
So
よ
let's go
し
in.
ょ
Here we go. You're gonna have your door open. This time it wasn't just the dust that came out the air. There was also a nasty smell. One smell was like opening a dust-filled cupboard in the back of a kitchen that hadn't been opened in years. The other, the nasty, was hard to explain. It was like the raw odor of a fish market. From how the sound echoed, this room felt far larger than the first. Wonder if this is where the people who've been quote-unquote spirited away end up. Sakura held up her lantern and revealed the contents of the expansive room. Whoa. Back wall of the storehouse, right in front of us, was a Buddha-like holy object standing there, looking down at us. I was taken aback by its unseen force, lit up by the slender beam of the lantern. So we get a sprite of
あ
it?
れがひなみ沢の守り神
That's the guardian
お
god.
社様よ
There's Oyashiro. So we get a picture of it.
社にあるの
It's
よ
far
り
greater than the one at the
ずっ
shrine.
と立派ですね。
Oyashiro. So this is the spirit protecting Hinamizawa, the one guarding the holy land from the impurities of the outside world, and the one delivering punishment after punishment upon those who attempted to sully the land with the damn construction.
想像してたより
Looks like there are far more
たく
tools
さんの
stored here
細
than I
具でも
thought,
残
but
念
it's so
どれ
sad.
もあまり手
None
入
of
れ
them
が
have
さ
been
れて
maintained.
状態が
How
悪いのが
unfortunate
悔
that
やま
they're
れ
in
るわ
such a
ね
state. Even in the dim light, I could see a lot of strange objects lining the walls, ceiling, and shelves. These are not normal, like, farm implements and ritual tools here. This is a torture device of some kind. This is a coffin. That's just a grindstone. These are pots. These are all, like, torture devices. These are cages. That's a grindstone. There's something going on here. Takano, speaking as if in a trance, was infatuated by the various implements filling the dark room. They weren't very festival-like or traditional, but instead this was more like the workshop of a blacksmith or a carpenter. There were a lot of large wooden and metal tools packed in here. Putting it bluntly, it was all pretty boring stuff. Are you sure? Okay, I'm not a farmer, to be fair. These might all be like conventional farming implements. I'd imagine there'd be more artistic things in here from the Heian period, but these are a far cry from being cultural artifacts. My expression betrayed my dashed hopes, and they caught on right away.
あら
Oh. Is this not interesting for you?
俺は文系
I'm
でも
not
美
into
術系でも
literature
なあんまり
or
こういうのを
art,
見て
so
も
I can look at this stuff, but I
よく
don't
価値
really
がわからない
understand
で
its
す。
value. Kate, you really do
定
look
地
like
系
you
はよ
don't
くは
get
無
it.
理もない
I
け
guess
ど
that's only natural. Takano reached into a paper bag that she'd been holding the whole time, took out a worn scrapbook and began to
じ
flip
ゃ
through it.
あ
Then just for you, Kate,
圭一君
I'll
の
tell
ため
you an
に
old
昔話
story.
でもこの地方で
It's
は
a
一
common
般
tale in
的
this
図
region.
書館に行
If
け
you go to
ば
the library, it would
教
even be
育
on the
委員
recommended
会
reading
推
list.
薦の本にも載っ
Telling
てるくらい
stories in such
ね
a dark, creepy place. She must have a horror story in mind. Shion's face belied nothing but calm. She had the same personality as Mion. She'd found fault with me being scared. I'll endure it for now and pretend to be calm.
いいじゃ
Okay.
あ
All right, I'll read
読
it.
むわよ
After confirming that I was going to be quiet and listen, she began to speak softly, like a kindergarten teacher reading a picture book.
昔
Long, long ago, in
昔
a certain village in the
ある
mountains,
山
which
奥
is
の
this
村
one,
にね
there was a
そ
swamp.
の沼
The
は
swamp
ね
was very, very deep.
底なし
Some
の
even called it
深い
bottomless.
地の底
People said it
の
was connected to
鬼
hell,
の
the
国
land of
につな
demons.
がっていたん
The
です
rumor said it was deeper than the ocean, and that anyone it swallowed would sink into the underworld. A truly bottomless swamp. Its name was Onigafuchi. Wait, I thought back to the story I heard yesterday about the sacrifices sinking in the bottomless swamp. Could that be the swamp she's talking about? Yep.
ことは
So then the
その
village
村は
was Hinamizawa,
南沢
right?
ですね。
さし
You
が
catch on
ね
quickly. This guy's got a literature degree, huh?
そうよ。
That's
当
right.
時は
Though it was only
鬼ヶ淵
called
村って呼ばれてたけど
Onigafuchi Village at the
ね
time.
鬼ヶ淵村。
Onigafuchi
物
Village.
騒な響
That's
き
a
のある
pretty
名前だな。
inauspicious name.
イメージもあっ
It
たん
evokes
ですが
quite the image,
明治
doesn't
の
it?
頃に
Here the name was
今の
changed
名
in
前
the
に改
Meiji
称された
period.
って
I don't
聞
know
き
when
ま
the
した
periods are. I'm not a Japanese history guy. The name of the swamp connected to hell was called Onigafuchi, which meant the demon's abyss. And the true name of this village, Hinamizawa, was Onigafuchi Village. So a demon abyss village? It's
村
kind of
人
fucked
た
up.
ちは
The
鬼
villagers
の国
belonged to that
つまりは
abyss.
地獄の
Or
こ
to
と
hell, in other
鬼
words.
の国と
They
つ
lived
な
their
が
lives
るという
worshipping the
沼を
swamp
あ
set
が
to
で
connect to
も
it.
ね
But then,
あ
one
る日
day,
のこと
demons began to appear, one after the other, from deep in the swamp. The villagers feared that hell was overflowing. The demons mercilessly attacked the villagers. They could only watch in fear. They could do no more than hide themselves and
The-
tremble.
誰か
So,
が
did
鬼を
someone
退治する
exterminate
わけ
them?
ですか。
残念だけど
Unfortunately, there is
この
no
お話には
Momotaro or
桃太郎
Superman
み
in
た
this
いな
fairy
正
tale.
義の味方
じゃあ
Then,
村を
did
挙
they
げ
get
て
the
戦うわけ
whole
ですか。
village together to fight
ま
them?
さか
Heavens,
村
no!
人たち
The
に
villagers weren't
鬼と
nearly
互
strong enough
角
to
に
fight on equal
戦う
terms with
力
demons.
じゃあ
Then
村を
the
捨
only
てて
recourse
逃
would
げ
be
るしかないです
to
よね。
flee the
それ
village.
も無理ね
They couldn't do that either.
村人たち
To
に
the
とっても
villagers, it was their beloved
どんな
homeland.
恐ろ
It
し
didn't
い
matter how
鬼が攻
terrifying
め
the
てきた
demons.
か
They
らとい
wouldn't
っ
have run
て
away so easily.
じゃあ
Then
どうするんですか。
What did they do?
滅びるしかな
Wouldn't
い
they
じゃない
just
です
get
か。
wiped out? Unable to fight and unable to run. All they could do was wait for the village to be destroyed. Then, when everyone had lost hope, their god, Oyashiro, descended onto
なるほど。
I
つまり
see. So
天からや
Oyashiro
ってき
came
た
down
お
from
社
the
様が
sky and beat up all
鬼
the
たちを
demons
やっつ
then,
けるわ
huh?
けですか。
ケイちゃんは男の子
Oh,
で
you're
すね
such a boy,
す
Keisha.
ぐに腕
You
力で
always
解
jump
決
straight
す
to
る
using
方に
force
走
to
るんで
resolve
すから
things. Shion sighed, a little annoyed. Embarrassed, I held my tongue.
お社
The
様
thing
を
about
や
Oyashiro-sama,
っつける
he
と
wasn't
か
a violent god
そう
who
いう
would
暴
beat
力
them up
的
like
で
you're
もっ
saying.
と優
He was a
し
kind
い
god filled with love
慈
and
愛のある
benevolence.
神様だったの
The strength of Oyashiro-sama, descended from the heavens, couldn't be compared to that of the demons. They didn't even fight, they simply prostrated themselves before his radiant authority. Oyashiro urged them to go back to hell from whence they came, but the demons wept and challenged him, saying they could never return.
鬼たちの
The
世界に
world of the
も
demons too
厳
has
しい
harsh
対立が
commandments.
彼らは地
They
獄を
claim they
追
had
放
been
され
banished
た
from
鬼
hell.
たちだったんですって
Demons who didn't have a place to go, neither in hell or the human world. Of course, they were at fault for attacking the village in the first place. They deeply reflected on it and were
村
sorry.
人たちも
As the villagers
話を
conversed
聞く
amongst
うち
themselves,
に
little by little, they came to
少し
pity
ず
the
つ気の
demons.
それで
And
ね
after talking with everyone in the village,
村のみ
they
んなで
decided to
話
live
し合った結
alongside
果
them.
退治すると
A
か
lot
追
of
っ
fairy
払うって
tales
いう
have them
昔
being
話は多い
exterminated
け
and
ど、
driven away. You
共
don't
存
often
って
hear
の
about
は
one where they
確
end
か
up
に
living in
珍しいです
peace.
ね。
ですよね
You're right.
鬼ってのは元
Demons
来
are supposed to
諸悪の
symbolize
象
all
徴も
evils.
それとの共存
A
を決
story
め
where
た
they
という
decide to
お
live
話
together
な
with
んだから
humans is
本
certainly
当に変わっ
strange.
てます
When the demons first heard the villagers' invitation, they doubted their ears, but soon burst into tears of joy. The villagers had given them a place to live. It was said that in payment for this good deed, the demons shared their many kinds of power and secrets with the villagers. Interesting.
お社様
Oyashiro
は
was very
そ
pleased
の
with
微
this
笑む
happy
鬼た
exchange.
ちが
He gave the
村
demons the
人と
bodies
分
of
け
humans
隔
so
て
they
な
would
く
be
暮らせるよ
indistinguishable from the
う
villagers.
人間の姿そして
He
自ら
himself
も
decided
地
to
上
stay on the
にと
surface
ど
to
ま
watch
り
over the everlasting peace
末
between
永
them.
く
A land in
両
which
者の
man,
交流
demon,
を見
and
守る
God
ことに
lived
したん
together.
だそうよ
I thought the word demon was a noun meaning evil that needs to be exterminated. A god may have mediated for them, but you don't often hear happy endings like that, where both sides end up living in harmony. Yeah. I see. Guess it is kind of interesting. So is that the logic that they're going for? Is it like the people aren't being controlled, they're born evil because they're part demon, and they're exercising the will of Oyashiro, who's given them recourse?
普通のおとぎ話ならここで終わりなんだけ
Although
ど
the normal fairy tale ends
こ
there,
のお話
it was
は
revised quite a
江戸
bit
時代
during the
にだい
Edo
ぶ加筆
period
された
into
み
a
たいで
much longer
まだ
story.
まだ続く
After that, the
随
humans
分
and
と
demons
長い
intermixed,
話
and
になっ
eventually
て
there
るな
was no difference
鬼の
between them.
存在は
So the
結局
demons ended up
村に溶け込ん
disappearing?
で消えてしまった。
いいえ
No.
消えたりなん
Not
か
at
しない
all.
半分はしっか
Half
り
of
と
them
残
stayed
ってた
just as
そ
they
うで
were.
すよ
Ooh, pardon. The knowledge the villagers had received from the demons basically made them into something inhuman, what people call transcendent. They were well aware the power they had was of heresy, and as those below worshipped them, and they lived out their lives in secrecy.
このお話
This
が
story is the root of many
その
derivative
後に
tales
は
of
だ
pieces
か
of
らこ
fiction.
のお
It's the
話は
foundation,
ベーシックね
the basis.
原点
What do you
って
mean by...
どういう
村人た
She
ちは
means the part about
鬼の
villagers
血を
having
引い
demon
包ま
blood.
れ
What I
こ
mean
の
is,
辺りに
all
伝
the
わる
legends
様々な
around
伝
here
承や
are
昔
based on the
話
premise
は
that the villagers
全
are
部その
descended
村の
from
人たちは
demons.
鬼の血
There
を
was a
引いて
hint
いる
of
というのが前
amusement
提になっ
in
ているんで
Shion's
す
face as she said that. Yeah, because you were born here too. It was like she wanted to say that she too had demon blood in her. Is there any proof, though? Maybe it's somehow rooted in historical fact beyond just fairy
あ
tale.
らじゃ
Oh,
あ
my
マー
brother,
バ
then
ラ
do you
君は
believe the demons really
沼
did
から
come out
鬼
of the
が
swamp
現れ
and
て
breed
人
with
間と
humans?
うーん
Well, it's
信
not
じ
that
な
I
いわけじゃ
don't
ないんですけ
believe
ど
it, but when she said demon, she meant the ones from hell. But in ancient Japan, the word wasn't necessarily used to denote only that kind, right? The more well-known use involves the drifting foreigner theory. This is something I don't know, actually. As the story goes, Westerners who were shipwrecked in nearby seas had such markedly different customs that they were called demons. Japanese people were relatively similar in appearance to other Asians, but everything about those from the West was different. Their physiques, their faces, and their skin color. In Japan, terms like red demon and blue demon evoke images specifically of Westerners. Really? That's interesting. Lacking in skin pigments, Westerners would sunburn easily and turn red. Being fair-skinned, I think blood vessels appearing on their skin would look blue, too. Dang, they must be pale-ass motherfuckers, huh? A handful of accidental aliens would drift into Japan and came under persecution, being called demons. They would flee into the mountain to survive, turn to bandit groups, and attack villagers for food and the
なんて
like.
説はどうでしょ
How does that explanation sound? This dude would do okay in fucking
う
Ragan
ちょっと
Juba.
子供じみてますか
Maybe
ね
it's a bit childish. Takana gave me a weird smile when, having come up with such an impromptu hypothesis, I unconsciously followed it up with self-deprecation. So, she didn't smile as if to make fun of me.
別におかしくない
It's
の
not
よ
ridiculous.
実際に
There are a lot of
恐
people
竜
who
偉人説を
subscribe to
唱え
the
る人
drifting
もいる
foreigner
で
theory.
も実際
Even
はどう
so,
なの
no
か
one
は
actually
誰
knows
にも
what
分
really
か山
happened.
賊化した偉
Were they
人の
groups of
集団だ
foreigners
っ
who
た
turned to
のか
banditry, or were they really
本
demons
当
who
に
come
地
from the
の
bottom
底
of the
から
world?
じゃあ
Then, Takano-san,
高野
which
さん
one do you
は
believe?
どっちを信じてるんですか
真相は
The
別
truth
に
of the matter aside, I'd rather
夢
believe the
のあ
more
る方は
fantastic
信じたい
explanation.
その方が
It's
面
more
白い
fun
でし
that
ょ
way, isn't it? Her answer made her sound a wee bit like a romanticist. Because romance is fun, Cage. Here I thought she'd reject unrealistic stories like that. You'd think so, she's an adult.
さて
Now then,
いよいよここか
this
ら
is
面
where
白
the
くなる
fun
のは
begins. Takano brought an end to her storytelling and waits for a moment, as if to tantalize us.
Huh?
Suddenly, Shion looked around as if something had caught her eye. Her head bobbed to and fro like she was making sure nothing had changed.
どうしたシオン
What's wrong, Shion?
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry.
気にしないでくだ
Please
さい
don't worry about it. Shion pretended as though nothing had happened. Takano also made sure nothing had happened, then cleared her throat and broached the next subject. What happened?
村
Did
人たち
something
に
move?
半
I
分
explained that
鬼の
half
血
the
が流れ
villagers
てるのを
have
話
demon
し
blood.
実はその
That
血な
blood,
ん
they
だけ
actually
ど
say it's the blood of the
鬼
kind
は
of
鬼
demon
で
that
も
eats people.
人食い鬼で
Man
す
eating
か
demons?
急に物騒な
That
響きになり
escalated
ましたね
quickly.
その血は
That blood still
今
runs
で
through
も
the
村
villagers'
人たち
veins.
には時折
They say that
そ
sometimes
の
the
血
blood
が眠
awakens
りを
from its
覚ますと
slumber.
言われている
This is a new expression. I thought the fairy tale had a happy ending, with the humans and demons living in peace, but it began to suddenly change into a brutal, bloody story.
人食い鬼だ
Well,
から
they eat people.
何十年か
They
に
say that
一
every
度
decade or so,
どう
they
して
can't
も
help
人
but
肉
want
が
to feast
食
on
べた
human
くて仕方
flesh.
だから
The villagers can't eat other
村人
villagers, so when this happens,
彼
it
ら
said
は
they
その
descended on the
度に
human
人里
villages
へ
and conducted
鬼隠しをしたと
onikakushi.
何ですか
What's an
鬼隠しって
onikakushi?
平たく言えば
Broadly speaking, it's when a
鬼
demon
たちによる
kidnaps someone,
誘
when a
拐
person
行為
is demoned away.
鬼ヶ淵
They
村
say
の
that the
村
villagers
人
of
たちが
Onikafuchi would
人里に
overwhelm
押し寄
unfortunate
せ
villages in order to kidnap
哀れな生
sacrifices.
贄を無理やり
Takuno's
力
explanation
ずく
was
でさらった
plain
ん
and
です
simple. When I imagined what it must have been like, it was terrifying. They lose their human reason. The villagers turn into real demons and moss. They attack the villages they loathe in the dirty world of the masses below, and they kill and eat their
そ
sacrifices.
れじゃあ鬼と
So
何
they're
ら変わ
no
りないじゃない
different
で
from
すか
demons after all.
お社様はどう
What
したん
did
ですか
Oyashiro-sama do?
その村にと
Wasn't
どまっ
he
て
supposed to be staying in the
人々を
village and
見守っ
watching
てるん
over
じゃ
them?
もちろん
Oyashiro
親
knew
代
about it,
様
of
も了
course.
だから
Onikakushi isn't
鬼隠しは
indiscriminate. The
無差
villagers
別で
apparently
はな
never
く
kidnapped
神
anyone
様
other
が
than the
決めた生贄
sacrifices
以外
decided upon.
誰もさら
by
わな
their
かったらしいしほとんどの
In
場合
the
は
text, it's usually
一
one
人
or
か
two
二
people.
人だったって記されてるわ
A
ね
village inhabited by both those inhuman and human. It was like the heartwarming episode's colors had inverted, like a negative film. revealing the painful and ugly truth.
そうして
So, on the nights when they
生贄
stole
を
away
されてきた
villagers,
よ哀れな
they
犠
would
牲
feast
者
on
を
their
お救
kidnapped
いいただくため
sacrifices, which is why the nights came to be known as Watsunagashi. Watsunagashi. Tonight's festival was Watsunagashi. I just couldn't reconcile the fun festival with the horrible tale Takano-san was telling me.
綿流しは
Watsunagashi, well,
冬の間に
wasn't
使
it
った
about
布
giving
団なん
thanks
か
to
に
the
感謝するお祭りじゃなか
futons
った
that
で
we
した
use
っ
over the
け？
winter or something?
ケイちゃん
Keichan.
綿って言いません
Wata has another meaning, you know?
臓物のこと
It means entrails. Shion, who had been silent till now, spoke up.
綿？
Entrails.
そういえば言
Oh,
うな。
yeah, I guess that's
魚
true.
の
Like
綿。
fish
え？
fins. Wait, what? Like a jigsaw puzzle, the fun times I had today in Takano-san's grotesque tale clicked together in my mind. Run a little slow today, Cage. Need some tea.
綿流し。
Watsunagashi. So gut spilling. I didn't think saying that could ever feel so nauseating.
そう
Yes,
前原君
it's
の
as
想
you
像している
imagine,
今
my
で
Briku.
こそ
Right now,
綿流し
the
は
Watsunagashi
毎年
Festival
6
might
月に
just be a
行われる
somewhat early summer
早い
festival occurring
夏
every
祭り
June,
に過ぎ
but
る
it
け
used to be
ど
different.
哀れな食
It used to
材
be
を
a
されて
ghastly
きた夜にだ
cannibalistic
け開か
feast
れる
held on the night the villagers had
凄
collected
惨
there
な
on
人食い
fortunate
の
dinner.
嘘だ。
That can't be true. I had no real reason to say that, but I couldn't help it.
前原君は
My
さっ
Briku,
き
you said the Watsunagashi is a ritual about
布団を
purifying
清める儀
futons,
式で
right?
綿が詰まった
What do you think the
布団
futons filled with
何を意
cotton
味してる
with
と思うかし
wata
ら
represent?
布団は布団だろ。
Futons are futons. The curtains are blue, damn it.
シング。
They're beds. They're the things for sleeping in.
他に何の
What
意味が
else
あ
could
るんだ
they
よ。
possibly represent? Okay, this guy is not an English major. He does not have it. I was rattling on, desperately attempting to deny the horrible festival that Takano-san was describing. Deep down, however, I found myself understanding all too well what she meant. Futons stuffed with cotton. If the cotton represented entrails in both pronunciation and meaning, then entrail-filled futons would have to be
で
humans.
はリカちゃんが
Why
やっ
don't you
た
think
奉
back
納
to
演
the
舞を
offertory
思い出
dance
して
Rika-chan
リカ
performed?
ちゃんがあ
Do
そ
you
こで
know
何をして
what she was doing up there?
わからねえよ。
No, I
第一
don't. I didn't even
リ
watch
カ
the
ちゃん
whole
が
thing
最後ま
anyway.
でちゃんと見てないし。
Oh my god, Shion.
ケイちゃん
Kei-chan,
エキ
you're
サイ
getting
ト
too
しす
worked
ぎ
up.
です
Shion grabbed one of my ears, reminding me that this wasn't somewhere I should raise my voice. Even so, I can't suppress this agitation.
リカちゃんが
Rika-chan was carrying a
持っていた
festival
祭事を
hoe.
もう薄々
You probably realized
気づい
already,
て
but that's not a hoe for
あれ
plowing
は
fields.
人間の
It's a
腹
tool
を
for
こじらせる
dissecting
ため
human
の解
bodies.
剖道具なのよ
Ooh, this gets its own little CG. I didn't see the dance all the way through, so I don't know what kind of performance Rika-chan was putting on after I left. We are so fucking sauceless, dude. Like, every time we see us, it's like, come on, man. Couldn't we be a little bit cooler? Look at this motherfucker. Look at his raggedy-ass haircut. This is a great sprite, though. Look at this expression. When I told this to Takano-san, she kindly explained Rika-chan's dance to me. To summarize, after what I'd seen, Rika-chan would pierce the futons with that hoe, cut them open, and pull out the cotton inside. She cut the cotton out one bit at a time and set it afloat. That's the kind of ritual it
平
was.
たく言えば
Broadly speaking, it was quite the bombastic ceremony, where they'd rip out the guts and throw them into a basin.
それで
And then the ritual was over.
その後は
It's thought that afterwards the
それぞれの
villagers,
役割
each with a
を持っ
different
た
role,
村人たちが
dismantled the flesh piece by
おのおのに
piece and
肉を
feasted
変え
upon it. At Takano-san's strangely happy giggle, I felt for some reason violent displeasure. Rika-chan, every day during our lunch break, she'd take a rice-pounding mallet into the schoolyard, and she'd work so hard, sweating bullets, to practice for the offertory dance she'd done today. All that effort, all that work. Takano-san disgraced it. Even though she worked so hard to practice for
高
today.
野さんももう少し言葉を
Takano-san,
選
I
ん
think
で
you
ほ
should
しいです
choose your words a little more
ケイちゃん
carefully.
ナイーブ
Kei-chan's
なん
pretty
ですから
naive, so
あま
please
り
don't
から
tease
か
him
わな
so
いでくだ
much.
さい
A moment paused before I opened my mouth to express how angry I was. Shion stopped me. Shion must have been fully aware how the story made me
ご
feel.
めんなさ
I'm
い
sorry.
男の子だか
I
ら
thought you'd like a
ショッ
story
ピ
with
ン
that
グ
sort
の
of
話
shock
が
value,
結
since
構
you're a
好きだ
boy.
と思っ
It's
て
fucked up, Takano. It's messed up. Takano spoke without a hint of malice as she smiled, gracefully. Gracefully, Jet. Mm-hmm.
この辺まで話を
After
聞け
hearing all
ば
that, did you figure out
ケ
what
イち
kind
ゃん
of
に
stuff
も
is in
こ
the
の細部
storehouse,
伝の中に
Kei-chan?
ほら
See? Look! Shion pointed out one of the walls vaguely illuminated by the lantern's light. There was, mere moments ago, they hadn't held my interest. They were just boring-looking tools lined up on the shelves. Ugh. All those uninteresting tools I didn't understand how to use. They all suddenly took on a new meaning. I couldn't help but let out a groan. At first they looked like carpentry tools, like chisels or planes. However, when I thought back, I'd seen pictures of these sorts of tools before. Yeah, they came up in a Japanese history textbook. Yeah, on the page introducing the Katai Shinso, or the new text on anatomy.
こういうのはね
These sorts of
医学の
things,
本
they're
部
printed realistically in the
ドイツ
literature
の
of
文献の
Germany,
方が
capital of the
リ
medical
アルに
world.
掲載されてるわよ
These aren't carpentry tools. These strangely taped tools, they're for dissection. Everyone knows that in the Edo period, they would dissect the corpses of those who had been put to death in order to gain knowledge about Western medical technique. Illustrations of those dissection tools they used at the time came up in textbook supplements. The things hung off this wall all looked exactly the same as those. Yeah, they used to cut people up to figure out how the body works. And hey, there's really no better way to do it.
もっと怖い言い
If you
方
want
を
a
するな
scarier
ら
way of looking at it, think of them as cooking utensils. Ah, Takano-san, holding the lantern, the only light source in the room, led us along the wall. She had the only light, so I had to walk after her whether I liked it or not.
ほら
Look! Takano-san illuminated a coiled chain which left a bigger impression than the other things we saw. The chain in itself was nothing unusual, but further along it were metal fetters that were like hinges, clearly meant for binding people. Oh my god! Kei-chan, look at that! Shion tapped me on the shoulder and pointed to a restraining table that was clearly shaped like a person. My spine froze. My blood felt like it was turning into sherbet as it crawled up my back. On each of the joints, there were things like chains and iron balls attached. It was like the table was searching for its next sacrifice, ready to spread their arms wide and close them in.
多分
It's probably
まな板じゃないか
a
しら
chopping block.
犠牲者を
I think you'd strap the sacrifice
こ
down
の
to
台
prep
の
them from
上で
eating.
お料理をし
The
たんだ
words
と
chopping
思う
block sent a jolt through my body. When I looked more closely, there were many dark slices carved into it, as though from a knife or saw. The most clear-cut signs of usage you could ask for. It proved these tools weren't just for show. They were used for their original purpose. If someone was strapped tightly onto this table, they probably wouldn't be able to move even a muscle. Their guts would be defenseless. You take one of those eerie cooking knives lined up over there, stab them with it, and then you'd slice open their belly and dissect them?
話には聞いてたけど
I'd heard the stories, but this is incredible. Can you back up like 2 steps, Shion? I'm begging you. Before coming in here, Shiona mentioned she had a good guess of what was inside, but it seemed to have exceeded her imagination.
まだまだあるわよ
There's still more.
どう
How about it? We can leave, Takano.
Rolling
More
yokai
fascinating than a
yo
wax
moshiroi
museum,
desu.
isn't it? Takano had this happy expression like she was visiting a toy store for the first time. Yeah, you're a fucked up little lady, huh? I don't get it. This Mio Takano person has nerves of steel. Are these bizarre, grotesque objects that fascinating to her? I, for one, was not enjoying myself. I'll be frank. I thought you were Keiichi. Oh, this is all too weird for me. Still, there was something even more horrifying than all this. That would be none other than Takano-san herself. Takano holding the lantern giving us such a thin beam of light. If she suddenly turned it off, then I would... What would I do when the next moment everything went totally dark? That's why I was scared. Takano had the only light. And anyway, I was scared. At some point, she had to start holding onto my shirt sleeve. It was a little annoying to walk around like that, but I didn't shake her off. That minor sensation allowed me to feel the presence of an ally, here and now. Before we had even walked halfway through the storehouse, the air I felt on my skin changed completely. These cruel tools lined up, all crammed together in this place. Some were horrible ones, made to take away sacrifices' freedom, and some were tools made to efficiently disassemble and prepare the bodies for consumption. Those were just the things I understood. There were plenty of other strange-looking objects that I couldn't even guess the purpose of. Now that I was here, I didn't have the slightest desire to hear the details about what sort of terrifying reasons they were meant to be used for. Yeah, if you're in a torture room, the scariest tools are the ones you have no clue how you'd even go about them. Some water. At the very least, they were all completely different from the sort of clean, simple killing function of something like a katana. Tools to kill people were obviously constructed in such a way they could kill people. Further news, water's blue. If that was the goal, then the person you used them on would obviously end up dead. The kinds of tools here, however, were different. The tools that were here were for cutting people, for crushing them, for boiling them and cooking them, and for grinding them. They were tools of torture. They weren't made to kill people. People dying was just an incidental result. Actually, they might not even kill them. If the sacrifices could die during such a horrifying ritual process, that'd be pretty nice, but they don't even die in the end. They remain in a state of hellish pain. Perhaps they were only being allowed to live. Only now, in this moment, did I fully realize just how terrifying and fearsome that difference was. Yeah, in some cases death was preferable. People, you see, most of these wouldn't kill them if used properly. Takano-san, as if reading my mind, displayed a shocking smile. Burning at the stake, the famous method of execution for witches, will kill the person immediately. Well, not immediately. You have to be fucking scalded in fire for a good, like, minute to 30 seconds. But yeah, you do die pretty quick. It's agonizing, but you die. When the body suffers extreme burns on the skin all over, the decomposition of the skin's chemical makeup produces poison-like symptoms and causes immense shock to the victim. Though I suppose it's still very cruel. Compared to the guillotine, you have to wait far longer for that to happen. Oh, she describes such horrors in a strangely medicinal way. Okay, we all know people like this, right? They have this bit of a morbid fascination. They're just a little messed up. Shion immediately answered the question I had. Takano-san is a nurse. Yeah, that checks out. I got a goat, Harrison's Sexy Reed. We call him HSR. He's in a nurse training program, working on a certification at a public university. So I wonder if he knows all these little details. That'd be fun to ask about. There's a saying that nothing can scare a doctor. Guess it's true. Oh, and also, there was a method of execution in ancient Rome where they would grill the person, just like a barbecue. They would cover the person in wire netting and slowly cook them over a charcoal fire. To think the memories of when I went to a day camp with my family would come rushing back now, of all times, so vividly. That's what it was like. Apparently, they wouldn't die too easily for some reason. According to one source, even if they roasted one side of a person to a crisp for an entire night, they would still be conscious and able to speak fluently. That's insane! You'd grill someone the whole day, and they'd still be conscious. It's said that ancient Rome, famous for the executions, thought of plenty of ways to execute someone while having the victim stay alive for as long as possible. Among them, there was one method where they would open the gut, pull out the intestines like sausages, pull them up with a winch, and put them on public display. Shion was behind me, clinging to me. Not because she was scared entirely. She was protecting her stomach. You would think someone with their intestines pulled out would die instantly, right? Yeah, that feels like common sense. Actually, as long as you do it tenderly and thoroughly, it's apparently possible to pull them all out while the person's still conscious. I felt a really sick feeling in my stomach. It's like my organs were coiling up, just from Takano-san stare. Mine are too, this is a little gruesome. Though pulling them out with a winch was rather exaggerated method. In a more barbaric way, they might slice open the gut and then cut the intestines out and just throw them everywhere. It's quite imaginable they did dreadful things like that too, isn't it? However, those being put to death are conscious. Must be far more terrifying than painful. She spoke of pleasure as she come here on a sightseeing trip. I heard Shion gulping multiple times near my ears. Perhaps Hinamizawa, or rather, Onigafuchi Village, did something like that for the Wasanagashi Festival. Listen, if you try hard, can't you hear? I wanted nothing more than to not hear anything at all. So why only at times like these do I begin to hear things I shouldn't be able to? Fading down. That was a good scene. What the hell was that? Takano-san, having realized she'd scared Shion and I enough at this point, smiled soothingly. Are we done? Jesus Christ, man. Then she turned her heel, raised the lantern, and began to walk again. If Takano-san left us here, we get even further away from the light. Shion and I, no matter how scared we were forced to follow Takano-san along on our field trip through the ritual store warehouse. That is how it feels. Yeah, it's like a museum. It's pretty fun. I suppose we've seen a bit of everything. See? This place is interesting, isn't it? She says, raising the lantern high in the center of the storehouse. The dim lighting didn't change, but for some reason, I felt like I was able to see all those horrible tools at once. Jesus Christ, Shion! 2 steps! Gei-chan, look up. Shion stammered while grabbing the nape of my neck. Horror sting. I couldn't tell because it was so dark, but there were a lot more tools hanging from the ceiling as well. They all looked like they were made of iron bars, but then I figured it out. Cages. For cages, they were very small. Cramped cages just for one, like a casket. Yo, Muda, how's it going? We're on a tour through the ancient village ritualistic killing room. Our main characters are not fucking happy about it. But Takano, she's having a blast. She's having a good time. If you got locked up in there, no one No, you wouldn't get locked up inside it. How was the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament? Are you back from Los Angeles? It was another tool meant for restraining people, where the iron bars would squeeze you tightly. All the so many big and large things of all shapes were hanging down. Takano-san's method of execution by grilling crosses my mind. We weren't just surrounded on all sides by these terrifying instruments. Things crowding the ceiling were even hanging over our heads. There are many of these sorts of bird cages among European torture devices. I was surprised to see them in Japan as well. Oh yeah, you're just the expert, huh, Takano? Kei-chan, is there something in there? A person? A mummy? Where? Shion desperately pointed to one of the many human-sized bird cages hanging from the ceiling, but I couldn't tell which one she meant. Being that dark, there wasn't any way you could tell if something was there in the first place. I don't see anything. You sure you're not seeing things? Shion didn't seem convinced, but without a means to confirm for ourselves, we couldn't do much but wonder. Maebara-kun, after seeing this, have you come to believe in all of it? The countless terrible rituals passed down in Hinamizawa? It's got nothing to do with believing in them. Now that I've been shown the real thing like this, there's no possible way to deny it. Yeah, people were dying. Even the nations of Europe, with all their beautiful landscapes and legends, were like a maelstrom during the terrible witch hunts in the Dark Ages. This is untrue. This is a false conception. The witch hunts were not really a factor in the Middle Ages. Instead, we had a precursor known as the trials. The trials were a method of dispensing justice, which were originally patented by the Germanic and Nordic tribes, but eventually taken on by the church in around the year 800, I believe, where there were a bunch of different trials. You could do stuff like, a bunch of witch hunty stuff. This is where the cold water trial comes from, where you dunk a woman in water, and if she floats, she's a witch, and if she sinks, she's not. Or, well, if she floats, she's guilty, and if she's innocent, she's not, because the devil's lifting her up. But then you'd have ones where you'd walk across hot coals, or grab something out of a boiling cauldron, or there were a bunch of stuff like that. But the actual witch hunts themselves, which were based on the trials, didn't start until the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance. Closer to the 1500s, actually. And that was History Lessons with your goat. It's well known the era gave birth to countless gruesome forms of torture and execution. Japan was the same way. Didn't it have its own era of hellscape-like torturous feasts because of religious suppression and things of that nature? Hinamizawa itself had such a period. It had that much history behind it. Even in Europe, land of the witch hunts, that was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events. And in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. That must apply to Hinamizawa as well. Just as Europe had its Dark Age, Hinamizawa had one too. That's how this should be taken. Even if these things all really happened in Hinamizawa, they're all long past. They don't have anything to do with the people living in Hinamizawa right now. Maebara-kun, you really do like this village, huh? It didn't sound like she was making fun of me. Takano-san gave me a light smile. Takano-san, you're researching whether those customs survived into the present. You are, right? Shion suggested something that made my heart leap into my throat. I can't blame you. Are you telling me that all these horrible things are still going on today? Today, more than you think. What I'm about to tell you is a secret, alright? I told you, Shion-chan, because you're an understanding person. But the other villagers don't want to hear it. If things go awry, I can be ganged up on, punished. Shion flashed a devilish smile, as if reveling in the immorality of it. That's a very Shion move. Maebara-kun, you keep it a secret too, okay? If this gets out, I could sever Oishiro-sama's curse or be made into a sacrifice. So stating it very directly, keep in mind, chat, in the last episode, she was the one that was demoned away. If it's the curse, then I wonder what kind of death it'll be this year. If it's a sacrifice, then will I be thrown into the Unegafuchi swamp while still alive? It is tonight, you know, the night of Oishiro-sama's curse. Takano-san said, bringing her face right up close to ours, as if to say that if she had the choice, she'd rather suffer the curse. That's what she seemed to be implying. Takano-san took a fairly worn notebook out of her paper bag and began to flip through the pages. There were all sorts of references and newspaper clippings attached to them, and it had all manner of things written inside. The letters were very small and bunched together, so I couldn't tell at a glance what it was about.
本当
What
は
I'd really like to do
北海
is
道
search through the
書館
National
で
Library for
当時の
newspapers from
新
the
聞
era,
ほら
but
ここ
oh, here it is. Pardon. A photocopy of a page from some book was slid into the notebook, and it too was written in small, tight lettering. Like the other pages, I couldn't tell what it was about just by
これは
glancing.
実
This
際
is
に
a
あったお
story
話
that
よ
actually
明
happened.
治の終わり
It was
頃
around the end of the
に
Meiji.
鬼ヶ淵
They
村
discovered
で
an
身
unknown
元不
mangled
明の
corpse,
惨殺
the
死
victim
体
of a
が
murder
発見
in
されたんで
Onikafuji.
す
An old newspaper clipping attached to the page spoke of something that was no mere rumor or fairy
当
tale.
時の警察の
We
資料
don't
が
have
ほ
most
とんど
police
残っ
documents
て
from
な
the
い
time
そうだ
anymore,
か
so it's
ら
all based on
口
oral
伝と
tradition
記
and
憶
memory.
ほら
See?
これ
It's not
不
very
鮮
clear,
明だけ
but it
ど
looks like a cutout of a
明治の
newspaper
頃
from the
の新
Meiji
聞
era.
の切り抜きみたい
Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity. Could it be the work of a demon? Being a copy of a copy, it was hard to make out, but it was more than enough to make me feel strangely tense. Oh man. Near the end of the Meiji era, in old Onikafuchi village, a mangled corpse was discovered. The identity of the corpse was unknown. It wasn't even in a state where it could be identified in the first place. It was missing a head, and each limb was separated from the body. Isn't that familiar, chat? That's how the damn guy died. Skin had been peeled off the entire body, and there were markings that implied terrible torture in every place imaginable. Not only that, but the belly had been cut open by a sharp knife, with the entrails completely dragged out. The police immediately began an investigation, but since they couldn't even determine the identity of the victim, much less the criminal, finding answers was extremely difficult.
どういう
Do
状
you
況
understand what it must have been
か
like?
わかるかし
I
ら
couldn't imagine such a strange sight, even if I tried. This is the first time I was ever thankful for my lack of imagination.
被害者
The victim was
生き
skinned
な
while
がらに
still
して
alive,
全身
underwent
の
all kinds of
皮を
torture, and was
剥
killed
が
brutally.
れそして死
The
後
author here also thinks that even after
さ
death,
ら
the
に
remains
遺
were
体を
divided and
分
dissected
解
even
解
further.
剖と
The
残
epitome
虐の
of
限りを尽くし
inhumanity.
たのではないか私
I'm of the opinion that the
どの
entire
工程も
process was performed
生
by the
きて
person who
い
was
る
still
う
alive,
ち
though.
前原君は
What
ど
do
う
you
思う
think,
かしら
Maibara-kun? She spoke in a way intended to make me imagine even more vicious things. As my brain was already far over capacity, however, there was no way I could imagine anything more brutal. Then, when I broke my gaze from Takano-san's, those strangely shaped weird tools were all around us. I wonder if he could faithfully reproduce the mutilated corpse discovered at the end of the Meiji era with the tools found in this place. I want to deny it. I don't want to admit that something so terrible could have happened at all. Even so, they were so strange, so terrifying, these tools, and as if they had seen through my attempt to escape from them, they did nothing but ridicule me, silently.
その薄気味
So,
悪い事
that
件は
creepy incident.
な
What
んだっ
was
て
it
言
in
う
the
筆
end?
者は
The
ね
author says that regarding
鬼
Onifuji
ヶ
village's
淵村
dreadful
の恐ろ
customs,
しい習
they've
慣は
survived into
明治
recent
以降
post-Meiji
ひょっと
days,
すると
and that perhaps they've lasted
昭
until
和
around
初
the
期
beginning
く
of
ら
the
いまでは
Showa
残って
period.
たんじゃないかっ
This
て
corpse at a
結んで
glance
る
appeared to have been brutally killed after a period of torture. In actuality, it was pitiful sacrificial remains of the man-eater's terrifying feast. The corpse was just leftovers. It was so fantastic, so strange, it didn't feel real. Was this an extension of the legends, too? It happened in the Meiji era, though, which was too recent to be called a I'm googling it. When's the Meiji era? Has anybody DM'd me? Not just yet. Meiji era. Meiji era was the first half of the Empire of Japan. Late Meiji is... That's only 70 years ago. That's pretty far away, but that's relatively recent, you know? Damn. Let me go back to my stream so that I still count as a viewer. There we go. And Yamuda, I'm here. Hello. You can talk to me. Happened in the Meiji era, though, which is too recent to be called legend. Also, there's a newspaper clipping right there
で
suggesting it.
でも本
Okay,
当にあったと
but
し
even
たっ
if
て
it really happened, it was a
昔の
long
こと
time
ですよ
ago,
ね
right?
明治なんて
I
言
mean,
っ
the
たら
Meiji era ended
それこそ
100 years
100年
ago.
くらい前の
No, it didn't.
たった
That's
た
all.
った 100
Only
年
100
前
years
それ
ago.
にね
Besides,
昭和に入っ
it
て
kept
からだっ
happening
て
even
ある
after
ん
the
だか
beginning of
ら
the Showa period.
終戦直後
Like
に
with the
騒ぎ
uproar
に
around
な
the
った
post-war. That was only 30 years before the event of this.
人肉缶詰
Canned
事件
flesh incident. Oh, I apologize. That story was taboo, wasn't it? Takano-san immediately stopped talking as if worried about Shion. Shion briefly looked somewhat angry, but that expression soon disappeared. Huh?
今高野さん
Takano-san, what
なん
did
て言いま
you
した
just say?
人肉缶詰
Canned flesh? Just then, there was a huge creaking noise. Everyone whipped around to look. It was Tomitake who had opened the door slightly. Tomitake jump scare. Did I startle you?
ここ
Oh, Jiro-san.
素敵
Could
な
you
拷
not
問
resist
ドー
seeing
ムの
inside? This is
宝庫
a
よ
splendid treasure trove of torture devices.
僕は遠慮させてもら
I'll
うよ。
pass on that.
生来ね
I'm bad with this
こ
sort of
ういう
thing
の
by
は
nature.
苦手なんだ
Takano held her stomach and had to muffle her laughter as if she wanted to make a comment about his masculinity. That's fucked up!
それより
Don't emasculate him because he doesn't want to be in the torture chamber room.
演
In any
舞と
case,
セレ
the
モニー
dance
が
is
終わっ
ceremony
て
over and everyone's going
みん
down
な
to the
あと
stream.
何分もしな
Festival
い
will
う
be
ち
over
にお
within
祭りは
minutes.
終わっちゃう
Oh, that's so good. Mamoru-kun is just such a good listener they couldn't help telling stories. I'd really rather you not mention me in a place like this. Jiro, could you wait out front? I want to take a few pictures. There are actually a lot of tools I like to bring home, but we obviously can't do that. Sakura took a camera out of her paper bag and began to snap photographs. She looked like she was having fun, like she was on a scavenger hunt.
ケイチ君も出るかい
Keiichi, are you leaving too?
もう十分に見
I've
ました
seen
よ
enough. Shion,
もういい
you're
だろう。
good too,
出ようぜ。
right? Let's get out of here. We haven't actually
綺
seen
麗
a
な
show.
空気が吸い
I
たい
want
よ。
some fresh air.
同感です
I
出ましょう
agree. Let's leave. I did feel a bit of hesitation at leaving Takano by herself in this darkness. When I thought about it, though, I realized that whatever kinds of evil spirits and ghosts lurked in the darkness, none of them could hold a candle to how scary she was. Even if a phantasm were to appear, she'd be overjoyed and flash her camera at it. It seemed like Shion shared my somewhat rude mental images. We exchanged glances and smiled painfully. We left Takano-san there, bathed in her trove of camera flashes, and decided to go leave the ritual storehouse. Alright, we're back to Slice of Life music. We're chilling, we're hanging out. No longer in the torture room, baby. Everyone at the festival seemed to have gone the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs, on the other hand, were clear, leading an empty feeling of isolation to the place. This is a long-ass chapter. Holy shit. How was it? Interesting? Tomitake gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. You should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our
もう
faces
三
were.
宅さんと一
I
緒
should
に
have kept watch
留守番をして
outside
れば
with
よ
you,
かったですよ
Tomitake-san. Tomitake laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings.
シオンちゃんはど
How
う
did you fare,
怖か
Shion-chan?
ったかい
Were you scared?
一応
I was
心の
prepared
準
for it, so I
備があ
wasn't
った
too
の
afraid.
でも
But
やっぱり
seeing
実
the
物
real
は
thing
迫
was
力あります
powerful. Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. She really had been quite afraid, but seeing as how I was in a way worse state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. Oh man, as Tomitake grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself. So what did y'all think of that? So this didn't really give us much new information, outside of the fact that, we have confirmed murders from the town as early as 70 years ago, and there's an incident called the canned flesh incident that we don't have more information on. But outside of that, this scene really was just filler. We didn't actually get that much information. But despite that, I still feel like it was a really good mood setter and tone setter, especially because somebody's gonna start dying pretty damn soon, you know? So, what did y'all think?
高野さんはおとなしく見物してたかな
Was Takano-san an adult about this little expedition? No! You know how she seems like a child sometimes. I was worried she'd be way too excited.
さぞや興奮してたんじゃないかと
Well, Shion and I laughed and left that as our answer. As you
言うだ
should.
けならいいんだ
Hopefully she was only looking at things. I'm worried she'll sneak something out of there or mess with the
いじく
ritual
りすぎ
too
て
much and break
細
it
部
or
を
something.
壊したりしないかが心配
Right,
なんだ
yeah, that's quite possible. She is alone in there right now. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding in her pocket.
やりかねない
Yeah, I can see that. Shion said what I was thinking.
本当に何も壊したり
You
しなかったか
sure she didn't break anything?
ななんだか
I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous.
ごめんな
I'm sorry, I ran out of film.
ジローさん
Jiro-san, if you have any more, could I use some? Takano suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. She's just a scary lady, man. Tomitake smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing happened. He's pretty mature.
あもう読みの切れ
I'm all out of spare
申し
film.
訳ない
Sorry about
も
that.
う
Huh,
いつ
jeez.
いかなる
You won't
時
win
で
any
も
Pulitzer
筆でも
Prizes by
残
not
してお
stocking
か
up
ない
film for
と
any occasion,
仕
you know?
方ないわ
I
ね
suppose that's it then. Tomitake scratched his head apologetically. Without film, we're done. Takano seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything behind, and then closed the door and turned the heavy padlock we'd left beside it.
高野さん
Takano-san, you didn't sneak anything out, right?
失礼
How
そこま
rude.
で
I'm
子供
trying
じゃ
not
な
to
い
be
つ
that
もりよ
childish. It's in character for you, though, Takano. Let's be on guard. Clack. Tomitake set the padlock back the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all.
よし
Okay,
僕たちも空
let's
に
get
行
over
こ
to the stream
う
ourselves.
綿
If
を
you
流す
don't
と
at
ころ
least
くら
set
い
some
やらない
cotton
と
afloat,
お
there won't be
祭り
any
に来
point
た
in
意
coming to
味
the
がないよ
festival. Tomisake is so brightly, urging us all on. Setting cotton afloat down the stream. I shake my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. For those of you that weren't here for the initial explanation, Waga, or Wata for Watsunagashi, means both cotton and entrails. So it's one of those words that has two meanings. So the Watsunagashi, in the meaning that we've taken to understand it before this episode, has been the cotton spilling festival, where you tear open futons and spill the cotton down the river. But it originally came about as the entrail spilling festival. Let's just leave it at that, alright? You saw enough to say your curiosity, didn't you?
まさ
No,
か
not at
むし
all.
ろ
Everything
新
I
しい
found
興
only
味を
renewed
惹か
my
れて
interest.
思うので
All the
こ
stories
れ
and
までの
legends
仮
suddenly
説が
hold water.
これで今後の
After
調
today,
べ
I'm
方
gonna
が
have to change
だ
the
いぶ
way I
変
look
わ
at
って
all
くるんだ
this.
から
Wow, she's indomitable. Her curiosity really is something else. Still interested in all this through and through. Music cut. Down at the river, we descended the stone stairs, and all the people crowding the stream came into view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut out for them and wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over.
まずった
Damn.
綿流しの
I
一
missed my
番い
chance
い
to
とこ
photograph
ろを
the best
撮
part
影
of
し損ねたよ
Watsunagashi.
あら
Oh, but it's not
ま
too late.
私が言っ
I'm
て
gonna
流
go and
す
set some afloat.
私を撮っ
Perhaps you
て
could
は
take
くださら
pictures
ない
of
のかしら
me. Oh, you sly dog, Takano. Takano, with an impish expression, brought her head to Tomatake's shoulder. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Tomatake, man to man, for dating such a handful.
じゃ
Damn.
あね
Goodbye, then.
前原くん
Maebara-kun,
しおんちゃんも
Shion-chan.
僕たちは今か
We're
らで
going
も
down
さ
to the
君
stream.
たちも一
Would
緒
you
に
like
来
to
る
come
か
with
い
us?
まさか
No,
お二人の
no, I
邪魔
couldn't
なん
get
て
in your
どう
way.
ぞごゆっくり
Please take your time. Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. She said, "Just play wingman." Tomatake, on his part, seemed to want us to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps. You say big stretch.
疲れちゃいました
Pretty worn
同
out.
感だな
Same
俺も
here.
疲れた
I'm exhausted too.
ケイちゃんは
Okay,
綿
Chan,
流
this is
し
your first
初めて
Watsunagashi,
なんです
isn't it?
私なんか気にしない
You
で
go on.
い
Don't mind
私
me.
は疲れちゃ
I'm
ったん
tired,
で
so I'd like to stay away
人
from
混
the
み
crowd.
はちょっとパスして
Yeah,
お
if we were
き
to
ま
go
す
now, we'd barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony.
お姉たちが
My
ケイ
sister
ちゃん
and
の
your
こ
other
とを
friends might
探
be
してる
looking
か
for
も
you
しれん
too.
行ってきてくだ
Go
さい
on.
あそうだ
Oh, yeah,
ミオンた
right.
ちと別れた
They've
ま
been by
ま
themselves
それっ
ever
きりだっ
since
た
we
ら
got separated.
探してると悪
I
い
feel bad if they were looking for me. Then, Shion suddenly got a playful lip to her face, then put her index finger to her lips as if telling me to keep this a secret. She's back in her bullshit.
お姉って
My
すっ
sister is
ご
the
く
type
知っ
that
て
gets
深いんで
really
す私が
jealous.
ケイちゃんを
If
独
she knew I
占
was
してたこと
hogging
が
you
バ
this
レ
whole
ると
time, she'd
い
never
ろ
let
い
me
ろう
hear
る
the
さ
end
い
of
ん
it.
で
So keep
今
tonight
夜
a
のこと
secret.
は秘密
Okay?
にしておいてくださいね
Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing, please.
そういう意味だ
Not
けじ
only
ゃないで
because
す
of that
今
either.
夜
Considering
私
what we
た
were
ちが
doing
したこ
tonight,
とを思
we
えば
really need to keep
秘
it a
密にする
secret.
のは今夜起こるかもしれない
Oishiro-sama's
お
curse
や
might
すら
happen
様の
tonight,
たたり
and we four
私
would
た
be
ち4人
prime
は最有力
candidates.
候補なんですからね
The loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing.
じゃ
All right,
私
I
は
can be out of
お姉
here
に
before I
出
run
か
my
けは本
sister.
当に
I
疲れ
really
て
am
るから
tired, so I don't have the endurance to put up with her
お姉とやる
anyway.
シオンって
I can't tell
ミ
if
オ
we
ン
get
と
along
仲
with
が
her
い
or
いの
not.
か悪いのか
仲
We
いいです
we get
よ
along. Though she said that, her vague expression explained there are a lot of oddities in a relationship between twins. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun though.
俺は一人っ子
I'm
だ
an
か
only
らよ
child,
く
so
わ
I
かんない
don't
な
really
せ
get
い
it.
ぜい仲良
Make
く
sure
し
you
ろ
get
よ
along with her, okay?
はい
Right.
余計
Thank you
なおせっ
kindly
かい
for your
とそれ
meddling.
じゃあ私は
Okay,
この
I'm
ケ
gonna
イ
go.
ちゃんも急い
You
で
should
行った方
hurry
が
up
い
if
い
you
で
want to
すよ
make it,
本当に
Kei-chan.
綿流しが終わっ
Watsunagashi
ちゃ
really
い
is
ます
about to end. Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watsunagashi Festival below me.
でも本当に
Seriously, though.
あの音は
What
何だっ
was
た
that
んでしょう
sound,
不愉
anyway?
快とい
It
う
was
か
kind of unpleasant and creepy.
気味が悪いというか
何の音だって
What sound?
音ですよ
The
ボ
sound.
タンバタン
You know, the banging noise.
うるさかったじゃない
It
で
was
すか
really loud, wasn't it? I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared hard at
ご
her.
めんシオン
Sorry,
走らない
Shion.
で
Could you
最
give
初
me
から
the
説明し
short
て何
version?
がうるさかった
What
っ
was
て
making noise?
ケイちゃん
Wait,
気に
Kei-chan.
ならなかったん
It
ですか
didn't bother you? When all is said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages.
シオン
Shion,
冗談抜きで
Explain it to me
初
without
めから
jokes
説
from
明し
the
てくれない
beginning.
か
Will you?
音がどうしたって
What's this about a
ケイ
noise?
ちゃんこそ
Kei-chan,
冗談抜
you
きで
quit joking around too.
本当に
Really? Honestly,
気にならなかったん
it
ですか？
didn't bother you? Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at the other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions, with no signs of actual conversation. Baffled, I held the urge to shout at her, and asked politely one
も
more
う
time.
一度
I'm
聞
going
く
to ask one more
か
time.
質問は俺
I'll
から
ask the
だ
questions. Shion nodded
じゃあ
silently.
聞くぞ
Okay, here
音
goes.
がしたっ
You
て
said there was a sound.
何のことだ
What are you talking about?
ボタン
The
バタンな
banging
んだか
sound.
ど
It
こ
was
か
like a
遠く
kid
の
who was
板の
jumping up
間
and
で
down on floorboards
子
somewhere
供
far
が
away.
本当に気に
It
ならなかった
really
んです
didn't
か
bother
気
you?
にならないもん
There was
何も
nothing to be
そん
bothered
な
by.
音
When
いつ
did you
聞こ
hear
えた
this?
俺は何も聞
I
いて
never
ない
heard
ぞ
anything.
ちょっとケイ
Wait,
ちゃん
Kei-chan, are you
それ
are you
本気で言ってるん
serious?
ですか？
Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further, her expression quite serious. I have no clue what she's talking about. But if it has Shion acting like this, whatever it was, give me the creeps. Sent a chill down my spine.
さっき
It was while we were looking
最後
around the
例の
inside
中
of the
で
ritual
高野さん
storehouse
と
of
一緒に高野さん
Takano.
が
About the time she
昔
started
話を始め
stories,
た
I think it
少しず
was.
つ
Little by
だん
little,
だんと
louder and louder,
ちょくちょくと
off and on. She heard a banging sound, like a child jumping on distant floorboards. That was me banging my desk. Don't worry
嘘
about
だろ
it. That can't be true.
最後の最後
Don't
で
start trying to
怖がらせ
scare
る
me
のは
after
なし
all
だ
that.
ぜおい
I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening.
ケイちゃんこ
Please
そ
don't try to scare me either,
怖くなん
Kei-chan.
だか
It was like something was
高野さ
making
んの
noise in
怖い
time when
話
Takano
に合わ
sounded
せて
scary
音を立て
stories.
てる
And I
よう
was
で
totally creeped out the whole
私
time.
ずっと薄気味悪かったんですか
The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze
ケイちゃ
over.
んも高野
You
さ
and
んも
Takano-san weren't paying
全
attention
然
to
意
it
味
at
も
all,
返
so
さ
I
ない声
pretended
だっ
not
た
to
の
hear it
で
either.
聞
But
こえましたよね
you heard it, right?
何度かは
It happened a bunch of
すごく
times,
大
and it
き
was
な音で
really,
したから
really loud. Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my eyes suggested something entirely different. You gotta be kidding, kind of look. In that storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear, by herself. Should that make Shion, who had heard it, tremble, or should it make me, who didn't, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made the decision before I did.
なんだよ
What are you laughing about?
引っかかりま
I
したね
really got you, Kei-chan.
嘘ですよ
I was fibbing the whole time. She was not fibbing the whole time, chat.
は
What? Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was, and clapped me on the back. Her smile seemed somewhat artificial, and actually made me feel worse. Then after leaving me with 2 or 3 generic diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left almost as if she was running away. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said she'd been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. Now that I think back, Tomitake said the same thing, didn't he?
なんだかド
I
タ
could
ンバタ
clearly
ン
hear
と
some
飛び
noises
跳
like
ねる
someone
よ
jumping up
僕
and
は
down.
不安
I
で
was getting
不安
pretty
で
nervous. Tomitake, the most neutral party present at the time, said he'd heard something. Then that noise. It was real? The banging. Sounds as though a child was jumping up and down on floorboards, far away. Oishiro's curse, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. Most plausible victim candidates were Takano, Tomitake, Shion, and me. The bustling of the people sounded further away than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I am near so much human warmth, and yet I can never go back there again. That was the ominous idea that spread in my mind. Then, all of a sudden, I was pounced on from behind, causing my heart to lurch. Yeah, it's Rika. Keiichi, we found you! It was Rika. When I turned around, Mion and Raina were there too! Hooray! It's the gang. Finally found you. Now I just need to find Sadaka.
今年は
Everyone
みんな
got split
隠
up
れ
this
ちゃって来
year.
年から
We should make sure we
ちゃ
have
んと
somewhere to
交
meet
流
up
場所を
afterwards
決め
next
てお
year.
きたいな
How?
そうだね
Oh,
や
you're
っぱ
right.
りお
It's
祭りは
festival,
み
so
ん
we
な
should all
と
be
一緒でないと
together.
ね
I listened to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt.
ケイイチは
Keiichi, did you root for me while I was dancing?
あ
Yeah!
ちゃんと見て
I
た
saw it
最後
all.
まで
You
ち
did
ゃ
a
んと
great
頑
job
張
all
った
the way
ミス
through.
もなかったし
No mistakes either.
おほ
She made some mistakes, huh?
うん
Yeah,
そうだよ
that's
リカ
right,
あんなのは
Rika-chan.
ミスなん
That
て
didn't
入ら
count as a
ないよ
mistake. I tensed up as I realized I made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped a hand on my shoulder, a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out of my whole
ケイ
body.
ちゃんはやった
Did you do it too,
綿をもら
Kei-chan?
って
Did
沢
you
に
get
流
some
し
cotton
た
and send it down the stream? You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell her any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head.
あれ
Huh?
そうなの
You
ケイ
haven't,
イチ
Keiichi-kun.
早く
You
行か
should
ない
go
と
now or
終
it'll
わっ
be
ちゃう
over. It'll be over.
ごめん
Sorry,
初めての
this is
お
my
祭り
first
だからさ
Watagashi,
よく
so
ルール
I
が
don't really
わからな
understand
くて
the rules and stuff.
そうだったね
Oh, yeah,
ごめん
that's right. I'm sorry. She was getting on her fucking case for that, dude. Mion took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps.
ねえケイちゃん
Hey,
なん
Kitch.
だよ
What's up? Music stopped.
シオンには会
Did
わ
you
なかった
see Shion? She's fucking pissed, dude. My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand.
いや
No, oh, well, I
し
sort
ば
of
って
think I
でも
saw her.
ミオンとそ
You
っ
two
く
look
りだ
so
から
alike, though, so it might have been you.
ミオンだったのかもしれないし
そんなに間違
You
い
wouldn't
ない
have
で
gotten
しょ
that wrong.
服装だって違
We're
う
wearing
んだか
different
ら
clothes. Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right.
そうだよ
Mion's
な
momentary silence was like a death grip upon me.
しょうがないな
I just can't
シ
do
オンは
anything about that
あ
Shion.
あいつのことだ
Well,
から
it's her we're talking about,
I'll
so
take
we can
them,
just leave her
okay,
be. Mion's expression returned to her former usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. We're holding hands! Oh my god! But this is not a cute scene. Okay, That's our chapter break? We've been here for an hour and a half, chat. Jesus Christ. I'm going to drink some water and take a piss. And then I'll come back and read Scrapbook Note 4, 5, and After the Festival. After the Festival is probably going to be where someone dies again. Discover what's in the storehouse. Plumb the depths. We get a little... Oh, that's the ritual hope? Okay. So, this chapter was really good. I'll speak more of my thoughts about it in just a second. And back. That's probably going to be how I format the break structure of these. I'm going to finish an episode, go take a piss, and then there are, from my knowledge, there are 12 chapters per episode. So after 3 episodes, about the halfway mark, I'm going to take a longer break, closer to 10 or 15 minutes, and get some food, get some dinner. Right? And there'll be a break after every episode that'll be a little shorter. D-Bitch has a piss. I'm drinking so much water during these streams. On average, on each of these streams, I'm filling up my water bottles beforehand and then going through all 3 of them. I have 2 24-ounce water bottles here and a 32-ounce water bottle, which is 48, 32. That's 80 ounces of water. I'm going through every streaming session. So I'm pissing. I be pissing. Anyway, new tips. Let me see if anybody's talking to me. Can people please talk to me, please? How to draw cloth folds. What the fuck is that, dude? I'm not even gonna bother with. Ooh, ping an NECC for nationals for each game title. I should take a look at that. It's probably interesting. Maybe something special. Oh, I'm gonna change the PFP. Highest score. Makes sense. Alright, so I assume Mood is muted because he's watching the stream, right? Usually, when I have viewers, I know exactly who they are. I'd love to have a conversation. It'd be fun. But it's okay. We can just keep going and get our hits in. Let me just check this one last thing in the esports section. And, okay, we should be all good. Let's keep going. Let's do the tips. Let's do another episode, take a piss, and we'll be all good. From the scrapbook, far. Let's see. So this is Takano's scrapbook. Watsunagashi. The rite of Watsunagashi is performed during a village festival every June. Even now, rooting back to its origins, turns up a seriously sanguine ceremony. Originally, it would happen in certain intervals, and after receiving Oishiro-sama's trust, they chose to sacrifice. Then, the entire village would kidnap, quote-unquote, demon away, person and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune-telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Onigafuchi village firmly believed that they were half man, half demon transcendents. They were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. You know what? Fuck it. We're hardcore plugin today. We're entering this voice chat, and we're going to tell all these people to pull up my stream in the background. You know what? That's actually a dick move. I'm not going to do that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up in the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rights of Wasanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of, the villagers of the isolated Onigafuchi village, in case any of their complaints or dissatisfaction grew serious. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it's easy to explain how erratic they were. Makes sense. We didn't get any new information from the scrapbook. Not really. Alright, from the scrapbook numero 5. The alleged importance of the implements. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and there definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Wasanagashi rite alone number 200? Damn! The obvious question then is why they required such a myriad of them. Yeah, they're only killing a couple people. The rite of Wasanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 is a little bit too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, attained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution stops there. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Like normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and searching for the next goal, they would split into different subtypes. So then perhaps it's not such as to suggest that these 200 plus implements had some entertainment value. Just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection was a type of entertainment. The three families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tool, after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of Wasanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Wasanagashi cannot come soon enough. And then I'm going to assume that the after that night is, she might actually be the one that clawed her own throat out this time. And Tomitake got demoned. Because things are different than last time. Keep that in mind. Things are different. Police station. Late that night, tensions in the police station were strained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya burst in with the young guy chilling behind him. Oi, son, I've got the autopsy results. The court physician just got here. I'm ready to go, sir. I'll head straight for the burned body's location. Kuma-chan, things have gotten a bit complicated. They appear to be having a very difficult time determining who the victim is. Could they have been dismembered? Nope. Cooked to a nice light brown. He spoke in sportive tones, but the meaning behind his word was heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh. All the way? Head to toe? Completely blackened, it seems. Probably smells terrible, too. What a shame it is to be Gifu-san. Cooked with no possessions, then discarded outside the prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they'd sniffed it out tonight was huge. Komiyama-kun and a few others are performing a thorough night raid on the dentist in Okinomiya. All we can do is hope a tooth matches some medical record. Sorry, could someone go buy me 2 or so boxes of strong cigarettes? The young guy answered an affirmation and darted out into the hallway. We did an excellent job finding it this year. It could be that the people who disappeared in past years were scattered outside the prefecture like this, too. Then why not bury them, or sink them into the Sea of Japan, or Lake Biwa, or somewhere like that? Why then? Hasn't the pattern so far been one person dies and another disappears? Kuma-chan, the corpse was inside an oil drum unrestrained and cooked. They probably burned them after strangling. They knew it would be found. So what you mean is from the beginning, they didn't want a person to disappear this year? Not so much as that as they just aren't related. The person didn't disappear. In fact, whoever did it seems to want to make a show about it. You mean it could be a warning? He folded his arms and heaved a long, heavy sigh. It might have been the case that it happened in town. If they messed up, taking the victim far away and burning them alive wouldn't have been noticed. If they meant it as a warning, they should have done it closer to Hinamizawa. They want to emphasize the fact they killed the victim, but instead of doing it for dramatic effect, they did it outside the prefecture. Did they want to emphasize it or hide it? Make up your mind, killer guy. Oh boy. I wonder what Oishiro-sama's up to this year. That's the phone. Telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. Staff member nearby snatched up the receiver. Oishi-san, it's Komiyama. They have it. The dental clinic in Okinomiya fixed the wisdom tooth 3 years ago. What about the records? Complete with x-rays. Well, feel bad for waking up the dentist before dawn. Kuma-chan, get out there as soon as you get the records. Will do. Oh, it's the chief. Thanks for coming out this hour. Whoosh, my apologies for my lateness. What's the situation? Well, it's just getting good, you see. We're all getting fired up. Wow! What the fuck, Oish? We're all getting fired up. Whoa! Let's go find a body in an oil drum. This is just like Nathan Fillion's The Rookie. Alright. So, let's keep it going. This will be episode 8. I hope it's a little shorter. Episode 7 was so fucking long. Let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom said at breakfast, she gave me a pained smile. What's the matter, Cage? What time did you go to sleep last night? Well, I wanted to go to sleep at midnight, but I had some trouble with that. You're probably all worked out from the festival. No, that's not it. Good evening. I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. I haven't actually tried pickled radish. I imagine it'd actually be pretty good. After all that happened yesterday in our discussion about the sound Shion heard, that banging noise like a child far away, jumping up and down on a wooden floor, the story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night. I kept jumping at the slight sounds of faraway tree branches, which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to really notice. When I woke up to the morning sunlight and birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed, but I felt far from refreshed this morning. Keiichi-kun, good morning! Huh? Keiichi, your eyes are all red. Why is that? Oh, hey, good morning. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm sleep deprived today. Oh, I have to yawn too, actually. Oh, Jesus Christ. Festival yesterday was a lot of fun. Raina's excitement took a long time to go to sleep, so I took a long time to go to sleep too. To sleep! In Raina's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide awake. We should have this kind of festival more often, so we can have lots of fun together again. How? Yeah. Raina talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgotten from last night. Flashback time? The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories that Takano told me, too. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watsunagashi every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and one would disappear. The old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Uenegafuchi village. The villagers with demon and blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages, victims of the Onagakuchi. We were just here! To quell the rage of Oishiro, the ritual involving living sacrifices. There were also many, many others. So many stories, just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction. They were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real, though. Since it all happened so long ago. Such a very long time ago. 7 years is not a long time. Not for this kind of thing, you know? Where's Michan? She's late. Huh? Before I realized that we'd arrived at the place where we usually meet with Mion. Probably because I was so lost in thought. We agreed that if she isn't here by now, we can just go on ahead, right? Should we? Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales the night before came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion. What should we do, Keiichi-kun? If we don't get going, we'll be late. She'll be here. She didn't call to tell us she'd be staying home today, right? Let's just wait 5 more minutes, okay? Raina looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then she nodded with a satisfied smile. If we had to wait 5 minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we could to school or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us, out of breath. Okay, we're good. Michan, you're late! You waited? You should have just gone ahead. Mia was breathing heavily and her face was all red. Oh, bars! Her house was right down the road, wasn't it? It wasn't far enough away for her to end up like this, was it? Michan, are you not feeling well? Huh? Now that she mentioned it. Reina pushed Mion's bangs away, put her head to her forehead.
レナの手
Reina, your hand is pretty
冷たい
cold.
な。
Michan, you're a little bit warm.
そんな大
It's
した
no
こと
big
感日も
deal.
すれ
Give
ば
it half a
広
day
く
and
な
I'll
っ
be
ちゃう
fit as a fiddle.
本当に大丈夫かよ
Are you really
あまり
okay?
無理する
You
な
don't have to push yourself, you know? You can skip it out.
あれ
What's this?
Kei-chan.
Kei-chan, are
気
you
遣ってくれるの
worried about me?
嬉
That's
しいな
nice of you. She's trying to play it off. That answer wasn't like Mion at all. She must have it pretty bad. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you had to take a day off.
大丈夫大
I'm
丈夫
fine, I'm
風邪薬
fine.
も
I
飲んだ
took
し
some
すぐに効い
medicine.
て
I
く
think
る
it's
と思う
already
から
working. Mion forced an energetic expression on her face and flexed her biceps
じ
at
ゃ
us.
あ行こうか
Oh, okay, and let's go.
くれぐれも無理
Don't
する
overdo
な
it, but of course,
時間
there's the time. Ah! We need to run or we won't make it!
スリリングな
This morning sure is thrilling, huh? Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this slowness. Let's run! Hey, wait, you're sick! Don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously. Ooh, best viewers on streamboot.com remove the space at 57 KMBGX capital K. Digest a muddle? Kill yourself, banned. Alright. Michan is older than us, right? She knows her own body better than anyone. I decided to leave it at that and assume that she was probably fine.
俺たちも行
Great,
こう
we
ぜ
should get going too. We began to run after Mion. Back in class. Do we have a Sadako trap? School looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly and my lack of sleep took its toll. Not this time, unfortunately. If there was a sport where people competed by sleeping, I'd be world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while half asleep. You're holding your pencil upside down. That wouldn't happen, would it? Bum, 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 bum. Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times? Ow! What was that for, Sadako? I haven't done a single thing! Who else would play a prank on me like this? Oh, it was chalk, not an eraser. Huh? It was the teacher, I'd assume then. Were we having a curry lesson? Yep, behind me, like a female outlaw might hold razors, was the teacher's shadow holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand. Powerful. Rumble, rumble. Maebaraku. Go and wash your face. Right, gladly. That alone was enough to wake me up, but I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. If I was going to wash my face anyway, then I'd rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. Is this where we meet... Sunlight was strong, so strong that you wouldn't think it was June. Is this where we meet Oishi in this timeline? From the faucet with the lifeless bubbling, lukewarm water came pouring out. If I let it run for a few moments, would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while. Oh no, Mion's here! I knew you'd choose these songs, Kei-chan. The ones out front just feel better, don't they? Oh, Mion! Oh, no cutting class now. I stuck my hands in the water to find it gotten so cold it seemed strange it had ever been warm. Scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same. Mion, how's your cold doing? You're sleepy because of the medicine, not from lack of sleep, right? Actually, this is my secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in a party my relatives were having. And, well, I had a bit. A bit. She made a gesture like she was tilting a cup in her mouth. I didn't have a cold or anything. Are you hungover? How old are you? Give me a break. I really don't feel well, you know. I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Yeah, still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different ways. I was worried over nothing. Man, I guess that's just like you, Mion. Mion scratched her head, a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away with time. Oh, but my head really is pounding, so the teacher told me I should go home early. Oh, you cheater! So you're going home, Mion? And I looked again. Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home. Yep. I feel bad about it, though. I'll get some rest at home like a good girl. Sorry I can't make it to club. Would you take over as leader for today, Kei-chan? I don't know if that'll happen. We have that unspoken rule where we don't do the club unless everyone's there, don't we? We never did it when you had to go to your part-time job, did we? Mion laughed wryly, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share it is the sign of a really fantastic friendship. Aww. In that sense, the club Mion has created is a wonderful thing. So I thought about the moisture on my washed face dried up. Am I on my own stream? Yes, I am. Just want to make sure. We're good. I'm so tempted, chat, to plug my stream. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom soon, I could get in trouble. Okay, later. I'm going back. Careful on your way home, okay? Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? Left her that, turned around, and started heading back to the classroom.
Ah.
Oh, one more
そうそう
thing,
ケイち
Kei-chan.
ゃん
Mian stopped me and I turned my head to
Nanda?
listen. What's up?
変なこと聞
This
く
may
けど
sound weird, but don't think too hard about
そ
it.
れは内容
Well,
に
it
より
depends
け
on
り
what
か
it
な
is. Yeah, I can't just say that out of the blue.
昨日の綿菓
Last
子の
night near the end of
晩
the festival, did you see Tomitake
さ
or
富武さんと高
Takano
野さんに会わ
anywhere?
なかった
I suddenly tensed up.
富武さんと
You
高
know
野さんは
Tomitake
わ
and
かるよ
Takano,
ね
right?
ほらケイち
You
ゃん
remember, Kei-chan, when
お
before
祭
you
り
were
の
talking
前
through
日
the
準備
setup
の
the
時
day before?
シオン
If
と
I
一
could, I
緒
wanted to
に
forget
4
about
人
speaking
で
the
お
story and
話し
send
し
out
て
as
た
soon
で
as
しょ
possible, so sharing the names of people I was with at the time really got to me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them or not, or was she asking the question knowing that I had? I couldn't tell. Well, maybe.
あったような
I might have
合わ
seen
な
them
かったよう
around.
な
I don't know. My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There was no way for me to know.
そう
I see.
じゃあもう一つ
Then,
質
one
問
more
同
question.
じく言
On
う
the
で
same
シ
night,
オンに会わな
did
か
you
っ
see
た
Shion? My heart leapt in my throat again. The tiny needles buried underneath Mion's words pricked into me.
それ
That didn't you ask me that yesterday?
俺
I think I told you that I wasn't sure if I had or not.
って答え
Did you?
そうだっけまた改めて聞いた
I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes, something indescribable. Second shade of blue, I believe, if you really wanted to put some words to the image. Tomotage and Takano, Shion too. She was asking me about them. There was no doubt about it. Last night the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Takano said yesterday during the festival there was no curse, and that rather than a curse, it was the doing of the villagers. My blood curdled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse. It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine she'd seen that momentary light and come to find out what was going on.
本当に会って
Did you
ないんだ
really
よ
not see her?
どうして
Why are you so
あったか
intent
ど
on
うか
knowing if I did or
を
not?
そんなに気に
大したことじゃ
It's
ない
not
の
important.
富武さん
It's
と
just that
高
there are
野さ
some
んと悪く言
people
ってる人た
who
ちが
are
いる
speaking
の
poorly of Tomitake, Takano, Shion, and you.
何
Kei-chan.
が悪いんだかは
I
よ
didn't
く
really
聞
hear
い
what
て
they
ない
were
んだけど
saying,
ね
though. Unpleasant sweat dripped down my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud.
私
I don't believe that you were
ケイ
doing
ちゃんが
something
悪
bad.
でも
I just wanted
ち
to
ょっ
ask
と
a
だ
bit
け
about
聞い
it.
てみたかっ
So I
た
did.
不愉快な思いを
Sorry
さ
for
せ
making you
てご
uncomfortable.
めんね
Okay? I found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't explain myself.
ケイちゃんは
Kei-chan,
富
you
武
weren't
さんと
with
も高野さんとも
Tomitake-san,
そして
Takano-san,
シオンと
or
も一緒じゃなか
Shion,
ったそうだよね
right? Yeah.
あ
I finally wrung out an answer between ragged breaths. Mion's expression softened a little.
よかった
That's
私言っ
good.
とく
I'll
ね
have to tell
ケ
him.
イちゃんは
You
何
weren't
も悪い
involved
こ
in
とが
anything bad,
みん
Kei-chan.
なにちゃんと言っ
So,
ておくから
I'll
ね
make sure to tell everyone. Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure. Everyone. Who is everyone?
じゃあね
Okay,
明
later.
日は元気
I'll
に
be
なっ
better
てバイ
tomorrow.
バイ
Bye bye. Wait, Mion. What do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck. Teacher. Hey, you're late, my raccoon. How long does it take you to wash your
時間
face?
がかかりすぎ
It
で
was
す
the teacher. I was taking so long she came out to get
あ
me.
すみません
I'm
つい
sorry, I
ミ
was
オ
just
とお
speaking
し
to
ゃべり
Mion.
を
I turned around with Mion crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it was now standing at the gate. Come, back to your studies. Quickly now. Teacher was being insistent. We returned to the entrance. Look back one more time. Mion was nowhere in sight. Get our first creepy scene of the episode. Here at episode 8. Keiichi, you haven't seen well all day. It's clearly because he had far too much fun
迷
yesterday.
子になって
I don't want to be told that by the one who got lost. Your face was all red and you were nearly crying. Poor Sadako, man. Oh, Sadako was so cute. My friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? These thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day. Bye, Keiichi-kun. I'll see you tomorrow. By the time I realized I was in front of my own house. Mi-chan had a cold, right? Could you have a cold too, Keiichi? Could you?
え
Huh? I'm
どう
fine.
見えても
I may look scrawny, but I've
風邪
never
休
missed
んだことはない
school
んだ
because
ぜ
I'm cold.
でも
Both you and Mi-chan
みーちゃん
didn't
も
look so good
ケイチ君も
today, though.
気にしてくれてありが
Thanks
と
for
う
worrying about
大
me.
丈夫
I'm fine.
まずは
Idiots
風邪
don't
ひかないんだ
catch
ぜ
colds, remember? That's probably my favorite phrase. Rena smiled and waved to me and left. Whew! My shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me.
何
What? Keiichi, I'm sorry, but could you go to the library and return a few books for... What? Huh? I don't feel like it. Your dad and I have to wait inside the house for a phone call right now, so we can't leave. I need to return them today. Could you please do it? Shish. Did it have to do with Dad's job? No point arguing if they bring that up. I guess so, but I don't know where the library is. Oh, you don't? It's a little bit past Okonomiya Station. Just then the phone rang. My parents' faces immediately turned grim. Mom snatched up the receiver. Hello, Maibara speaking. I'm sorry? Yes, she's right here. Oh, she throws the receiver in my face. It's for you, Keiichi. Don't take too long, okay? Try ask who it's from, but asking the person on the phone directly would be faster. Hello? It's Shion! It's Sonozaki, the younger one. Hello! Do you have time to talk right now? It was Shion. The older sister had a hangover today, but the younger made no reference to it. Shion, I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion. What? Mion had a hangover? Yeah, that's like her. She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me, silently telling me to finish it up. Oops, sorry, my parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for long. What do you need? There's something I want to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that. She sounded a little disappointed. What would she want to talk to me about? No, I was interested. Then how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is, too, that'd be great. You mean the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fun. I got past there on my way to work, anyway. Okay, then you know where I usually meet up with Mion? At that intersection where the small path from the Sonozaki house splits. Oh, okay, Chan. Did I not tell you? I don't live at the main house. I live in Okonomiya. If we can meet by the ticket machines at Okonomiya Station, that'd be great. Main house? Living in Okonomiya? Now she mentioned it. It's always seemed like the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Yeah, we knew this from somewhere. I don't know where we figured this out. Also, now she mentioned it, Reina said she never met the younger sister despite going over to play sometimes. Let's meet at the station then. I'll go there right away. Bye. I set the receiver down and Mom immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long 4 mysteries. Mom had her own hobbies. Thank you, Keiichi. Be back by nightfall. Got it. Okay, I'm going. Suppose I changed my clothes and grabbed my bike key. Climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Alright, and we're here. Shion waited me for already, so meeting up was a smooth process. Wow, Mion never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble. Shion seemed a little unsteady, too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she? You didn't get any sleep last night either, did you? Don't try and hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day in the first place. I'm smarter than Mion, after all. Hey, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. You should finish your errand first. We don't have all that much time. We're going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's really close by, actually. Does this one have its own fucking scene? As she said that, we spotted the signboard almost immediately. If it was this easy to find, I guess I didn't need Shion to show me where it was. Rode around a bend, the building was right there. Shishibone Public Library. We lived in the country, so hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. First floor was actually a government office. The library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fill a decent collection of books. That's pretty cool, actually. This is cute! Look at this little guy! Look at this motherfucker! We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. Cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mildewy smell unique to old paper. I guess every library is basically the same, yeah. There was one difference, it was the people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now it seemed like a distant memory. Hey, I have books I'd like to return. The librarian went through the process to check them in, return my mom's library card. She was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type who went to libraries very often. Sorry for the wait. I'm all done. Libraries sure are nice and cool, aren't they? I want to work in a library one day. That's a massive fucking death flag, Shion. Don't know whether to call that boring or dependable. It's a pretty small dream compared to your sister. Mio would definitely want to be a hardworking employee for an international trading company, or some other crazy job that involves her running around all over the world. Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming. Well, we need to keep our differences dear to us. We're not copies, we're two different people called Shion and Mio. Twins have a lot to think about, huh? Still, sounds like fun. I don't have any brothers, so there's just me and my parents in my house. It can get a bit uncomfortable. It's the same for me. I don't live with Mion after all. Oh, right, she said something like that, didn't she? Why, though? Sisters living apart is kind of unusual. We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going around the lounge area, which was vacant, continuing the conversation. Yeah, Mia lives at the main house and I live in Okonomiya. What do you mean by main house? You make it sound like you're nobility. It's just the main house. The Sonozaki family's main house. Mion's the successor. She lives with Nana and apparently studies all sorts of things in preparation to be head of the family. Mion, the head of the family? Kind of fit her personality, but kind of didn't, too.
ケイちゃんは引っ越し
Kei-chan,
て
you
きた
just
ば
moved here,
自分で
right?
言うのも
This
な
will
ん
sound
です
like
け
I'm
ど
boasting, but we the Sonozaki family are kind of
ここ
personages around here.
本当かよ。
Seriously? The word personage didn't really match the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes back to the beginnings of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a
園
wide area.
崎家はですね
Sonozaki House is the foundation under which the
親族
entire
全
family
体今の
cooperates.
当主
Though
の
the
ばっ
current
ちゃが
family had
築き上げ
grandma was
た
the
ん
one
で
who
すけど
built it.
ね
The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They were like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives' ventures succeed one after another using large amounts of money.
沖宮の
If
街
you're
を
ever going
歩く
through a
こと
walk
に
through
なった
Okamiya,
ら
pay attention to the
だんだ
sideboards
ん
and
園
stuff.
崎の親
There's a
族
ton
が
of
経営
shops
し
that
て
are
いるお
managed by
店っ
members of
て
the Sonozakis.
言われてみれ
Now
ば
that you mention
例
it,
のおもちゃ
that
屋も
toy store looks like it was managed by
親類
relatives as
それ
well.
は
Does that mean your
エン
relatives
ゼルモー
operate
トも
Angel
親類
Morts
の人
too?
が経営してるんじゃない
Even
の
a few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family. It was definitely surprising.
特に
The
金
family
融
is
不動産
particularly
関
strong
係
in
は
finance
あ
and real
と
estate.
商
Even a
工
lot of
会議
members
所
of the
の
Chamber
役
of
員も
Commerce and Industry
何
either have
割
the
か
last name
は園崎
Sonozaki
生
or are
か
their relatives.
沖宮一帯を
There
評
are
伝に
Sonozakis in the city's
市議
student
会議員
council
と
and the
県議会
prefectural
議員に
assembly
も
too,
園崎がい
since
ま
they have the
すし
Okamiya area giving them strong electoral
ちょっ
support.
と待て
Wait a
なん
minute.
だか
This is all
すごい話
escalating
になっ
pretty
てきたぞ
quickly. Her relatives operate shops in downtown Okamiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of those in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and they're people elected to local
ひょ
office.
っとして
So
そ
then,
の
the
崎家って
Sonozaki family is
こ
pretty
の辺り
famous in
一帯
the
じゃ
area?
ね
Yeah, shut.
すごいんで
It's
す
crazy.
うんうんうん
Oishi jump scare, the best character. All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking, overweight old man interrupts our conversation. Wait, I know this guy.
どう
Hello,
こんにち
good
は
afternoon. Are you on a
です
date today?
羨ましいですね
What I would give to be young again.
そうだと思っ
If you
たら
thought we
邪
were on
魔
a
しない
date,
でほ
then
しか
why
っ
are
た
you
です
bothering
大石
us?
さん
Oishi-san. That was it. He was Oishi-san, a police officer. I thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much.
いいです
No, no, I
知ってる
apologize.
声が
I
聞
heard a
こ
familiar
えて
voice,
き
so
た
I came
の
over
で
to see.
つい
You're getting mixed up in your head, Keiichi. That was Shion who said that. Had some water. It was Shion who didn't like him very much. Oishi laughed coarsely, not showing any signs of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion.
前原
Maibara-san, right?
あなたも
You're one
タ
tough
フ
guy.
園崎姉妹
Two-time in the Sonozaki sisters, are
いや
you?
そんな
No, I'm not
黙って
two-timing
たなんて
anyone. I turned around to look at Shion and plead for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock. I'm sorry, Kei-chan. I really need to get to my job. Huh? Oh,
そう
did
な
you...
のか
Oh, whoops. Did you... Wait, didn't Shion have something to talk about today? Now this weird man is here, though. Yep, I'll see you later.
あ
Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right? Yeah, probably. Then I'll talk to you later tonight, alright? Bye. They have much better chemistry. Shion left so fast she was practically running. I wish she was waving at me with a grin. I felt like I'd been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work.
園崎のご
You're
令
quite
嬢
the
と
big
これだ
shot
け
being so
親
close
し
to
く
the
できる
Sonozaki daughters.
私も
Maybe I should
口の
rethink how I
利き
talk to you
方を改
too.
めた方がいいかもしれません
Yeah, he kind of laughs like I do. He gets a bit guttural. Oh, she put a coin in the vending machine as he said something a bit appalling. Is iced tea okay with you? Do you want milk in it? Huh? No. I'll put some in then, alright?
はいどうぞ
Here you are. He handed me a cup of tea filled to the brim with ice, so I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Do people put milk in their iced tea? Is that a thing people do? And that's the first water finished, chat. We're a little bit behind schedule, actually. Water drinking. So I'll thank him. Was Ushi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in conversation about all sorts of dumb things. Thought back to how I talked with Shion, this seemed like a total disaster.
前原
Maibara-san,
さんは
how much do you know about Sonozaki?
さっき聞いた
Other
以上
than
の
what I
こ
heard
とは
just
何
now?
も
Nothing. Until then, I hadn't known anything about either Mion or Shion other than the fact they were interesting. Really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family.
園崎家
The
はこの地
Sonozakis
域
are a
一帯の
Yakuza group with this entire region
ヤク
under
ザ
their
屋さ
thumb.
んですちなみに彼女のお父
Plus,
さん
her
は
father is a high-ranked
関東で
executive
も
in
有
the
名な
insert name here
ヤ
Yakuza
クザの大ご存知
Association.
でした
Did you know that? What?
大幹部っ
An
て
executive?
シオンさんの
Have
ご
you
自
ever
宅
seen
を
where
ご存知
Shion-san
高
lives?
い兵
It's the very
有
picture of a
刺
gang
線
boss's
と
house
監視
protected
カ
by
メ
high
ラで守
walls,
られ
barbed wire
た
fence, and
今
security
度
cameras.
ぜひ
If you have the chance, you
遊
should
びに
go and visit. She mentioned Mion being a successor, but to a Yakuza group?
ええ
No, not at all. A boring old Yakuza group isn't the only thing me and Sonozaki will inherit. She's inheriting the Sonozaki family itself. I'll leave it to you to mull over exactly what that means. Oishi had spoken lightly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable. That's his charm, dude. He's just the goat. If Mion-san wanted to, she could kill someone in the middle of the street and still cover it up. Not only would witnesses not show up, but she'd put pressure on the police, too. Mio would never kill someone. No, she wouldn't. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Your name, it was Oishi-san, right? Yeah, that's right. Then Oishi-san. Whatever family Mion comes from, it doesn't change the fact that she's the best friend I could ever have, and I'm proud of that. Aww, isn't that so wonderful? I don't appreciate people speaking over. I let my quiet anger show through my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I can never seem to tell what he's thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect. Then let me be frank. If Mion-san was suspected of a handful of incidents, what would you think? Suspected? Incidents? You can't just say terrible stuff like that in a win. Then it would be a misunderstanding, of course. Mion may say some dangerous things, but she's not the kind of person who would do something so awful. Maebara-san, keep your voice down. We're in the library. Oishi-san shushed me, but in a state of heightened excitement as I was, I wouldn't be calm so easily. Please, calm down. As I said before, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of power in this region, for better or worse. So if anything happens, they would immediately be suspect. I'd appreciate if you understood that. Well, I know what Oishi-san was trying to say. Combining with what Shion told me before, the Sonozaki's family is huge and controls everything from Hinamizawa to Okinamiya. Mion, meanwhile, is its successor, apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. That's crazy work. Still, that's all? That's the only reason they're suspecting her? I'm just doing my job here. Not to doubt Mion-san of anything, but to clear up suspicions surrounding her. Please think of it like that. He could talk a dog out of a meat truck. He's the definition of a shrewd, unfair adult. We're playing P5 here. At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence that I met him. Oishi, do you need something from me? Yes, I do. Keiichi Maebara-san. He answered in an absent tone of voice. Mion's being suspected of something and he came here from a friend of hers. Me. Is that it? No, that isn't it. I didn't come to talk to a friend of Mion Sonozaki. I came here to talk to me, Keiichi Maebara. It would probably have bothered you had I visited your house. To me? What does the police want with me? Having realized this fake coincidental meeting had me as his target, my mood turned foul. You don't need to be so tense. Calm down, just answer a few questions. Am I being questioned? Let's call it a chat with the guy you happen to run into. Oishi freely suggested that I relax. That said, behind his eyes was a light, which I can only see sometimes, so it was sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me to an interrogation room or something. That was an undoubtedly unpleasant thought. I agree. We had a roaring good time at the Wasanagashi Festival last night, didn't you? Don't beat around the bush, please. I can't do small talk right now. Last night during the festival. Did you see Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano-san? Gulp. I could plainly feel myself give a start. Where did I put those pictures? Oh, here they are. He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look. Well, who knows? I might have seen them around. I don't remember. I was asked the same question for the second time today. I gave the same answer for the second time, too. Your memories are blurry. You couldn't have possibly been drinking or anything. Year 2, I got the same answer I had from Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me the same thing Mion did? The dark feelings I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into the sacred ritual storehouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it. I'll ask you again. Did you see Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano at the festival last night? His tone was soft, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared. That was exactly how I felt. Even if you repeat the question, my answer won't change. I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see him, nor the courage to admit I had. I see. I just thought that maybe I'd get a different answer if I asked the second time. I'm too scared to look Oishi in the eyes. I'll change the question. Come, Maebara-san. Oishi jump scare? Relax. Relax, he says in English. Oishi grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them as if trying to give me a massage. Mostly just hurt. So why would he ask the same thing as Mion? If he's asking the same thing, the next question must be... On the same night of the festival, did you see Shion Sonozaki? Clatter, clatter, clatter. I wonder what that sound was, so I looked down and saw it was the unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hands. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put the remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it. I'm an ice cruncher, chat. I was gonna ask if y'all are ice crunchers too, but I have like one viewer. Please speak to me. I'm begging you, let's have a conversation. Sorry, I may have seen her, but well, you know, she looks just like Mion. I might have just mistaken the two. But that can't be. They were wearing different clothes. Suddenly, Oishi grabbed both of my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in headlights. I want to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare. Mion-san and Shion-san wear completely different clothing. You wouldn't mistake the two so easily. Maebara-san. His voice was harsh. Harsh, the same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulders, I got even more scared. Why are Mion and Oishi both asking about last night? Was seeing it in the storehouse so bad? I should have let Takano talk me into it. God damn, Tomotage casually said check it out too, so. Even Shion, she hadn't encouraged me. No, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone to the forbidden storehouse. Admit it. Oishi-san, I think that's our cue to get out of here. A young man wearing a suit came into the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately he was Oishi-san's subordinate. Oh, so it is. Closing time already. I didn't realize until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling patrons the library had closed to start playing without me realizing. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed that I couldn't even hear it. Well then, my brother, we're out of time, so allow me to take my leave. I'd like to talk with you more about this. I didn't realize we have more time. This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would be too soon. Oishi followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind. However, he spun back around. Oh, right, Maebara-san. What? What is it? Those two questions I asked you before. You don't remember well enough to answer either of them, correct? Right. Just so you know, you saw them all yesterday. You were walking along, the four of you, having quite a pleasant time, near the stone steps. I saw you with my own eyes. I caught my breath, my heart seemed like it was about to stop. What a detestable person. He knew and he was testing me. We'll meet again. Have a good year. I love that motherfucker, dude. I sat there like a rock, unmoving until I could no longer hear the cracking sounds of the footsteps. Is that our chapter break? I love this guy so fucking much. This should not be the chapter break, considering we've only been here for like half an hour. Yep, I was on my way back home. The cries of the Higurashi accentuated the already lonely evening. Roll credits. More time passed than I thought. The orange of the dusky sky was being chased down little by little by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, without even noticing, I'd gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill. I don't understand any of this. No one told me to my face that I'd done something wrong. No, in fact, it might have been much easier on me that way. What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity. It really was no more than a quiet prank, no more than having the courage to cross at a red light as long as you did with other people. The storehouse for ritual implements, hollowed ground, only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things I'd never imagined would be there. Thinking about it now, though, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I committed any more right. What the four of us did, Mion seems to know about it. For some reason, even the police are trying to learn what the four of us did. Did we do something so bad? Really? It doesn't matter how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Miya or Oishi-san. All I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again, either. I'm sorry. We're back, chat! If I apologize like that, would they forgive me? Then suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiment. However, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home, go to my room, put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. It might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I've felt all day. Now that I made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike, pushed hard on the pedals. Rapidly advanced forward, steadily gained speed. Wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it were softly punishing me. Remorse is such a strong theme in this story, huh? I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mom called me from downstairs. Keiichi, you have a call. It's from Sonozaki-san. Sonozaki, was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She had something she wanted to tell me today. Oishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight.
もしもし、
Moshi
シオン
Moshi,
か
is that you, Shion?
どうも今日は災難で
Ran
し
into
た
a
ね
bit of trouble today, didn't we? You said it so plainly they got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and ran.
そんなこと言った
Don't say
私
that. I gave you the signal to run away with me, didn't I?
Kei-chan.
You just sat there looking dazed, Kei-chan.
Boss,
I wasn't
Shion
dazed.
が
All of a sudden you
あっ
left
とい
me
う
there,
間に
and
した
after
んだ
that I had to put up with that
あな
Oishi
た
guy
も
for
そんな
ages.
の
Don't
私
complain to
に
me
ぶちら
about
れ
it.
ても困ります
I can't believe she passed it off like that. She looks just like me, and yet inside she's this different. I got a little irritated myself when I realized that I was somewhere in my mind hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person.
ああ、悪かったよ。
Sorry.
次からは
Next
シオ
time
ン
I'll
を
run
置い
away
てく
first
ぐらい
thing
の
and
つも
leave
り
you
で
there.
きれば
Hey,
レ
it's
ディー
ladies
ファー
first.
ストでお願いします
Shion laughed refreshingly. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't really that angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be...
それより、
Anyway,
俺
you got
に
something you want
何
to
か
tell me,
話
right?
が
Oh,
も
yeah.
しも
I mean, if you
もう
already
知って
know,
るな
then it's
ら
not something that bears
あ
repeating.
の
Do you already
知って
know?
ますか
Shion lowered her voice suddenly as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know.
悪いけど、
Sorry, but I have no
何
clue
の
what you're
ヒン
talking
トくらい
about.
出
At
せ
least give me a
って
hint.
ことは
So that means you
知
don't
らない
know.
みたいで
She
す
seemed
ね
to take my stupid sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest. Actually, it's about
昨
last
日
night
の
during the
渡長市
Wasanagashi
のお祭り
festival.
の晩なんです
My
けど
entire body jolted as I was assailed by a pretty terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask the same
もし
thing?
もしケイち
Hello?
ゃん
Kei-chan, you're listening?
聞いてる
Yeah, I am.
昨日の晩
What
どう
about
し
last night?
私たち
The
4
four of us went in there, right?
入ったじゃない
She
で
didn't beat
す
around
か
the bush. Whether or not I want to admit it, that was the actual honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't
それで
happened.
その後
After that, we walked away
みん
together
な
and
で
then went
歩
our
いて
separate ways near the stone stairs,
石
right?
高野さんたち
Takano
は
and
沢
Tomitake
に行
went
っ
to the
て
stream, and you stayed there.
私は親
I
類
went
の
over to
人
see
たち
some
のところに
relatives.
あ
Yeah.
それがどうした
Why do you
お
ask?
互い
We won't make any
質問
progress
の
if we keep
返
asking
し合い
each
に
other
なって
questions.
お
Let
と
me
ら
ask
け
this
が開か
question
ないいいです
first.
か
Okay.
ゆうべ
You mean, did I see
Tomitake-san to
Tomitake and
Takano-san に
Takano
会え
last night? Huh?
あ
Oh,
の後
yes. Did you see
あ
the
の
two
二
of them
人
after
には
that?
会いましたか
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've asked this question today. Why? Why? Hell's going on?
どうし
Why? Why are you
どうして
asking me that?
ほらほら
No,
質問
Kei-chan,
は
I'm
私
asking
か
you
ら
the
に答
question.
えてください
Please answer
シ
me.
オンは
Did you,
シオンが
Shion?
先に
If
答
you
えた
answer
ら
first,
俺
then
も
I'll
答え
answer.
る
My shy response betrayed how scared and small I felt now. After everything that happened today, Shion didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally
も
answered.
ちろん
Of course, I
あ一
didn't
緒
see
に
them.
いた親
My
類が
relatives
証
were with
明
me and
で
they
き
can
ます
vouch for
俺
that.
だって会ってな
I
い
didn't see them
証
either.
明って言う
You
なら
can vouch for me too.
ミオン
Like
と
Mion,
か
Reina,
レ
and
ナと
everyone
か
else.
みん
Now
な
that
が
we
知っ
know
て
our
くれ
answers
る
match, she let us sigh that sounded more relieved than anything
正
else.
直に答えてくれて
Thank you for answering me honestly.
じゃあ
Okay then,
言い
I'll
ますね
tell you.
ゆうべ
Apparently last night,
高野
Takano
さん
and
と富武
Tomitake
さんが
died.
死んだんだそうです
ごめんシオ
Sorry,
ン今
Shion. What was
Nante-
that you
ゆう
just
べ
said? Apparently last night,
高野さんと
Takano and
富武さんが
Tomitake
死んだんだそうで
died.
す高野さんは
Takano was
焼死体
found burned to death. It was Takano this time. Tomitake was, well, it looked like a
で今
suicide.
朝知ったんです
I found out this morning.
お父さんが
I heard my dad
親
talking to
類
a
の
relative
人
on
か
the
らの
phone
電
about
話
it.
で話してるのを聞いて
Late last night, a police car on its way back from festival security had discovered Tomitake lying in the ground in the middle of the road. He clawed out his own throat and died. Okay, so this is exactly the same. Exactly the same. What? He
なんだよ
clawed out his own throat.
あの
That bright,
あそんな
cheerful
富武さん
Tomitake
が
committed suicide?
何かの間違
That
い
can't
だろ
possibly
警
be
察
right.
がちゃんと
The
検
police
視
did
自
an
分の
autopsy. He
爪
did
で
with his own
ガリ
fingernails.
ガリと
He
喉を
scratched
か
his
き抜
throat so
いて
hard that he ruptured his blood
血管を
vessels
破
and
って
bled
自分
out.
の手で溺れ
He
てた
died
ん
in
だ
a
っ
pool of his
て
own blood. That's what they said.
そんなバ
I've
カな
never heard of
事
such an
聞いた
insane
ことない
suicide.
自分の
You
喉を
can't
か
just
き
scratch
破
open your
る
own
なん
throat
て
like that. I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting in my voice. I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched to the cordless phone and ran up to my room.
大声出してごめん
Sorry for yelling.
で
So,
高野さんも
was Takano-san,
自殺
was
なの
that
か
a suicide
高
too?
野さんは
In her case, it's a little
自
unclear.
殺かどうか
She was stuffed in an oil barrel and burned to death. That's not really a suicide. Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu. Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police late that night they could see flames up in the mountains. The firefighters dispatched there were the first to find her. An autopsy concluded there was the burnt corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after there was a request for a dental comparison from the station Okinomiya, and the results concluded it was Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments and her clothes were nowhere in the area.
灯油管が
The
転
oil
がって
drum
た
had
そう
fallen
なん
over,
で
so it's also possible she burned
Sure,
herself to
she
death.
自
It
殺
could
なわ
possibly
け
have been
同じ死
suicide.
ぬ
If
な
you're
ら
going to die, there are
もっ
plenty
と
of
楽
easier
な
ways,
こ
aren't
んな
there?
の
This
絶対に
can't be
私だ
suicide.
ってそう思
That's what I think. It's unthinkable that Tomitaka would kill himself too. After the two of us rattled on each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths. It's nice to have an ally for this now. It's kind of nice. As we calmed our nerves, right then I understood what Shion's story actually meant. I think it will end up being Oishiro-sama's curse. We all did more than enough to deserve it, after all.
資格って
You've got to be kidding me!
別に俺は
It's not like Shio wanted to see you with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing would come of me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yeah, it was my fault. No one else's.
シオンお前は
Shion,
ゆうべ
last night when we snuck into the ritual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way? Of course not. I mean, I thought it was pretty risky, but I never even dreamed something like this could happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get in trouble if she were caught, but that was the thrill of this little adventure. It was the same for me. Besides that, Kei-chan, think about it for a moment. Didn't Oishiro-sama's curse turn out a little strange this year? It was already pretty strange seeing as Tomitake and Takano died like that. Given all that, what could possibly be stranger? I mean, they found 2 corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, one person would die and one person would disappear. Yeah, that's how it went last loop. We never actually found Takano. But did she die the same way last time? This year is the first time 2 people have been found dead.
確かにそうか
That
も
may
し
be
れな
true,
いけ
but
ど
that's not a huge deal, is it? It is, Kei-chan. Think about it harder. Listen, if 2 people died because of Oishiro-sama's curse, then in order to quell Oishiro-sama's anger, 2 people would need to be sacrificed.
そういう理屈になる
Is that how it works?
じゃあなんだ
So what?
富田さんと
Tomitake and
田中さんが
Takano died, so now 2 people are gonna
今
go
年は
missing
2
this year?
人が行方不明になって
I
る
don't
っての
understand why, but when I said that, I felt my spine. Yeah, you're a little dense, dude. I don't think anyone's been confirmed missing yet. I think that those 2 people have yet to disappear. She, unlike me, was obviously getting the same feeling crawling down her back. 2 people have yet to disappear?
失踪
Shion
す
didn't
る
answer. I couldn't say any more than that either. A chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap into a fist around my heart, cold hands feeling about my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitake opened the lock and he died. Takano exposed the ritual storehouse and she died. If 2 more people are going to be sacrificed, then they would be none other than the ones who entered with them. None other than us.
まさか
No.
冗談
This has got to be a joke. I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke even now. That, though, was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitake and Takano had died in a common way, like a car accident, I could tell myself it was a coincidence, you know? Instead, he clawed out his own throat and she burned to death, drowned in oil in the mountains. 2 deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us, some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near for Shion and I. That's why I argued against it. I argued knowing that I was running away. In the first place, it's not even in the newspaper, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the newspapers and television. Magazine writers would flood the village too, thinking to make for an interesting story. Of course it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past, too. When the incidents occurred for the 3rd year in a row, there were some third-rate magazines that snipped out the story and ran issues full of gossip. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy, where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media. Here, the elders and top brass put all the pressure they could on the police.
じゃあつま
And
り
you mean their deaths are going to
2
be...
人の死は秘密裏に処理さ
Sumari!
れてしまっ
Their
た
deaths
と
are going
い
to be
う
dealt
こと
with
だ
in total secrecy. That's how it is. Of course, the police are investigating it. That being performed in secret, though, so here the investigation itself is pretty restricted what it can do. You can essentially say they're interfering with the police investigation. The story is unbelievable. People died and they don't publicize and deal with everything in secret. If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies in the night of Nagashi, it won't go public.
そんな
That's the
バ
biggest
カな
pile of
話
bullshit
が
I've ever heard. Kei-chan, before I said how the villagers could be the ones carrying out Oishiro-sama's curse. That's what I mean. At some point, a tradition was created here in Himself, where every year you're allowed to kill someone on the night of the lost Nagashi under the guise of Oishiro-sama's curse. When someone dies in the lost Nagashi, it turns into the curse. The curse turns into the serial murder incidents. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma, these incidents are dealt with in
バ
secret.
カな
That's
毎
insane!
年死者と
Dead
行
missing
方不
people
明者
turn up every
いく
year.
らマイナス
However
イメー
bad the
ジって
stigma
言ったっ
gets, the
て
police have to draw the line
警察にも
somewhere,
ペ
don't
ン
they?
毎年の事件
You
が
can say
不可
incidents
解って
happening
い
every
う
year
こ
is
と
mysterious, but the police
警
can get
察
the
は
job
今
done
後火を
whenever
入れ
they
られ
need
て
to.
何しろ
After all, the
毎
incidents
年
always
の
get
事件
resolved
は連
individually.
続事件
It
という
doesn't end
形
up
に
being
な
a
らない
string of incidents, you know?
たまたま
It
毎
just so happens that something
渡辺
unfortunate
商売
happens
に
to
不
the night
幸
of
な
the
ことが
Lost
起こ
Nagashi
る
every year.
それだけのこと
That's all it turns into. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. I also managed to get away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was resolved. The damn sporting couple who died in an accident in the 2nd year, that was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of having been a homicide, but nothing turned up. Ended up an accident. It was resolved. 3rd year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present in the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy and concluded that wasn't a homicide. That was resolved. On the 4th year, the sister-in-law of the damn sporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought Yoshiro-sama's curse was so interesting he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while in prison, so this incident was eventually resolved as well. That's right. None of the incidents had relation to another, and each was independently resolved.
なのになぜ
So then
か
why does an
毎
unfortunate
年
coincidence
渡
occur
辺
every
の
year
場
in the
に
Nights
不
of
幸
Blood
な
to
連
Nagashi?
続事件に
You can try and say it's a string of related
連
incidents,
続
but
に
they're
ならない
not related.
それでも毎
Yet
年
every year, someone always
必ず
dies and
誰か
someone
が
always
死んで
disappears.
誰
Started
かが
talking
消え
about
て
told
い
me
く
the day before the setup. Now the curse had occurred, I couldn't laugh it off
じゃあ
anymore. Does that mean it'll come
俺
for us
毎
too?
年
Just like how one person dies and one
一人死ぬと
disappears
一
every
人が
year?
消え
Are
る
you
よ
saying
う
we'll be taken along with Tomoaki and Takano
富
and
武さんや
erased?
高野さん
My
の
lips
道
had
連
become
れに
completely dry, and just saying
消え
that
さ
was
せられるっていう
difficult.
のかよ
Shion didn't respond. Good water. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she should give
俺
me.
たち
I
それ
mean,
は
sure, we
確か
went
に
somewhere we
見
shouldn't
ただ
have,
け
but
だ
we were
ぜ
just looking,
何
right?
かを盗ん
We
だり
didn't steal
持
anything
ち
or
出し
take
たり
anything out. We didn't tell
見
anyone
た
we
ことを
looked.
誰かに喋った
I
わ
was
けじゃ
already
ないんだ
regretting
ぜ
having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomotaki and Takano deserved such a cruel
第
death?
一
Besides, I didn't care about anything I saw in there at all. Takano was the only one
一人
getting
で
so
大
happy
喜
over
び
it. I mean,
悪
wasn't
い
she?
のは高野さん
Takano was the
だけ
only
だ
one at
よ
fault. Don't you pin the blame like that, Arsh. Let's just being mean. Pull my stuff out here. Boop, boop, ba-da-boop, boop.
俺は全然
I don't
関係
have
ない
anything
ぜ
to do with this.
興味もないし
I'm not
関
interested.
係ない
I'm
し
not involved. I don't
あ
give
の
a
中
shit
にあった
about
も
what
の
was
だ
in
っ
there.
て知ったことじゃない
I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted by my pointless howling. However, my emotions have broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop.
俺はもともと
I didn't have any interest in any of this from the start, damn. All I wanted to do was watch Rika-chan's performance. You were the one who pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion? I don't give a rat's ass whether those two were trying to steal something or trying to meet up secretly or whatever. That's right, you're the one who made me go in there in the first place. You were okay, and you convinced me and pulled me in. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you going to do, damn it? How are you going to take responsibility for this? Huh? Huh? Are you listening? Oh, my God. Click. Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of the receiver being slammed down. Shion was just as terrified as I was. I said some really self-centered shit. My relative emotions disappeared as if they never existed. In their place surged waves of regret having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I tried to call out her name from beyond the phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing trying to descend upon us. As for me, I can only whine like a child. I went to call her back, but then I remembered she lived in Okonomiya. I didn't know her phone number. Since I had declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. I was stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand and simply prayed that Shion would call me back. Please, Shion, calm down and call me. Ring, 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 ring.
もしもし
Hello, this is
前原
Nabata.
です
I wiped up the receiver as though it wouldn't go through, as if it didn't grab that.
あの
Is this the
前原
Nabata
さん夜
residence?
分遅く
Excuse me
に
for the late call.
失礼
This
し
is,
ますと申しますご
Kimiyoshi.
主
Is this
人
the
様
head
で
of
い
the
らっしゃい
household?
ますか
It was the voice of a girl who wasn't Shion. All my hopes were shattered.
いえ
No, this
親父のよう
isn't.
な
If you
ら
need dad,
今
I'll
行
go
きます
call him. I went to put the receiver back down. The caller stopped me hurriedly.
いえい
Oh
え
no, if
もう
he's
忙し
busy,
けれ
then
ば
it's
結構
fine.
なんです
This voice is super familiar.
実は
This may be a strange question, but is my old man paying you a
Yeah.
visit? No, nobody's here at the moment.
夜
I
分遅
see.
くに
Again, I
申
apologize
し
for calling
訳あ
you
り
so late at
失
night.
礼いたしま
Goodbye.
す
I don't know who that was, but what if Shion tried to call while I was on the phone? I thought, bubbling with egotistical anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Gage. These are the selfless emotions that made Shion mad at me. The more I thought about it, though, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we've had our conversation and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself. If Shion does call again, then first apologize. If you do that, then Shion should understand. However, no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring that night. What are we doing outside? That is probably a scene break. Or a chapter break, I mean. Good series. Alright. This time we're going to do the tips first. I'm not that desperate to piss. More scrapbook notes. And a late night phone call. Form an alliance. That was not forming an alliance, bro. Let's be on God here. So, it's from the scrapbook 6. Let's see. The significance of Wasanagashi. Wasanagashi, a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it's come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As in most oral traditions, it's not easy to swallow, but does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this, even the residents of the village felt fear towards the ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit. It was said the feast was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I thought the residents were fascinated by the ritual. They looked down on those vulgar barbaric humans, cut them open like fish, and by eating them, they reaffirmed their own holiness. Or, that's what I thought. But if what the villagers gained from the ritual was not fascination but fear, that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's a possibility that executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their convenience. Onigafuchi has been effectively ruled over by 3 old families called the Three Families. Without investigating the 3 families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onigafuchi. Okay, so we have to learn more about the 3 families. We know that one of them is the Sonozakis. We know that one of them is the Furudes, which is Rika's family. But we don't know much about the 3rd family. Scrapbook 7. The 3 thank you! 3 families refers to 3 old families who came to Onigafuchi. To break it down, there's the Kimiyoshis, who we talked to last night! The Furudes and the Sonozakis, and each of them exist today. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the past, they hold considerable influence today. They're considered by legend to be those whom the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. The Kimiyoshis. They have great power as the head of the 3 families, but doesn't have that kind of leadership today. Current mayor of the village is from the family. In fact, the mayors of the family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, there's no rival candidates appear. It doesn't change the fact that they hold the mayoral office even though popular elections exist in the popular era. The Furudes, they are the center of the village's faith. They guard the shrine dedicated to Oishiro. They are worshipped as the only possible people to represent the voice of Oishiro. But the family branched off after the war and lost its power, and now consists only of the main house. The main house consists of only one person, Rika, so the lineage may end this generation. There's apparently an old tradition of honoring females, the Furude, so the only daughter is subject to much respect amongst the elderly, the Sonozakis. This family has a certain police-like role of protecting the religious precepts of the Onigafuchi. Of the 3 families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today the Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the 3 has completely reversed, actually. Even now, one could say they are in control of Hinamizawa. The 3 families conferring with each other is similar to the old way. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oriyo, essentially decides all the goings-on in the village by herself. That is the grandma. Okay. Fascinating. Very, 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 very fascinating. So that means that the lady who called us is the mayor's daughter? That's a character we haven't met yet. And late night phone call. Let's see who this is to, huh? Excuse me for late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Well, you see, I do apologize for calling at this hour, but I was wondering if our old man was visiting at the moment. You got that right. Yeah. Once again, I'm very sorry for calling so late. Goodbye. So, no good. I'm not sure what to do. You may be passionate about, but he always at least gives us a call. You called everyone he plays Go with, didn't you? Bring. Hello, this is Kimiyoshi. This is Sonozaki. How'd it go? Have you found the mayor? Oh, Mion. I called everyone I could think of, but came up with nothing. You can't find him. What do I do? Where could he be idling about? The mayor's missing? I put a word in with a bunch of people who might have had an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said we should get the men of the village together to search for him. At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing. Wasangashi just happened. She thinks we should be a little more cautious. We still can't find him. We'll notify the police tomorrow morning. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations. Oriyo said that? Yes, if you can't trust her without hearing her voice, then we'll put her on for you. No, that's fine, I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police in the morning. She'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well as Nana's representative. Thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Wow. With the scene break message. So, Mion is... So the mayor's missing. And that's bad news. Alright, chat. We're plugging. They call me the plugger. I'm standing here on the grounds. Sky above. Can y'all do me a favor? Right? I have one viewer myself. Even if you have the stream muted on your phone or in a background tab or whatever, I'd really appreciate it if you helped out my viewer average. hit my milestone, I'll never have to plug again. It'd mean the world. Alright, so we have plugged. I am going to go take my piss, and I will be back in a minute. I am back. Nova, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I do apologize for the plug. So my last couple Higurashi streams have had between one viewer, myself, and maybe 3. So the average is always shit. The problem is I need to have an average of 3 viewers to get monetization and unlock a bunch of features and shit. So, like, the smart thing, the sensible thing, would be to just not stream Higurashi, you know? But I'm in too deep now, and it's a series, and my one viewer is causing the same situation. Yeah, he hasn't been streaming recently, but next time he's live, I'm gonna hop on his as well and just have it open the whole time, because I've been in his position, you know? I feel his pain. He raided me a couple days ago, and I really appreciate it. It was very nice of him. So this really does mean the world. Legitimately, it is the best. Let me tab back into myself so that I'm one of my own viewers. There we go. And let's keep this going. We are starting with chapter 9 here in just a second. So, in terms of things that are happening in the story so far, we are in Hinamizawa, a village where we are an outsider who transferred in relatively recently. We've got some friends. Things are going okay. But yesterday in timeline, 2 people who we spoke to last died. Incredibly horrifically, in a way that aligns with an ancient curse that's been afflicting the village for centuries. But the problem is, a stipulation of the curse is that for every person that dies and is found dead, another person disappears. So because 2 people were found dead, 2 people are going to disappear, which means us, as the main character, and our friend Shion are probably on the chopping block. So, let's keep it going. There was no way I'd be able to sleep. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was. We got hung up on by said person, Shion, because we were a fucking emotional asshole. Typical. We're a child. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me in my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time, I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. Ah, damn it. This is no time for sleep, Keiichimura. I slapped myself in the face a few times. Then I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I usually didn't do. Yeah, it's not my habits either. That wasn't enough either, so I even brushed my teeth. Wow, abnormal for you, huh, Keiichi? After that, I was finally wide awake. Mom saw how strange I was acting. Her eyes went wide.
どうしたの
What's wrong,
今日
Keiichi?
は
Are you
どこ
going
かにお
somewhere
出か
today?
け
うん。
Yeah, to school. Bit blunt. And we're at school. I hope we have a nice Sadako trap to ease the tension a little bit.
圭一君
Keiichi, you don't
なん
look
だ
so
か
good
今
today.
日やっぱり
Do you
風
have
邪
a
か
cold?
風邪じゃなくて
I'm not
寝不
sick.
足なんだ
Just didn't get much
寝
sleep.
ぼけて
If
わ
I
けのわ
space
か
out
ん
and
ない
start
ことを言
talking
い出したら
nonsense, just
心
humor
を
me.
よろしくな
圭一君
I wonder what
寝
kind
ぼ
of
けたら
nonsense
どんな
you'll
こと
say, I
喋り
wonder.
出ちゃうと楽しみ
Now I'm
か
looking
も
forward to it.
うん
How... I don't know how she does this sound effect. It's really good. I felt utterly shattered, and I still haven't picked myself back up this morning. And for precisely that reason, Reina's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes. I wonder if the translator is UK-based, actually, because that's something that my dad says, and he was born and raised in Ireland. Shattered.
Yeah.
It's not coming to phrase. Have an amazing streamer speech skills despite streaming to no one. Thank you. Part of that is because Higurashi specifically, all of these are going up on my YouTube, the VODs. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more entertaining for the VOD viewers, even if there's nobody here actually there, you know? The Ashio cometh? Thank God, dude. Thank the Lord. Ashio is my go. I'm not gonna lie. Ashio's a wonderful person. I've had, like, maybe 2 conversations with them. I've spoken around Ashio. I've been in the same chat as Ashio. I just... Why am I referring to you in third person? You're here. Hi. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Means the world. I've spoken to you like twice. But you're pretty cool. So, let's keep it going. Yup.
圭ちゃん
Here's
に
me
レ
on.
ナ
What's up, Keishan? Reina.
おはよ
Good morning. She seems a little mopey too. Let's see what's up.
うあれれ
What?
みーちゃん
Michan,
もな
you
んだ
look
か
like you
寝
didn't
不
get much
足な
sleep
感じだよ
either.
だよ
Miana got home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Likewise. Yeah, fair enough. We should talk to each other more. You're a cool dude. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in shadow.
うん
Yeah.
寝たの
I
3
went
時
to
ぐ
bed
ら
at
い
like
だから
3.
眠い
I'm a little tired.
3時
3? Right after
Oi,
yesterday?
oi.
Hey, now, you can't
夜
keep
更か
staying
し
up
にボ
late.
ケ大方
You
漫
probably
画
read
の
the
単
first
行本
volume
が面
of
白くなっ
manga
ちゃ
you
って
thought was interesting,
一
then read the
巻から
entire
読破して
series,
しまっ
didn't
たん
you?
だろ
Ooh, don't do that shit to me, Keiichi. Don't be in my
Uh-huh.
soul. I understand.
Well, I know,
I've done that
Higu.
before. I joked trying to shake off my sleepiness, trying to be considerate. However, neither Mia nor Reina smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention. Reina's expression immediately darkened.
あれ
What?
ひ
What
ょっと
is
して
it about the
村長
mayor?
さんまだ見つかっ
He
て
still
ない
hasn't been
の
found? Okay, so the mayor is
Hmm.
missing. We had hints in the mayor's daughter called us the day before Shion talked to us.
おい
Hey,
ちょっ
wait a
と
minute.
村長さんが
What are
見
you
つかって
talking
ないっ
about? You
て
can't find the mayor?
何の話だ
Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today.
おはようご
Good
ざいます
morning,
圭一さん
Keiichi-san.
聞きました
Have you heard?
なんだか大
It
変な
looks
こ
like
と
something
になりま
terrible
した
has
俺は
happened.
その村
I
長
don't
さん
really
って
know
人
this
を
mayor
よく知
person,
ら
but
ないん
he's
だ
an
が
old guy,
ボケて
right?
徘
Couldn't
徊
he
してる
just
だけ
be
じゃないのか
wandering around senile?
村長
The
さん
mayor
は
is
ボケ
certainly
なんて
not
教えず
senile.
も
He's
教
a
えるし
sprightly
剣道も
man
教
who
え
can
る
teach both
働く方
calligraphy
でござい
and
ますよ
swordsmanship. Sadako has a wonderful vocabulary, and it's so out of character, and I love it. It's a very good... it's a good
僕と
dichotomy.
同じで
He probably got lost
きっと
somewhere,
ど
like
こ
me.
かで迷子なのですま
A
迷
lost...
子いいね
Yeah, this is Reina's primary character trait. How? I want to take you home with me. Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika do it. A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. This is the Ryukishi writing I show up for, chat. While my mind entertained dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. Everyone rushed to their seats.
皆さ
Good
ん
morning,
おはようございます
everyone. Good morning. The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Everything
すで
usual.
に
Some
聞
of
いて
you
い
may
る
have
方も
already
昨日
heard,
の
but
夜
last night, despite the late hour,
村
the
長さ
mayor
んが
never came
皆さ
home.
んの中
Is
で
there anyone here who saw
昨
the
日
mayor
村長
yesterday?
さんを見た人はい
One
ま
or
す
two
か
hands went up in silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst
もしも
themselves.
村長
If
さんを
anyone
見
has
か
seen the
けた
mayor,
人は
please tell an
大
adult
人の
about it,
人に教え
alright?
それでは授業
Now
を始め
then,
ます
let's begin class. After that, same old lessons. Nothing too crazy just yet. This is just a tease. This is great, actually. Actually, I mentioned this to Nova before you got in here, but Two people died. Two people that we were speaking to. And there is a curse in the village that's been going on for centuries that every couple years, or in this case every year, on the specific festival day, one person will die and then one person will disappear and just mysteriously vanish, right? But this time two people died, which, if convention serves, means that two people will mysteriously vanish, right? We were under the assumption that it was us and Shion, who will probably see this episode. But if the mayor's gone, one of us is safe. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came out with this. This is a new sprite. What the hell? Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the shrine's assembly hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set, and everyone left. Check this out. Elder's house is a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late, and Hinamizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. No one saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Interesting. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from the irrigation channels to the water wells, and even in the rice paddies, but they just couldn't find him. Of course, there's a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. Police were going to wait for daylight, then have the young men of the town help search. If after all that they still didn't find him, they were even going to go looking in the mountains. That's not really going to happen. They said he was an old man, skilled in calligraphy and swordsmanship. Sprightly indeed. But he wouldn't go fucking wandering off into the mountains. Some water. Oh, peace. Even now at this moment, the adults are probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, and the more time passed, the only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumors of Onikakushi, of the demoning away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to Oishiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring every year? That scary possibility, which everybody thought about but nobody could say aloud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oishiro's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, I knew. The curse did happen this year, and there were two people that died. This may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought that the elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I should have been a higher priority than him. The four of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot into the sacred ritual storehouse. That was the crux of episode 7. If Toмотake and Takano had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been Mai and Shion's turn. This time should have been Shion and me. Huh? I laughed painfully to myself. I'd yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I can only think that I should have been the first to go. Onigafuchi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police divers are plumbing its depths even now. Pardon. Goodness gracious, choking on my own saliva there. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onigafuchi, but not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish, bottomless swamp, from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friend that in the classroom. Now that you mention it, Satoshi-san, he left around this time last year, didn't he? Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was right. He disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it pretty clearly. Didn't we search the whole village like this for Satoshi, too? We didn't find him, either. What did we decide that was? A demoning away, right? Yeah. I heard he withdrew all his savings and ran away from home. Someone from the police said there was someone who saw him get on the bullet train in Nagoya. Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons, too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no good reason. But they did disappear. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reason behind it. Yeah, because the previous cases, let's run through them right quick, because there's only like 4. So the first one was the dam supervisor who was cut apart and massacred, and each of the participants took a body part. But the mastermind that took the right arm was never found. They never tracked him down. The second one was a townsperson who was sympathetic to the dam builders. He mysteriously died after falling off of a cliff. He died accidentally, but his wife was never found. She just vanished. The third case was a priest who is Rika's dad or granddad. It's not actually made very clear. Who died mysteriously of an illness, but then his wife disappeared. They found a suicide note, but she did end up just vanishing. And then last year, the person who disappeared is Satoshi, who they're talking about, but the person that was killed was Satoshi's mom, who was murdered, massacred by some druggie, was what they said. Someone with a history of psychostimulants. So the mayor's disappearance, which does mean that all the people who disappeared have been directly related to the people that died. But the people that died this time, Tomitake and whatever, I keep forgetting the second girl's name. Sounds like there may be murder involved in this story. What? I'd say that's the obvious bit, but that's actually not that clear. We have a bit of an Umineko split here, right? The Umineko thing is magic real or not? In this one, it is, we know that there are murders, we know that they've been happening and are continuing to happen, but is it actually the curse? Is it Oyashiro-sama causing some kind of demonic possession in the villagers? Or is this some kind of power play? Is it a village conspiracy that everybody's working on together? So, we'll find out eventually. But right now, I'm leaning on the fact that it's a curse, mostly because of what it's been doing to our friends specifically, right? They've been acting very uncharacteristically in the later parts of these episodes. Y'all see, we'll get some creepy shit. Let's keep going. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything. Oh my god!
口の加減を間違えちゃったみたいだね。
Chat. He does this so fucking often. They just show up really big, and it scares me every single time. And I'm... Alright. Looks like I messed up the seasoning today.
ごめん。
Sorry. Normally, Reina's lunch would have been devoured immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Reina's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though.
そんなことありませんのよ。
That isn't the case! Your lunch today is as delicious as always! Sadako dips her chopsticks into Reina's bento box and pulls bits of food out one after the other. Snake. Yep, delicious indeed! Today in particular, in fact. Good onomatopoeia. You know those are pumpkin croquettes, right? Are you okay? Yes! If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious. Oh, she's one of those... Oh, that's cute. She's one of those people that doesn't like something like pumpkin if they know it's in it, but they can't actually taste it. My little sister, for so long, did not want to eat onions in her pierogi, but we put them on anyway, and she just never noticed. Did Sadako dislike pumpkin? Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shove more into her mouth. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Sadako kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. Poor Sadako. If it's that good, then I guess I've got to have some too. Sadako's gonna eat it all if we let her. Stop! Being so big! If it's just so good, so I would certainly like it if Keiichi were to eat some as well. Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for the both of us today. Why this reaction? She really, really hated pumpkin, didn't she? Oh! Oh, that's really cute. Oh, she's eating it all, so Reina won't feel bad. They made it all the more touching to see Sadako's own brand of generosity. Wonderful character. I grabbed her head and started stroking. What? Sadako, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face. No way, you'll never grow up and give away such good food. Reina, you eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it'll taste great after having sat at night. That does sound kind of nice. Hates Halloween. Yeah, I'm too jumpy for Halloween. I do love it. I love scary movies. Okay, I love really good horror movies. That shit is amazing. But I am way too jumpy to fucking exist on this planet. Thankfully, I was looking at chat when Reina showed up, or else I would have fucking jumped again. God damn. 2 steps, lady! Back off!
お大根
The
が綺麗
daikon
な色
radish
に
has a
透き
pretty
通っ
color
てて
going
美
through it.
味し
It
そう
looks
じゃ
delicious.
いただ
I
こ
guess
う
I'll
か
have some
な
then. Ray reached out with her chopsticks, and at last the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. That was only at our desks. I keep accidentally right-clicking. The dark tales of Oishiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, did not cease. The whole class remained stuck in this somber mood. I'm not surprised, yeah. Oishiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last. What was Oishiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa, the people building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much, yeah. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself in the cheeks to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood, I couldn't go straight back to think about the curse. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oishiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target.
しかし
Meal's
ミオンは
taking
遅
a
いな
while, isn't
あ
she?
いつのお手
How
洗い
long
って
does it take to wash
そ
her
んなに長い
hands?
のか
Miana said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back. Interesting. Back off!
多分
She's
どっか
probably
で
taking a
お
little
昼寝してる
afternoon
んだ
nap
と思
somewhere.
うゆうべは
I think
き
she
っと
was
そ
up
こま
pretty
で
late
村
last night
長
looking
さ
for
ん
the
を
mayor,
探す
after
お
all.
手伝いを
I
してたん
smiled
だと
wryly
思う
and
か
let
ら
out a sigh. Today was no good. However much you tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. It was just a no good day. I just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Yeah, I'd imagine. Maybe I do need to appreciate that.
村長さ
When
んは
Michan
ね
was really little,
ち
the
っちゃ
mayor
かっ
would
た頃
always
い
spoil her.
たずら
When
盛
she
り
was
の
going
みー
through
ちゃ
her
んを
prankster
す
phase,
ご
he
く
loved
可
her
愛
like
が
his
って
own
くれたっ
daughter.
てよく
She's told me that
話し
often.
てたな
Oh, I see. Mia wasn't shocked, too. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew, though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. Sadako, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lips and looked downward. Please be small!
そういえ
Oh,
ばリ
Rika
カ
chan
ち
is
ゃん
taking a
もひょ
while,
っとし
too.
て
Maybe they're taking a
リ
nice
カちゃん
afternoon
も
nap
仲
together.
良くお昼寝か
リカはそんなに
Please!
遅くまではお付き合い
Rika
し
was
ません
now
でした
all
か
that late. I'm so
リカ
mad,
があ
Shat.
くびをしたら
As soon as she
皆さん
yawned, everyone
みんなして
gathered around her
お
and
やすみ
started
な
saying
さいま
good
せお
night,
やす
good
みなさい
night.
ませ
Now she mentioned it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika during the festival, too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that? That's a very Rika move. Rika is very cutesy. She seems very innocent, but in reality, she is very manipulative. It's a good bit of characterization. All these characters are very cheeky in their own way.
リカちゃんって
Is there a reason the old
何
people
気に
treat
年寄り
Rika-chan
の
like
ア
an
イドル
idol?
理想の孫
Is she
娘
their
像ってやつ
ideal
なの
image of a
か
granddaughter or something?
そんなの知
I
ら
don't
な
know
い
anything about that. Finally, we have music back. We've been listening to the cries of the Higurashi for a bit too long.
で
But I want to see.
リカちゃんのあくびなら見てみ
Can we see the expression? There we go. It's probably like, oh, I want to take her home. Yeah,
そんなに可愛い
I
の
don't personally think it's that cute. It's more of a. She opens her mouth really wide so you can see the back of her throat.
リカちゃんの大あくびは
Sometimes you just gotta let the voice actor take it away. This is impressive. Rena's handy at times like these. Finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh, right. I'm on day duty today, ain't I? I need to go water the flower garden. Garden's right outside the teacher's lounge, too, so they can immediately tell if you don't do it right.
リカ
I
ちゃん
think
のだ
Sadako
けじ
is
ゃな
cute.
く
Oh,
さとこ
you
ちゃんの大あく
Genuinely impressive.
び窒息
I assume there's some kind of suffocation going on.
ちらっと見
I got a glimpse. It was so
さ
cute.
とこちゃんのあくびも
Sadako's cute
可
too.
愛いお持ち帰り
Okay. If the mayor was a little younger and a little cuter, Reina would be primary suspect. Reina was strangling Sadako. I really don't think that counts as yawning. You know, Reina's... I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious censored. Isn't she... What the fuck? Hearing Sadako make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the classroom had erupted into laughter, too. Maybe Reina was doing it on purpose. Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Weird-ass character. Fun! But weird. Anyway, let's get out to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service production building, so there was nothing so thoughtful as a garden before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. That's cute. Well, the flour bread, it was a little longer than you'd expect. Went all around? Went all over the place. It was so big, one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all. Jesus, fuck! I was doing this together with the kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade, though, and a full size smaller than Rika. Couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. If you were placed on day duty with someone who liked this sort of thing, they'd do it all for you. So, it'd be cake.
悪態をついても仕方ない
No point in blaming her.
な。諦めて仕事を始め
I
る
give up.
か。
I'll get started. Watering can in hand, as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Water that too, would you?
あ
Oh,
あ
I mean that
カレー
curry
菜園ですか
vegetable
じゃがい
garden,
もと
the
か
one with
人
the
参とか
potatoes and carrots and other things that are only ingredients for curry. This is a slice of life detail. We left the slice of life behind when we started having people fucking die, but our teacher is fucking obsessed with curry. That's just like, that's her primary characterization. It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher. Making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day, dudes. The sunlight out front was strong. Great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. Oh yeah, Higurashi means cicada, chat. So all of this background buzzing is the Higurashi. I passed by the classroom, and I don't know how it happened, but Reina and Sadako were in the middle of a huge melee? What the fuck? While we were gone, the kids had arranged all their desks in a circle, forming a ring while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we would need to return to reality, where talk of the elders' disappearance would once again be all over the place. I want everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while we were at school. In that sense, Sadako's whirling elbow and Reina's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight. Ryukishi, hats off. You're my goat. There's nothing to be said. Even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. That's my fucking pencil box, man. I'll let it happen today. I set to work, hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it, yeah. No sooner I thought that than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden, too. This feels like such a pain, but I have a feeling it'll come back to bite me if I don't. They're spending too much time focusing on this. What are we going to find here? I gave up, filled the watering can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. Are we going to find the mayor? This was the place students didn't like to go. It was always damp. You couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pillbugs. I like slugs. They're so silly looking. Oh, Rika's here. So I ran across her in a place like that. I was surprised.
Dog!
Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Rika jumpscared? Don't scare me like that. Rika was just standing there like a puppet, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika didn't even seem to react to my appearance.
Rika-chan?
Rika-chan? Finally, she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. Oh no! There were blades of grass stuck in her hair, and her clothes looked as though she'd fallen to the ground. Rika, are you hurt? Did you fall? No!
違うのですよ。違うのです。
That isn't it. Rika said in the brightest voice she could manage as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal, though. This is so sad. What happened? You weren't sleeping on the storehouse roof and then it fell off or anything, did you?
僕のこと
Don't
は
worry about
そ
me.
れより
I
も
have something I want to ask you.
圭一に聞きたいことがあるのです。
Jesus fucking Christ! Rika walked over and clung to me. At first, I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized it was so I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask. I shuddered. Oh my god. Okay, so one of the bits in the last episode was every single fucking person we met asked if we spoke to or were with the people that were murdered at the time, before we even knew they were murdered. Like, 4 or 5 people asked us. We did some shit we weren't supposed to do, and we hid it. So if she asked the same question, our dude's gonna be fucking so scared. What do you want from me? She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me. It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out of my own eyes that actually asked me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers. Keiichi,
お祭りの
did
晩
you
に
do something bad
何か
on the night
悪
of
い
the
ことを
festival?
しましたか？
My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawled up my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, made its way into my brain.
圭一、
Keiichi,
本当に
do you
覚えはあ
really
りま
not
せんか？
remember? My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Mion asked me, Oishi-san asked me. Shion asked me too. And now Rika was asking me. We thought nobody knew about what we did last night, but in fact, everyone knew. They all knew, and they came to ask me. Again and again, until I just admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, don't Tomitake and Takano's deaths prove it? Keiichi? Oh, how should I respond? We never should have entered the Forbidden Storehouse, and even though I regret it so much, was she saying that it wasn't enough? However, I had all but decided what I was going to say. I'm not exactly a good kid, you know? I've done lots of bad things, so I can't remember anything specific. Still not admitting it. Just as I had with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, she released me. Thank you for backing off. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for asking you something strange. Please forget about it, she said, smiling her usual smile. Then, tap, 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 she went running off as if nothing had happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me. Rika-chan! If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did. Hey, Rika.
Rika-chan.
What is it? If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening. Had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked anyway. Didn't break anything or steal anything. Really. Still, Tomitake and Takano died so miserably. For specifics on this one, Tomitake believed to have clawed his own throat out with his own fingers. And Takano was found burned alive, covered in oil in the middle of the forest. So yeah, pretty brutal. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. Rika-chan cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit to what happened that night, though, she might suddenly do a 180, as if flipping a switch. That would make sense, yeah. Rika was the Shrine Maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Yeah, she's, of the religious family. Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling Mion or Oishi? Man, Rika could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Maibara. If you really are sorry, then say it. Of course, it's normal to hesitate given the crazy way Tomitake and Takano died. Yeah, a pulping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it turned into big droplets of sweat, which began to fall. Keiichi. Stop doing that! Rika suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head. I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi. I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika-chan's palm could reach it. Oh, that's cute. She petted me, kind of like one would a cat. Are we cat posting in fucking chat today? Rika's a petter. Do you know about the big storehouse a little way behind the shrine grounds? It stores the implements we use for rituals. My breath literally stopped. That's where we broke into, yeah. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in a coercive way at all. Apparently, on the night of the festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse. A cat? Yep, a cat. Meow, meow. Nanodesu. Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so she wouldn't scare me. The cat always wanted to explore inside the storehouse, but I was mean to it and never let it go inside. So, on the night of the festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and went inside. Cat? It was clearly supposed to be Takano, yeah. Or wait, was it supposed to be me? Inside, there were actually lots of things that scared the cat. Rika made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. Whoa. Rika's like... I don't know how old Rika is, but she's a fucking, like, child, chat. She is in, like... 3rd to 6th grade, I'd estimate? I don't know. So this is actually genuinely cute without the context.
猫さんは
The
びっ
cat was
くり
both
仰天
terrified and
一
amazed.
目散
It
に
ran away
逃げ
as
出
fast
し
as it
て
could.
ガタガタブルブルニャーニャーで大変
It
な
was
の
terrible.
です
I'm gonna let her do the sound effects because it's very good. But this
その
cat,
猫が
who are you saying it was?
誰だって言うんだ。
猫さんは
The
猫
cat
さん
is
です
a cat.
ニャーニャー
Meow meow. I appreciate it, Rika. Rika still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me at
Rika-chan.
this point. Rika,
頼む。
please tell me,
その
the cat,
猫さんは
what should it do now?
これから
Then maybe it was
ど
a
うしたらいい？
desperate question to ask. I sort of admitted to being the cat, yeah.
猫さんは
The
猫
cat
さん
is
で
just a
すから
cat, so it can just
ニャ
keep
ーニャー鳴
meowing,
いてるだけで
and
大丈
everything
夫
will
で
be
すよ
fine.
大丈
Everything
夫
will
って
be fine. That's
そんないい加
stupid.
減な。
ニャーニャー鳴いて
Shouldn't
る
it
だ
just
けで
keep
はダ
meowing?
メなのですか
Jeez. Rick and I put together an entire conversation using cat as a fucking code word. I didn't say it directly, but I had already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice, like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now that's enough.
泣いてるだけじゃ
It can't just
ダメなんだ。
keep meowing.
猫さんが
The dog saw the cat
いたず
making
ら
mischief
心
and
でしの
sneaking
犬
inside.
さん
The
そ
dog.
うだ。
That's right.
犬さんなん
It
だ
was the
猫
dog.
さんのと
It
ころ
keeps
へ
coming to the cat and trying to get it to say that it snuck inside. Oh. After I said that, Rika's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I already noticed her eyes darken.
リカちゃん
Rika-chan. The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika grinned. Oh, okay. Back to normal?
大丈夫ですよ
It's all right.
猫さんは
I'll protect the
僕が
cat.
守ってあげます
Huh? I thought for a moment that I'd misheard those words, so dependable they were.
猫さんは
The cat is really
とて
scared,
も怖が
but
って
it
いま
really
す
isn't
が
all that bad.
何匹かの
I think
犬さ
all
ん
of the
が
dogs are just
きっと
misunderstanding.
探知
Huh? It's
そ
not
んな
all
に
that bad?
大変なことじゃない。
猫さんの
The
心
cat
配
is
し
worrying
す
too
ぎ僕がき
much.
っと
I'll do something about
な
it
んと
for
か
sure.
してあげますですよ
Rika, you're like fucking 5. Rika will do something about it? I don't even know left from right at the moment. So Rika didn't look all that dependable.
ちょっと大
It
変
might
で
be
すけど
hard, but I'll do my
頑張り
best.
ますですよファイト王なのです
That's her catchphrase. Fighto. Oh! She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Oh. Rika said that the cat can just keep meowing. She said to just leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing?
本当
Will
に
you really be alright,
リカちゃん
Rika-chan?
で
僕が頑
If
張
I
ら
don't
な
do
い
my
と
best, then something bad could
皆
happen
さん
to
も
the
大変なこ
dogs
とになっ
too.
てしまうかもしれな
I
いの
had
です
no idea what Rika was talking about anymore. She would talk to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things, so at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding, yeah. However, one thing I did know was to not worry and to leave it to her. Rika straightened up once again, patted me on the head, and smiled. I was so moved by that reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. Keiichi, you're like 17, dude.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
猫さんも
Cat was
本当に
It
ちょ
was
っと
just
した
a
い
bit
た
of
ずらのつもり
mischief.
だ。こんなことになる
I
なんて
didn't think any of this would
全然
happen.
猫さんは
It's
臆
too
病
much
す
of a
ぎです
scaredy
だから
cat.
見せたくな
That's
か
why
っ
it should
た
have
の
never
です
seen the storehouse. Yeah, she was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on just some interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at in the first
リ
place.
カちゃん
Rika-chan,
その猫さん
what will
は
happen to the
どう
cat?
忍び込んだ
Two of the cats that
2
snuck
匹の
in. Well,
猫さ
that
んが
night they...
その
I'd heard Tomitake and Takano's
Ah,
deaths
no,
were being kept
bunny.
a secret. Rika might not know.
富竹と高野
Tomitake
です
and
か
Takano? Ooh, ditching the cat. I gave a start at the sudden mention of actual names. Though it's weird to do that at this point, yeah.
忘れると良
You
い
should
ので
forget
す
about them. My spine froze again.
Wasure-
Forget?
はい
Yes.
あの二人の
It
こ
won't
とを
do
思
any
い
good
出
to
すこ
remember
とは
those two, Keiichi.
考えれば考
The more
え
you
る
think
ほ
about
ど
it, the
怖く
scarier
な
it'll
る
get.
だから早
So
く
you should forget about
忘れ
them
た方
as
がいい
soon
の
as
です
possible. She said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile off her face wither at all. My
ど
fucking
こで
voice
聞
is
いたかわか
flattering
り
here.
ませんが
I don't know where
綺麗
you
さ
heard
っ
it
ぱ
from,
り
but you should
お風
forget
呂で
everything.
ゴシゴシす
Make
る
your
みたい
mind
に
as
忘れ
clean
ちゃ
as
う
a
と良いのですよ
scrubbed bathtub.
わ忘
Forget?
れるって言ったって
Rika-chan, you know,
リ
don't
あ
you?
の二人
You
が
know how those two
どうい
died?
う死に方を
どんな死に
No
方
matter
を
how
し
they
ても
died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi.
圭一とは関係のないことなのです
Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me. So forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable. And she even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me.
Shion.
What about Shion?
あいつは
What'll happen to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion by name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. I had to know. Rika saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was gonna fool her or keep anything from her at this point.
姉妹猫の
The younger of the
妹です
sister
にゃ
cats?
ーにゃー
Meow meow, back to cats. Yeah, the little sister cat. Rika appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence.
姉猫は
The
怒っ
big
てま
sister
す
cat is angry. So Mion,
妹
the
猫
little
が
sister
悪
cat
い
did
こと
something
を
bad,
した
so
ので
she's really mad.
姉猫って
The big sister cat, that can only mean Mion, yeah. I recall being questioned by her yesterday.
ケイチ
Keiichi.
姉猫は
The
と
big sister cat
て
is
も
not
機
in a
嫌が
good
悪い
mood
で
at
す
all.
しばらくの
I think we
間
should leave her
そっ
alone
と
for
し
a
てあげて
while.
ほしいなのです
Not in a good mood. Those words sent a shiver through me. Mion was... Find a different word, Ryukishi. We're sick of shivering. She was mad that we entered the ritual
今日
storehouse.
から部
Let's
活は
stop
なし
having
にし
club
ま
from
しょ
now
う
on.
え
Huh?
なんでだ
Well,
よ
why?
そっとしてあげてほしいからなのです
Rika ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Mabura, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me. I'll leave things to her, just as she said. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano and Tomitake and what I did that night. Yeah, see if that works out for you. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break.
じゃあ
I guess we should go back to
校舎に戻ろうか
class.
ケイチ
Keiichi. As if she had noticed how miserable I was about to leave everything to her and flee the scene, Rika called out to stop me.
勘違いの
If
犬
the
さんが
misunderstanding dog
猫
comes
さ
to
んに
try
噛み
and
つこ
bite
う
the
とした
cat,
ら知らせてくだ
please
さ
tell
いね
me, okay? I finished my second water there. So, down to our third one. So, she's saying that something may happen. Okay. That's really bad. The misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one.
勘違いの犬
Who
さん
is the misunderstanding dog?
村長を
The
噛んだ
dog that
犬
bit
さ
the
んです
mayor. Oh, she knows everything.
どうして村長
I
を
don't know
噛ん
why
だ
it
の
did
か
that.
噛むなら
If it was going to bite
いたずら
anyone,
猫さんを
it
先
would
に
have been the
噛む
trickster
はずなの
cat
にです
first. The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika had admitted it. The sacrifice of that terrible calamity. She admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. This, I didn't know it was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear. Nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of some horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true anymore.
ごめんなさいなの
I'm
で
sorry.
猫さんが
The
怖
cat is
がっ
already
てい
scared,
る
and
の
I
に
said something to scare it even
ごめん
more.
なさいなのです
I'm really sorry. Rika bowed so quickly, it looked like her head had been pulled down. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking.
お
Oh.
あごめん
Rika made a very sad face, but I couldn't bring myself out to put her head for her again. It's fucked up, man. Let her pat your head. There's a very small solace in this world that one, you're not dead yet, and two, this girl's gonna pat your head. That day, Rika said she wasn't feeling up for club, so she suggested we don't bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Raina and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remembered Rika's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was. Nothing special, yeah. And that's our scene break. Not our chapter break just yet. Probably one more scene, if I had to bet. We've only been here for a bit at the end of the day. Let me also make sure that I'm still one of my viewers. There we go. You have to tab back into it every once in a while to make sure that it still works. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon in my bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I look back on it, the less I understood what Rika was saying. Not only did she know about Takano and Tomitake's deaths, which are hidden to the public at this point, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika's sweet smile and told her things that I shouldn't have? I should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and it colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly, a knock! I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was. Keiichi, I've been calling your name for a while now. You have a phone call. It's from Sonozaki. It was Dad. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. Sonozaki-san. Which one? The older sister or the younger sister? I don't know. Ask her yourself. I checked the receiver and buried myself in my futon again. Hello? Mio? Or is it Shion? It's me. Shion. Oh, thank God. Okay, we're good. Good evening. First thing you need to do is apologize. I frantically jumped out of my bed. It was Shion who had hoped so desperately would call me back last night. Shion! Sorry about last night. I got all riled up. Man, I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other end. Because it is. You and me are in the same position, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, so please cheer up. I called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop. Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd forgive me. You're right, too. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other's alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety. Yeah, I agree. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have, so that we don't die like Takano and Tomitake did. Oh. I don't know how people do that sound effect. I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. Then, let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right? Yes. I'll be fine. Firstly, it seems sneaking into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. Takano and Tomitake's miserable ends, terrible that you can call them a warning, they were more than enough to make me believe that, yeah. The corporals killed those two, the ones responsible for selling the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know he wants to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you disappeared, okay? She's genuinely concerned about us. I got it. You can never be too careful, after all. I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at that museum of torture devices deserves a death like that. I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks a taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions, they would never be forgiven. Let's report anything we notice that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then just maybe we'll find out who killed them. Or maybe even the truth behind the incidents in the previous years. We can find the key that'll resolve everything. You're right. You're right about that. All I was doing was waiting in fear, but she and Aurora thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being. Then I'll start since I suggested it. I feel like somebody has been watching me lately. What? It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kei-chan, then maybe it's not just my imagination. Don't worry. At the very least, everything's been fine for me. I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine. I suppose it was my imagination, but you be careful too, Kei-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm in Okinomiya, so I won't be alone very often. But you live in Kinomizawa. There will be a lot of times you'll be alone. Please be extra careful. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'll be careful. Also, about my sister. Has she been acting strange lately? Your sister? Oh, Mion. Right. What do you mean by acting strangely? Well, yesterday she came to me and asked where I was in the night of the Watsunogashi. What? She asked me that too. The day before yesterday, I think. Mion asked me. I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say? I did the same. Okay. They're on the same page. This is good. I just dodged the question. Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief. Your stories line up, yeah. Ever since the night of the festival, my sister's been acting strangely. We can never be too careful, so just be aware, okay? Mia was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the nights of the Watsunogashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary to me. At least from my point of view, yeah. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me couldn't notice. Got it. I'll start being careful. I'll always have Reina with me on the way from school, so I shouldn't end up alone with Mia very often. Please be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me. Alright. Are you gonna tell her about Rika? Okay, then is there anything you want to tell me, Kei-chan? My turn! That's right, maybe I should report on Uishi-san asking me the same question at the library. Oh, that time when you were too slow to escape? Yeah. Uishi asked me pretty forcefully whether I was with Takano-san and Tokutami-san that night, whether I'd seen you. Uishi seemed to have seen the four of us together. From the police's point of view, that would make us the last people who saw them. I suppose, given that, it's only natural they'd be interested. I evaded the questions then too, but that might have made them more interested. Oh, there's no way I could have tricked that sly old fox Oishi. Oishi is my favorite character. He's the fucking goat. I love the guy. My troubled countenance would have only made him even more so.
なあシオン
Hey, Shion.
警察なら
Since they're the police,
言っちゃって
shouldn't
もい
we
いんじゃ
just
ないのか
tell them?
むしろ俺た
I
ちの
mean,
状況を
considering our
思えば
situation, I think having them on
警
our
察
side
を味
would be
方
a
につけ
good
るのはプラスだと思う
Shion
ぞ
didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it.
そういえば
Now that
大
I
石
think
さん
about
は
it, Oishi said there was something
ミオン
possibly
に
shady
何
about
らかの
Mio. At
嫌
least
疑
I
があ
think
る
that's what he
う
said.
ん
Yeah,
確かにそ
yeah,
う言っ
he
てた
definitely
昨
did.
日も話
As
し
I
ました
explained
通
yesterday,
り
the Sonozaki
そ
family
の
holds
崎
a
家
lot
は
of
南
influence
沢に
over
強い
Higu
大石は
Oishi is
一
under the
連の
impression
連
that
続
the
回
whole
避事件
village,
を
with the
その
Sonozaki
崎
family
本
at the
家の
center
中
of it
心に
all,
なった
is
村ぐるみの
responsible
犯
for
行
the
だと
recurrent
疑っ
freak
ています
deaths.
から
So Oishi firmly believes in the conspiracy theory. He's of the belief that the Sonozakis are killing people off that disagree with their regime. Oh, right-clicked again. Whoops.
その崎家
The
が
whole
中
village
心
is
になっ
behind
た
them, with the Sonozaki family
村
at the
ぐるみの
center.
犯行
Please don't get angry like you did yesterday and just listen. Oh, I hammered that home before I got too upset.
南沢の
During
ダ
the
ム闘争
Hinamizawa
の時
Dam Wars, the
リー
priests
ダ
who
ー
everyone
シップを
was
期待
anticipating
され
to
た
lead
神
the
主
movement
が
act as
あ
though
ま
they
り
were
に日和
related.
見だった
So
ので
Zokizaki
そ
main
の崎
house
本家の
rose up
首
to
謀
take
格
charge.
戦いの歴
My
史に
sister
つい
told
て
you all
は
about the battles that happened,
あ
right? Yeah.
ひなみ沢
All
全
of
体で
Hinamizawa got together and
一丸
fought
と
as
デ
one.
モをしたり
They held
裁判に
protests,
訴えた
brought
り
to court, and even
テレ
appeared on TV.
実際は
In reality, there are many
もっ
things
と
that
もっ
happened
と
that
過
were
激
far
なこと
more
もたくさん
extreme.
その崎本
Under
家
the
の
surface,
水
the
面下
Sonozaki
で
main house was doing all sorts of
さまざ
illegal
まな違
things
法な
to
抵抗
oppose
活
it.
違法な
They
抵
were
抗活
acting
動
illegally?
例えば
For example, they would sneak into
夜
the
中
construction
に
site in the
建
middle
設
of the night
現場
and
に
steal
忍び込
equipment
み
or break it,
機
or
材
put
を
sugar
盗んだり
cubes in the
壊した
gasoline
り
tanks of the construction
ガソ
vehicles.
リンタンクに砂
Sugar in
糖
their gasoline?
なんでそん
Why
な
would they?
知らないんで
You
すか
don't know?
戦争中
It's
に
practically the
フランス
representative
の
guerrilla
地下
tactic
組
used
織
by
なんかが
underground organizations in
典型的
France
な
in
ゲリ
World
ラ
War II,
活動
for
です
one.
よ
I don't know this either, so I'm in Keiichi's shoes.
砂糖を入
When
れ
you
る
put
と
sugar in, the
エン
engine
ジン
gets
が焦げ
burned
つい
out
て
and
壊れ
breaks
ちゃう
down.
んですよ
That's pretty bad, though, isn't it? It was destruction of property and nothing
建
less.
設現場への
When they
監視
beefed
が
up the
強
guard
化
of the
され
construction
ると
facility, the family turned to attacking
今度
important
は
construction
工
personnel
事の
who
重要
worked
例
there.
えば
The government officials
工
who
事を
gave
認可
permission
し
for
た
the
役人
construction, for
たちに
example,
は
received all
さま
kinds
ざ
of
まな恐怖
threats.
それは
Not just people from
県
the
庁の
professional
役
office
人
either.
だけでな
This
く
was as far as the Ministry of
建設庁の
Construction.
偉い役人にまで及んだそうです聞いた話では
As far as I've heard, they even
子供
kidnapped
の
a
誘拐ま
child.
でやっ
What
た
the
とか
fuck?
誘拐
Kidnapped?
ええ
Yeah.
建設庁
Child
の
of an
南
important
沢ダ
person in
ム
the
を担
Ministry of
当する
Construction who was in
偉い
charge
人
of the
の子供
Hinamizawa
が
Dam got spirited away. Then one day, all of a
あ
sudden,
る
he was rescued
日
in
南
the
沢のもっ
mountains,
と
which
上
are
流
upstream
の
from
犯行
Hinamizawa.
声明はなかった
Apparently,
って
there were
言わ
never
れ
any
てるん
criminal
ですけど
accusations with people whispered that they meant
ダ
a
ム
threat
工
to
事を
stop the
中止する
construction.
他にも他に
Besides
も
that, there were stories about
マ
so
イケ
many
ルに
different
とまが
threats
な
that
い
I
ほど
couldn't
の脅
possibly
迫
list
だ
them
それ
all.
は
That's
確かにちょっと
Wow.
やばいな
ain't that bad?
そんなさなかだった
Right in the
んです
middle of the
よ
whole
第
thing.
一の事件
The first incident
現
happened.
場監督の
That's
バ
when
ラ
the
バラ殺人
dismemberment
が
of
あ
the
った
construction manager occurred.
その時家
People
が主
whispered
犯
that the
格の
Sonozaki
男を
family
買収
brought
し
out the
たのでは
principal
と
offender,
囁
but
か
of
れて
course
ま
they
したが
fled and they still haven't found him.
何
When
し
you
ろ
put it
今
that
日
way,
も
the
逃走
Sonozaki
中
family
ですから
definitely seems suspicious.
犯
Yeah.
人も
Oishi
口
seems
封
to
じ
think
で
that the
消
criminal
し
was
たんじゃない
erased,
かっ
so he
て
wouldn't
当
talk.
然ですね
Which is pretty
人
reasonable
気
of
であ
him.
る私
It's
で
even
す
enough
ら
to make me
そ
think
の崎
that
本
the
家の暗
Sonozaki
躍
main
があっ
house
た
is
ので
doing
は
some
ない
really
かと
shady
思ってる
things
くら
behind
い
the
で
scenes, even though I'm related to it.
それを
Are you telling me to
俺に
believe
新
that?
ミオンの園
That the
崎本家が
Sonozaki main house
そん
where
な
Mion
悪い
lives
ことを
has
やっ
done
てき
all
たと
these bad things?
信
You're
じろと
telling
いう
me
の
to
か
believe it? Yeah.
ケイ
Get
ちゃ
with
ん
the
が
program,
信じ
bro.
なくても
Even if you don't,
村
Kei-chan,
人た
the
ちが
villagers
自
do.
分たちが綺
While
麗
they
な抵抗運動を
oppose
す
the
る
dam
形
in
で
upright and lawful ways,
そ
the
の崎家が
Sonozaki
汚
house
い
did the
抵
dirty
抗運
work
動を
for them.
自分たちの矢面
Everyone
に
believes
立って
that
戦っ
they
てく
fought
れ
on the
たんだ
fronts
っ
and they
て
take the brunt of the
した
criticism.
ら
So they're respected as sort of heroes of darkness.
私が知って
I
いる
think
の
I
は
only really know one part.
例えば
For example, the
誘
really
拐
bad
なん
stuff
か
like
の
the
特に
kidnapping,
ヤバ
I
い
think
話
only a
は
handful of people know know
当
about
社
that
の
one,
バッチャを
including
含め
Grandma.
園崎家は
The Sozaki
秘密主
family
義
is secretive, after all.
秘密主義
Secretive, huh?
か。
A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything. The Sonozaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin Mion was deeply involved. And that was not a fun thought to entertain.
そういった
My sister,
違
though
法な抵
young,
抗
was
運
the
動
one
の
that
中
acted
心
as
と
the
して
center of
伝
the
承なが
illegal
ら活
resistance
躍したのが
movement.
ミオンが
Mion was?
どうい
What
う
the
こと
fuck
だ
are
よ
you talking about? Well, our dad is a big shot yakuza. Even when she was little, my sister managed to subjugate a bunch of young street rats. Then she played all sorts of tricks on them and just generally got in their
あ
way.
のミオンが
Mion did that?
今はなんだか
Now,
のんびり
she's
した
pretty
雰囲
laid
気だ
back,
か
so it
ら
might be
器
hard to
物破
imagine.
損から
She did
脅
everything from
迫
property
暴
damage
行
to
まで
threats and
一
acts
通
of
りこなし
violence,
て
and she was
何
picked
度も
up for
脅
it
す子
countless
供で
times.
したら
Though
す
since
ぐ
she
に
was a
釈
kid,
放
they
し
could
て
get
もら
her
えたみたい
released
で
pretty
お
easily,
姉
yeah.
は
She learned that her
自
age
分
could
の
be
年
used as
齢
a
が武器
weapon.
になることを知っ
May
て
have
た
been
みたい
indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. Jeez, she may have been young, but she was, yeah, that's Mion. Even back then, she'd been known for her craftiness.
笑い事じゃ
There's
ないで
nothing
す
to laugh about.
真剣になって
Please
くだ
take
さ
this
い
seriously.
悪い
Sorry.
そんなつもりじゃ
I didn't mean to. She had gotten pretty angry at me. Well, her
そんな不
delinquency
良
got her in a
娘だっ
position
た
of
お姉も
authority in the
い
Sonozaki
つの
main
大石
house.
がバラバラ
It's
殺
not
人
unthinkable
以
that
降の
Oishi
事件を
suspects
疑
them
い
for
た
this
くなる
memory,
のも
and the later ones too.
まあ無理ないことです
For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. A younger Mion dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the damn construction project hell. As a successor to the Sonozaki main family, she was always right there at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion. I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person. Well, back to the main subject. I just wanted you to know that my sister is someone worth being
理
cautious
解注意
around.
してください
Please be careful. I didn't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me in a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the night of the festival, but even then, it wasn't like she said it in a mean way or anything.
わかった。
Alright,
気をつけるよう
I'll
に
make
す
sure
る
to be careful.
私とお姉は
We're sisters really
血の
by
つな
blood,
が
but
っ
within
た
the
姉妹で
Sonozaki
すが
family, we're basically of a
その
different
私
class.
とは
I want you to
と
recognize
て
how
も遠
distant
い
my
存在
position
だ
is
と
to
いうお願い
hers.
します
Please. The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiles a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I realize I held such a view towards her, Shion was telling me to change it. To be careful around the best friend ever. To doubt her. The idea was very sad and painful.
で
Now,
大石の
about
件で
Oishi.
ケイちゃんがいい
If
と
you think
判
it's a
断
good
する
idea,
なら
then I think we should give him
必
the
要な
information
情
he
報を
needs.
やはり警
I
察
think
を味
getting the
方に
police
つ
on our
ける
side
の
will
は
work in our
やっ
favor.
ぱり
You
シオン
thought
も
so
そう
too,
思った
Shion! It's just at the moment,
説明
like I
した
explained,
通
the
り
police haven't their
その
eyes
時
on
の
the
人間
Sonozaki
は
family
そもそも
already.
特に大石は
Oishi in particular
そ
completely
の時
believes
件
that
が
they're the
丸ごと連
masterminds
続事件
behind
の
the
黒幕
incidents.
それはもちろん
That
私も
includes
含めて
me,
です
of course.
から
So I don't really want
私は
much
あ
to
まり
do with Oishi.
大石には関わりたくないんです
Yeah, I see. If Oishi had found out about the Sonozaki's family's trifled history, he wouldn't be very happy with Shion either. At last, I understood Mion's instinctive dislike for
どう
Oishi.
せバレてはい
It's
るん
probably
で
out in
す
the
が
open at this point, but try not to give my name
一
to
応
him.
それだけ守っ
If you
てく
agree
れ
to
れば
that, then I don't think there's a problem with you telling him
わ
anything.
かった。
Yeah,
伏せ
I
るよ
got
うにする
it.
よ。
I won't mention your name.
警察の
The
捜査
police's
力は
investigative
今
ability
の
should
私
be
た
quite
ち
a
には
reliable
とても
weapon for
心
us right
強
now.
い大石が興味
If
深い
Oishi tells you
話を
anything
したら
interesting, then let me know as
ああ、
well.
もちろんだ。
Yeah, of course.
情報は
We'll
互い
share
に交換
information and
し、
investigate
高野
together.
さんたちを殺
Who
したの
killed
は
Takano
誰な
san
のか、そ
Tomotakami
して
san?
俺たちを
Who's
狙う
after
な、それ
us?
が分かるまで
Until。we know, we need to defend
あと
ourselves.
はありますか
Anything else?
大石に聞か
Besides
れ
what
た
Oishi
こと
told you,
や
I mean?
身に起こったこ
If
とは
anything has happened, no matter
どん
how
な些
minor,
細なこ
please
とで
tell
も
me.
教えてください
Aside from my discussion with Oishi-san, Rika. Oh, should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. She told me to leave it to her, but what? Oh, that's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? Oh, I felt like Shion would get
何も
angry.
ないんですケイち
Nothing
ゃん
else, Kei-chan? I'd remained quiet for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the
あ、
silence.
えっ
As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead.
ないようで
It
した
doesn't
ら
sound like it, so can I ask you something?
私もつい
I
さっ
heard
き
this
聞いたん
myself.
で
Is
す
it
が
true that old man Kimiyoshi
君
went
吉のおじ
missing?
いちゃんが
The old man
行方
Kimiyoshi?
不明
My
になっ
gut
た
told
っ
me that was the
て
name of the mayor.
村長さんの
You
こ
mean
と
the
か、
mayor?
なんだシオン。
Wait, Shion, you haven't heard?
何も知
I
らな
don't
い
know
ですお父さん
anything.
が
I
電
just
話で
overheard
そう
my
話し
dad
て
talking
る
about it
の
on the phone again.
また盗み聞い
Yeah,
た
I
だけ
realized
で
I
すか
shouldn't
ら
have said that. Here and here is out. The things that happened around this time when Oshiro-sama's curse would recur, they'd all be covered up.
ああ、
Yeah?
実はな、
Actually, last night after
ゆう
a
べ
meeting, he
会合
didn't
の
come
後、
home, so all of Hinami's
家
was
に村中
confused.
で探した
They
みたい
searched
だ
all
け
through
ど
the、village, but if they
ま
found
だ
him,
見つかったっ
then
て
I haven't
話
heard.
は警察も
The
探
police
して
should
る
be
はず
searching
なんだ
for
け
him
ど。
as well.
なんで
Why
そん
didn't
な
you
大事
tell
な
me
話を
something
警
that
察
important
に
right
教えてなか
away?
ったんですか
She shouted angrily at me, bringing all her emotion to bear.
悪い。
Sorry, I thought you already knew.
隠す気なんか
I
な
didn't
かっ
want to
た。
hide it or anything. The receiver was silent. Did Shion get mad again and hang
お
up?
い、シオン。
Shion, hello?
ケイち
Kei-chan, what?
ゃん私
What should I do? Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one yelling a few seconds ago.
どうした？
What's wrong?
話せよ
Tell。me.
俺たちの間で
We're not keeping secrets
隠
from
し
each
事は
other,
なしだ
right?
ろ？
Shion hesitated for a long while, but then she confessed.
ごめん
I'm sorry.
あの
I
隠すつもりはなかったんです
I didn't mean to hide it.
ちょっとその
it was just that well, the
言うのが前後し
conversation
たっ
got
てい
turned
うか
around.
俺たちは仲間
We're
だ
on
ろ
the。same side,
怒ったり
right?
しないか
I
ら
won't get mad, so
正
tell me
直に
honestly.
話せよ。
Shion still hesitated for a few moments. Then, in a resigned voice, she continued.
私
Old man Kimiyoshi,
君吉のおじいちゃんに
I told him everything.
打ち明けたんです
Oh no! Shion seemed to think I would yell at her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika. So, in as gentle a voice as I could, so as not to set her off, I responded.
君吉の
Old
じい
man
さんっての
Kimiyoshi,
は
he's someone you feel comfortable
シオン
confiding
に
to.
とって
Shion?
はい
Yeah,
私のことは
he would when I was little. He was
小さい頃
really
から
nice to
本当
me.
に可愛がってくれて
Shion felt the same fate as the rest of
us in the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mia, and as she continued, her voice sounded truly pained and sad.
私
All I did was play
いつも
tricks
意
on
地悪
him,
な
but
ことを
he
し
would
てたのに
always just smile.
私の言うことは
He
何
listened
で
to
も聞い
anything
て
I
く
had
れ
to say.
本当に
He
優
was
しい人
such
だ
a
ったの
kind
に
person.
落ち着け
Calm
よシオ
down,
ン
Shion.
別に死
It's
んで
not
し
like
ま
he's
ったわけ
dead,
そんな
right?
簡単
Don't
に
lose
諦
heart
め
so
るな
easily. Shion didn't answer. Even as I did myself, I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was alive or dead. Shion must have been thinking the same thing.
村長さんに
That night,
私
I told the mayor
最後で
that
に
we
忍び
snuck
込ん
into
だ
the
こと
ritual
誰
storehouse.
かにそれを見
Also,
られ
that
て
someone
て
saw us and was out to
村
get
長
us.
さんは
Does the mayor know how
ただのさんた
absurdly
ちが
Takano-san
まともじゃないし
Tomosaki's
は
son
い
died? Yes.
知っていました
He knew
あ
about
の
it.
二人が
I told him that they
親
died by
代様
Rishiro's
のたたりが
curse,
死んだ
and
から
that I could be made a sacrifice to
私
calm
は
his
本
anger.
当に率直に言
I
い
just
ま
said
し
it
た
straight
あ
out.
あ
Right.
それで
What then?
君吉のお
Old
じ
man
いちゃん
Kamiyoshi didn't get
そ
angry.
して
He smiled, told me that if I was
にっこり
properly sorry
笑
about
っ
it,
て
there was no way I'd be deemed
リオ
away.
ンちゃんが本当に
He was really smiling.
笑い
He
が
told
ね
me to leave it to him. Oh no, that's what Rika said. Until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was or what Shion's relationship with him was like. Words of comfort mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika taught me that too. If someone who gave me such a sense of security were to disappear, I could guess what kind of shock Shion was in.
私のせいです
It's my fault
私が
because I revealed everything.
よせよしお
Stop it,
しお
Shion.
のせいじゃ
It's
ないよ
not your fault. No, it is my fault. I told him
の
everything.
おじいちゃん
Mama Kimiyoshi-san found out about everything, so he has to have been killed. It was right after I told him, after all. He disappeared the same night that I confessed. They told me everything was going to be all right. He found out, so he became involved.
話すんじゃなかった
Oh, I should never have told him. All of this should have been our fault.
4人の
Only
部
the
下
four
3
of
人に
us.
話してはい
It
け
wasn't
ないこと
something
だ
I
った
should
ん
have
です
told to someone
話
else.
し
He
たから
got
殺
killed
され
because
て
I
しまっ
told
た
him.
だから殺
He
され
got
て
killed
し
because
ま
he
った
knew. He got killed because I revealed it.
待てよ
Stop.
そんなやつなら
If they were doing
打
that,
ち明けた村
they
長を
would
殺
have
す前
obviously
に
killed you
お
for
前か
killing
ら
the mayor.
順番が違うよ
The order's all
殺
wrong.
されるな
You
ら
or I should have
俺
been
が
killed first.
他のやつ
Why
ら
the
が
hell
先
would
に死
someone
んだ
get
りする
killed
ものか
first? Right clicked again. No, it's in order. They must be planning to kill us last.
なんだって
What?
と思い
They're not killing the first people who come to mind. They start by killing those we're close to. Then after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're
落
doing.
ち着けって
I said calm down.
シオンは今
Shion, you're in shock. You're
村
panicking.
長の失踪
Mayor's
は
disappearance
シ
has
オンとは
nothing to do
無
with you.
関係だ
It's unconnected.
高野さんた
It's
ちの
not
人
related to Takano-san,
全く関係
Tomotachi-san
ないん
dying
だ
at all either. My words came out as a scream, as if I was shouting them on myself. No, it is connected. It just has to be. I told him so he was killed. He got killed because he knew. I confessed it to him, so he got killed. She repeated the same thing as before, as though she were in a delirium. Despite my trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason, the shadow at my feet began to freeze. You did the same shit, bro. Wake up! From that shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me. Grabbed my ankle. The heat generated by my body. The arm was absorbing it. It was a horrible chill. A freezing cold and numbingly frigid. It was an inviolable chill of fear. We get it, man! Goodness gracious. Find another word! Though I sympathize with Shion, I have been naive in thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's very words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything. So he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra. Finally, even those repetitions took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already overtaken me turned to a violent shiver that shot up my spine.
リカちゃん
Rika-chan!
リカちゃんだ
It's Rika-chan! What?
今
What did you say just now?
俺も
Well, the truth is, I told her about it.
Rika-chan.
I told Rika-chan today. Rika, you mean Rika-chan? The one from the Furude Shrine?
そうだよ
Yes,
俺も
Rika-chan. I felt so
どうしようも
scared
ない
and uneasy when I
Rika-chan.
did it. I told
そう言
Rika-chan.
ったら
When you did, what did she
リカ
say?
様はなんて
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said, and then she smiled. She smiled just like the missing mayor had when he encouraged Shion.
ごめん
I'm
シオン
sorry, Shion.
俺
I'm worried about Rika-chan.
はい
Oh, right.
そんなに心
If
配
you're
で
that
したら
concerned, then
ぜ
don't
ひ
worry
電話
about
安
me.
否を確認
Please,
して
go
みて
find
く
out
だ
whether
さい
she's safe.
あ
Yeah, I'll do
ま
that.
た明日
I'll
も
call you again
こ
tomorrow
の
at the
子
same
に薬
time.
を持って
When I do, you'll know I'm
私
so
の
alright.
わかった
I got it. I'll be
Yeah,
waiting.
that's fine.
Okay, bye. Sorry.
キリゾ
I'm hanging up. I put it on the receiver without waiting for Shion to say goodbye. The danger Shion and myself were secondary at this point. My sixth sense was blurring alarms in my head. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely
Kuso.
bad. Damn it. Please
無
be
事でリ
safe.
カちゃん
Rika-chan! Alright, is that our chapter break? I'm hoping so. I'm getting very tired. And frankly, I might call it for today. Today was my first day of class after spring break, and this will be the halfway point. Yep, okay. The punishment is over in scrapbook note 8. After we read these, I'm going to call it for today. This font will go up. So part of this is because these 3 episodes took an hour longer than 3 episodes usually do, and I'm just tired. So, we'll read these, and then we'll call it for the day. So, last scrapbook. The three families in modern times. As previously described, the three families council today is a shell of democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Sonozakis. Both the Kimiyoshi and Furude families are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they maintain their traditions. Only the Sonozaki families retain their glory from the past, and has inherited many colorful traditions from the age known as Onagafuchi village. Here, the most recent verifiable example of Wasanagashi that occurred at the end of Meiji era seems to have been done under the orders of the Sonozaki. Refer to the three families' genealogical tree from the late Meiji. After the start of the Meiji era, they wanted to push the development of the village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the Dam Wars, Kimiyoshi served as chair of the opposition alliance, but this was in name only. In actuality, it was all the Sonozakis. He whispered that the Kimiyoshis dictated acts of opposition that could be publicized, and the Sonozakis enacted those that couldn't. Even in Hinamizawa, they whispered that the multitude of unsettling incidents reported during the dam protests, like the kidnapping of the dude's son, was carried out by the Sonozakis. Additionally, they say that the Sonozakis' secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak death incidents that continually occurred in recent years as well. Serial freak death incidents are without a doubt the second coming of the traditional Wasanagashi. Must be enacting it on the day of the original, which has fallen to the level of ordinary village festival, in order to remind the villagers of the holy laws. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sonozaki family is the fastest route for researching it. If I can expose the contents of the storehouse, I'd like to narrow my research to target the family next. Sonozaki House is guarded by security cameras on the premises, but thankfully I become acquainted with the sisters Mion, the next heir, and Shion. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect to my next line of research. Interesting. She mentioned a connection to Mion, actually. We haven't actually seen said connection. Which means that might be the personal shit that got her killed. Alright, we'll read this last tip, and we will call it for the day. Their punishment isn't over. Oh no, don't worry about it. You see, when you order the Odin, for some reason it ends up on the annual invoice for a gas contract. So don't be shy, have another drink. The man, red-faced, waved his head to say he'd have enough and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station. Kuma-chan, you should be taking notes. The most modest people are the ones who live the longest. Was all that true? Well, I don't know about that. Whether or not it's true, I think there's meaning in hearing something that sounds so plausible. Would something like that be a motive to go for the mayor? Kuma-chan, here's what I always say. Motive only has to be enough for the person in question. You need to think about how different people value different things. Hey, bartender, give me another mug. Though we have been suppressing the information, Tomitaki and Takano's deaths were already known throughout Hinamizawa. All of the rumors point to them having incurred the wrath of Oishiro for setting foot in their forbidden temple, the storehouse for ritual implements. According to the rumors, there were two other people who went in there with them, Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Maibara. People were whispering in the shadows that those two would be cursed by Oishiro as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four. Until last year it was locked up tight, but this year it had been changed to a simpler lock. Hadn't that been what allowed the thieves to enter? Those are the rumors going around. Have you ever seen him, Kuma-chan? I remember well, I had to go there for something quite a while back. Sorry, don't really remember. It was locked up so tight it was scary. There was these really heavy bars holding it shut. Sealed up good as a bank vault. This year, it was very simple, cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor. It was replaced with a simpler So Rika was working with the mayor. Oh, Rika's fucked. So then the mayor and Rika share the crime. So then after the mayor, wouldn't Rika be in danger next? There's a decent possibility. Kuma-chan, I want you to contact all the cars you have in Hinamizawa. Tell them to stick near the Furude shrine. Got it. That's bad, chat. If Rika's dead by Thursday, then things are going to end up really bad. Also, speaking of, we have double the stream time, so I don't feel very many qualms with splitting stream in half this time. Alright, so let me save the game right quick. Save the not a game. It's not a game. I'm not a robot. Alright, so that episode was fucking great. I loved it. It was really good. We got a lot of information about what's going on. We have this bit of intrigue. We have more knowledge with Rika, which is good because she was near absent for all of the mystery shit that was happening. We have more shit with Mion. Shion is our ally. We actually have an ally for this one. We're a lot less solitary because at this point in the game we were already carrying around the baseball bat trying to fuck with people. So this is going pretty well. I gotta go take a piss, so I'm going to end stream for today. I will be streaming tomorrow, but outside of that, I'll be back with Higurashi this Thursday. I'll be back, and I'll see y'all then. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.